or it's
Beard.
It's.
slate.
A beard.
Are we making animal props? Just
Animal props.
animal like. Just
Animal props.
Oh, fuck myself. Animal props.
Oh.
oh god.
Animal props.
That's all I can think of is props now because of that Twitch thing.
They had the full on whippy thing, where the fuck that's called.
Whip?
Yeah, it was a horsewhip.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Horsewhip. A horsewhip,
Had-
handcuffs, and bubbles.
A
Bubbles.
lot of bubbles.
A lot of bubbles.
And
That was my day. How was yours?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
That's about the same.
Horsewhip and bubbles.
Horsewhip,
Lot-
bubbles, and handcuffs.
Lots of bubbles.
That could be a name of a game.
Horse bubbles.
Horsewhips, handcuffs, and bubbles.
Well, that's the name of the episode.
I mean, we could get the Unreal 5 demo and make it.
Technically, yes.
It's in beta. It's in early access. We can technically... That's a good idea, actually.
There's a lot of simulation games. Like there's Thief Simulator, there's Drug Dealer Simulator, there's like Car Mechanic Simulator, Tank Simulator. Just need to do like a FOT Simulator. And then...
He went out and said it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Flight
or anything.
Simulator. Ooh.
Just I'll rename myself like, I don't know, starting with P or something.
I'm about to say Shaven Thought, but that doesn't
Shaven
work.
Thought, no.
The Thought Wookie!
Tucky.
The
Yeah.
Thookie.
The Fookie. I'll
Tucky.
wear
Wookie Thought.
I'll wear a tight bikini and just, invest in tighter clothes. Actually, that reminds me. I'll
There
send it
could
to
be
you
a
guys.
market.
There was a video of in Russia, and there was this video of Russian like Spetsnaz or something like that, like police, like raiding this building, and it had all these FOTs, like the whole. It was a compound, and it was raided by the cops. And it had like each room had a FOT in it, and they all were on live cam. And then they went to their marketing room, and it was like it on the big whiteboard. It said OnlyFans, Twitch, Pornhub, and all these other names. And it was like for them, just like it was fully marketed, it was pro FOT, just to make as much money. And then it just had all these girls like the FOTs just all arrested in the, and it just had all different views of the cameras from the streams of the SWAT guys coming in and busting everything up and arresting them, and it was like Russia was clamping down. It was like the anti-FOT police right there. It was hilarious because it was just it was so planned, not just by the cops, but when you saw their operation, the FOT compound.
People are thinking that they put Twitch and Pornhub in the same fucking sentence.
Yeah, you saw their business board, and it was just, OnlyFans, you can sign up for free and get money from that, and then here's your Twitch, and, you have your hot tubs and that, and...
People have Twitch for. They use that to go, oh, here's my link tree, here's my OnlyFans, and...
Yeah, here's my Patreon, here's my whatever, free copy or some shit like that, or just... It was just all well organized, and it's true. Like it's the same thing that they all follow. It's just get on Twitch, get onto OnlyFans, do a little bit, wear some costumes, and be provocative, and just it's from there. And it was just it was crazy. And just to watch that video, I'll send it to you guys. And it's just it was kind of hilarious. It's to a little tune.
Oh no. Not Benny Hill, is it?
No, I think it's to a tune, or I'm thinking probably just listen to music at the time when I was watching it. But it's it was kind of funny, just the professionalism, the FOTs, and the police just raiding them.
Just perfect. It was just perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. You could essentially just make that into a game. Just horseshoes,
Police.
horsewhips, handcuffs, and bubble baths. It could be the next simulated game. Create your own empire, hire your FOTs, set up your OnlyFans accounts. Just rake in that money and just take good old 10%.
The way just
of
hire your thoughts, like
it's
that's
they're all.
high on a fucking site.
It's basically how it
It's-
works for the cam
If they're
girls.
being
your window.
taxed, it's technically a job these days, isn't it? So,
Mhm.
it'd be funny lining up the Centrelink going, what was your previous position? It was like, well, I was a FOT, and they're like, say no more. Here's here's how to open up a Twitch, and here's how to open up an OnlyFans, and here's your, and don't forget, we'll tax you, of course, and it's all legit.
No,
So,
it's not you're the thought. You was an accountant.
An accountant.
What was you before? Accountant.
But by
accounting.
legitimizing it and taxing it, therefore, it makes it normal. It's completely
Yeah.
fine in this day and age.
That's what's
Which
wrong
is-
with the world.
It's
One of the things.
it's how we evolve as human beings. We make the obscure things that come in and make them legitimate. By making them legitimate, it just becomes normal. Part of society.
But those streams were a thing for years, but now they've just got
Well, they got their own,
popular.
even more
like-
popular, and they got their own category. Well, that's the thing, because they're always adult-related content. They're on other sites.
Yeah, but a lot of adult
But-
related content over the years has always been
More mainstream.
taboo, and then becomes mainstream, and then it just I
Like-
wouldn't say fade away. It's
Hot
just
tub.
But I guess that's
well,
saying
yeah, hot topics.
that's the thing. People get more comfortable. Like I realized that the other day with TikTok. Like the way people are way too comfortable. They're like way too comfortable. It's like what?
I mean, we are on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's different degrees of comfortability where it's like, yeah, we'll talk about having shit, and then there's people that's like just straight up thirsty and being like straight out there, just like just straight up there posting like do me in the ass kind of thing. It's just like, okay, like what the fuck? There's a TikTok, like there's kids on this fucking platform, Same as Twitch. It's like there's kids on this platform. It's like, oh, I like the way they're insinuating like freaking creaming everywhere, doing shit like that. It's like. You realize it's a family service platform. Like, even our content
Yeah.
here, we're going onto it. Like, we're talking about it. We're not actually suggesting it. Like, but
Yeah, but I've seen some savage stuff on TikTok as well. Some videos.
like,
It's
there's some
just-
stuff like there's. I don't know if you've seen the one lately where there's like the ground digger. It's like the earth driller thing.
Digger.
It's like this thing, and it basically looks like a giant vibrating dildo on a hose. And girls have been reacting to it. Girls have been like, take my money kind of thing. It's like, oh, I'll buy it right now. It's like, Jesus, women, calm the fuck down. Like, everyone goes on about, like, it's always the way it's like going on about, like, how guys are thirsty and creepy
But
and
we're the
horny all the
same.
time.
Like,
But, like, women
You were
are,
saying, give us Lady D.
like, yeah, like, but like, exactly it. But, like, women are straight out there just being, like, even worse than what
Just as
guys are like.
thirsty,
Like,
yeah.
like just as, yeah. And it's always the stigmatism that guys are always, like, perverted and looking and being, but
That's
women are
50,
just as bad.
50-50.
It's
Well-
50-50. That's exactly it.
Think of it this way: like girls always, the assumption is girls think that all guys talk about in their spare time is sex.
Mm.
No.
No.
We talk
Hell
about
no.
video games. We talk about music. We talk about
The
just
main one
like-
thing.
We have a podcast and talk about
Games
shit.
and alcohol. Games and alcohol. They're
Yeah.
the top two things.
yeah, exactly.
Like,
And it's
Jesus.
like, wait a minute,
And yet-
like that was the assumption back in the day. It was like all guys talk about sex. No. The difference is we don't talk about it. We just think about it.
Yeah. There's a difference.
I mean,
It's
you
a
might
different-
mention it, but you just mention it. You don't talk
Yeah,
about it.
we don't talk about. We don't like. People say maybe addicted. Like I've come across some people addicted in some manner, but it's saying that it's like I've had conversations with females and they talk about it like 10 times more, 100 times
Yep.
more
Oh,
than
yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it's just hypocritical in the sense of assuming all guys will talk about sex. It's like, no, you're only assuming because that's what you guys talk about, you
I mean,
girls.
there are some guys who do that.
Yeah, but it's in a different sense of like than
Like
what they do.
percentage, like
Yeah. We'll go, oh yeah, that's an attractive woman or something like that. or like, oh, I had a great time with her, or whatever.
Yeah, it's
like,
more of
oh,
it, but it's more polite, not like it's not aggressive. Like, oh, I plowed the fuck out of her, Like, I've never really had a conversation with anyone in my life that's been like, oh yeah, plowed this bitch, you fucking flipped her over, fucked her in the. I've never heard of anything like that. I've never had a conversation with. You don't just be like, oh yeah, I hooked up with this chick. It was, we did it a few times. It's very simple, polite. And yet, what it sounds like when it comes to women, he's like, oh, he did this to me and did that.
I've heard him talk
getting depth.
About
Like
that,
I've heard people, and they're blatantly obvious about it.
Jesus.
They'll publicly talk about it.
You
Like,
go, all right, stick it to your own.
And it's not
fans,
just
that's where you're making money.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's exactly it. It's like they don't casually talk about it like a way. They'll talk about it in public. That's the thing as well. It's like we would like if we talk about like it's when we're around together, usually private, or you're you're in your group properly talking, not just casually out in public. It's just like fucking hell.
Yeah.
It's just like calm the fuck down. Yeah. Thirsty.
Everyone's thirsty, so.
Oh, it's crazy.
Which you'll take a drink.
Yep. But going back to that the thought stream and stuff or the hot tub stream. A lot of frequency I've seen lately popping up. I saw one the other day and I think I helped get them banned. Yeah, because they basically what they're doing now is it's just kids like 15-year-olds and stuff, and they're trying to bounce off like. It's understandably okay. Yeah, it's annoying in general that we've got these hot tub streamers, but they're actually putting content out. They're actually filming. They're actually doing proper content. There's now people coming along where they're just either taking a screenshot or they're using other people's videos and they're re-uploading on their channels while they're playing games and stuff and pretending it's their content, or just using screenshots of stuff to be like, oh, I'm going to be back shortly. Like this one stream which I reported and then they happened to be banned was like, oh, starting the stream soon, get me to 500 followers so we can start the stream, be our back trying on bikini. And the stream went for like 20 hours. And I checked, I looked through the logs and I went back over it, that they went through their VODs and stuff, and I found that they were a Fortnite stream, and they're like a kid that must have been like 15 presumably. I'm just making this, I'm just their age, And yeah, they were just like, they played Fortnite and they somehow came across this idea. I made the joke going, haha, this is fake, but cool hustle, just to see what they do, and they banned me. And I was like, well, clearly I've just called you out and you're getting salty about it, so I reported them to see what would happen, and the next day their account was gone. It was deleted, and they had gotten like nearly 600 followers within a span of like 2 days. It's just like...
Us fuck knows.
And there's more of them popping up.
Subs go to it too. Like,
yeah, prime subs.
Sub to this? Like,
thinking that they're going to get something. That shows, but again, that shows you
catfishing.
Yeah, basically that's what it is. And I'm looking now. There's a lot more accounts doing it, and it's the same kind of thing because it's people playing Minecraft, Fortnite, and Halo. It's like, well, that means there are more kids, 15, 16-year-olds that are doing this. That going, oh, I'm going to use this to try and like swindle people out of that. And that's like you're swindling people. There's a difference of them doing stuff like these women like Amaranth and all these other things that are like in the sense swindling people, but they're actually giving content.
Not swindling, but
they're actually giving content though. Like
they're being thirst traps.
Yeah, they're being thirst traps, and like, but they're actually doing something. That's the difference to where these people are. They're just doing nothing, trying to bounce off that bandwagon. Yeah. Like there's even some of the streams which have made like they've had like we've mentioned bloody. Norman Reedus' character sitting in the hot tub thing, relooping video. That's kind of a bit humorous. They had like Gerald sitting in the hot tub. They've had people Photoshop characters into hot tubs and stuff like that. Like that's a little bit more effort. Like they're trying to make it, like trying to get on the thing, but they're being creative with it. Where this is just, I'm just going to put a picture up and just pretend I'm this person, and you can find their old VODs, and you clearly see they were a dude at some point, and they're just pretending to be.
They know shit. How to.
Yeah, and it's like that's
that's chick just chilling in the pictures like. That's a dude you're gonna watch, and they got a chick there that's not them. Like
they're not actually there. They're just bouncing off,
following and subbing and like chatting. I was
it just doesn't feel right. It's like do like everyone else and just put the work in. Like it's not that hard. Like okay, I've took me a while to get to the affiliate, which was like, and I've been affiliate for 4 months, but I've had like a 200 growth now, like 200, like, and it feels good when you're actually properly achieving and not like cutting the corners, like. Actually earn the progress. Like, it feels rewarding. Not these people just going, oh, I'm going to go for the quick, get up there, get popular, be famous with all these numbers, and then change the content. It's like, you don't feel like okay, you may think you've earned it, but I don't see that feeling fulfilled. You go, this is
after that. Like,
that's exactly it.
Go back and watch.
Because I've seen a lot of accounts do that where it's happened on Instagram where people make these kind of like female account, like not female, but they'll share photos of models, and they get all these accounts up, they get all these numbers up, massive following. And then they sell the accounts off, Someone goes, okay, well, this account's got all these followers on it. They turn the account off. People forget about the account changes name. People don't realise they just happen to be following an account, and it's at 100,000 followers or 50,000 followers, something like that. And they go, oh, okay, I was just having to, because you forget about it. Sometimes, some of the people you get on Twitch and stuff, you get your followers, and they sometimes forget you exist, but they stayed following. People do that. They sold it. Yeah.
A few weeks ago, someone goes, I didn't know I actually followed, and they came in and said hi, and
yeah, and that's exactly it. And that there's a lot of that happens where people will do that. They'll bank up all these followers, sell the account off, and then someone else renames it as their whatever new account they want to go with, and they've already got X amount of followers.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of that happens, and it's just like, but then no one's really earning it. Like you're like, oh yeah, I'm popular, famous, but you didn't earn. No one really knows it. People just go through the assumption, going, oh okay, there's a lot of followers. This must be cool content. That's not how it works. Which I've seen a lot of people do that. I know people on TikTok clearly that have bought their followers, and it's just like, yeah, you've got 10,000 followers, but you only got 100 view outreach. Like you're not that popular, and people just go the assumption, oh, they've got a lot of followers, they must be cool. I'll give them, their content must be legit. And then you compare the exact same content with someone that has lower followers, you go, oh no, this must be bad because it's just that mindset people have.
Yeah.
Like they must have that, if they have that X amount of number of followers, that they must be good. And it's like not always. Like I've seen content creators that have a lot of followers, and it's just like, how do they have this content? It's like, had they bought their followers? Like, they posted
they put a post every 6 hours to a day.
Yeah, it's just
they got constant stuff. I've seen accounts recently where they put the same picture 3 times on their damn profile.
It's just like, I guess it's the average. I'm wondering if a lot of them boost. Maybe that's where half of it is. They boosting, and I don't know.
Well I remember when it was questionable for views as well, because people used to get bots just to boost those views so they can get affiliate partner and all that.
They've kind of stopped that now though.
Well, that's why they did it for people in their if you're at home. One of the things they did was in one household you can only have 3 devices on the same IP address looking at content, because people were at home setting up multiple systems and looking at streams and just trying to do all things to get all the view counts up.
Yeah,
so they started putting a threshold on that.
Phone running and
and that was a big thing, and they've limited that now. And it's even, I think they've done another.
You can also tell people with the ones who don't last were just there for the views.
Because I honestly, I will admit, I did that myself. Because I just need that little threshold. I just need that, because I had everything else. I got the follows up, the views were doing alright, but I just need that one extra pushover. So I had
this was for affiliate?
Yeah, to the affiliate. So I just need that one little pushover. So I had to get one extra device on to watch me for those extra bit of time, and it pushed me over. That's all I needed.
Because wasn't it one time?
It was just so short. It's so close. It was a little bit off, and then the next time it got close again. And I was just that close. I'm like, no, I'm going to do it this way for a change, because I was that close. I was like, I was putting the work in. I was streaming every day. So I'm like, I'm already putting the work in. It's not going to hurt me doing this, because I'm streaming every single day for X amount of hours. And
how long did it take you to get affiliate? How many months?
God,
about 3.
I say 3, maybe 4 months to finally get to it after finally coming back.
I was the same as well. I'm affiliate, but I don't stream.
And I've now been affiliate for 4 months now, or something like that, 5 months or something like that, which is pretty cool. And I keep growing, and it's nice. So
I got my 1 year coming up.
I'm getting a lot of community now, because I've been doing a lot of VR chat stuff, and a lot of people are coming by from that now, which is kind of cool. I'm getting a little bit of the community from VR chat.
Yeah,
which is nice. So
I heard for an hour. You want Kitty?
You want Kitty? I was running around because I had this Asian dude and he had a cat. I stole the skin from someone else, and I was the character's Asian with a cat. But I was giving Russian voice. Kitty. I was doing Russian voice. I was like, "You want Kitty? You'll take Kitty." But I'm like an Asian dude running around going, "You want Kitty? You'll take Kitty. You'll take it." You want vodka too? And I'm like, it was just funny, but I'm just running around going, you want Kitty? You want? And I went to the guy who actually had the original skin going, you want Kitty back? And he's holding his own cat as well. He's like, you take my Kitty. We swap Kitty. I was just like, so bad.
I was just playing Rocket League and I was like,
what the hell?
You just do random shit. It's just mental. It is actually kind of fun because, we've done Rec Room. Me and Jim's done Rec Room.
We should do a VR chat potty. Get everyone in there.
Mm-hmm. Because it's pretty fun. Smurf got into it. Smurf got really into it.
Bad words could be said.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it'd be pretty fun.
Just Rec Room. You stay on hours.
Oh,
you can set up a private room.
Yeah, you can set up private.
You get a bunch of people in there,
But Smurf had been playing it for about a week now. I think maybe 2 weeks. But he's that
I think
invested.
two, yeah.
He's that invested in it. I think it was yesterday, the day before, whenever it was. He must have got it. But he bought himself a What did he buy? Was it? It wasn't. What's the other one? It's not an Oculus.
Oh, Quest.
I think it was Quest. It was like, yeah, but it's about $500. He's just like, I'm buying it. I'm like, what? How does someone just casually buy a Quest for $500? He's only been playing for 2 weeks.
Quest isn't that much.
It was like $488.
Or a Vive or something.
And it was $488 or something.
A Quest like 300, I think.
I'm not too sure, but I want to get something. I do actually want to get VR. I'm thinking of actually getting a proper VR system for PC because I want to start doing some more VR games. I'm
You
thinking
can use your PS one, but you got to use the ones
controller.
or your keyboard.
You can't use the ones with the PS one. It's hard. Well, you can. It's just a lot of setup. It's a very tedious. It's not perfected using the ones.
It's not worth
the headset
using
you can set up is perfectly fine. That works great with setting up with the few programs you got to download and buy.
Get the what is it? The Vive, I think.
But definitely,
one with
I'm
the
thinking
proper,
the actual
controls.
the controls. Yeah.
The finger feedback is that the one? Oh yeah.
But that's what I'm
But it's
looking as well.
Vive.
Because it would be pretty fun. There's some
HTC.
pretty cool VR stuff to try and play. But no, I've definitely been getting in that and just been playing PC mode. And it's just been like... I thought I got confused because I was talking to someone else about it on the game. That I knew it was coming out eventually for PC, but apparently PC version had been out for a while. But I must have got the confused assumption that it was the full
VR
release.
chat?
VR chat for like the keyboard version, the non-VR version.
Yeah,
So apparently that's been out for a couple of years now. But it's still in early
I was playing
access.
it last year, the VR chat, and yeah, it's fun. It's just like trying to find your avatar is just the first layer of it.
I found
and
so
after
many
you've
now.
done that, you're just like, I might do Peter Griffin, or I might do Brian out of Family Guy, or oh no, it's like I like this one. I'll be He-Man, and then or Skeletor or whatever.
You can be them.
Yeah, you can get anything. You can find
you
anything.
can be anyone. Fantastic.
You need to download it,
That's
dude.
why VR chat is so
I've actually downloaded Unity and I started importing models to start creating my own models. It's a bit tedious. The framing, the rigging models into humanoid rigs to actually get them to work properly is bloody tedious if whoever made the model didn't make it correctly, or if they subcategoried the folders where things need to be in the wrong spot, because half the body parts aren't connected in the right spots, and I've got to remove folders around to readjust them.
That's why things are like
Fucking tedious, because I downloaded a bunch of files. I was like, okay, I'll get this character and I'll incorporate this piece with this thing, and then put this on here, and I'm making getting parts from characters, making my own new character, and it's like, oh yeah, it will work. It's all attached, but because I can't rig the character properly, when I go into the game, it's just T-pose. So I'm just T-posing everywhere. I'm like, God damn it! So it's just like, oh, it's so tedious trying to get into Unity and use it.
You say from Cyberpunk.
Yeah, well, I should just download a Cyberpunk skin and just go in T-pose. Let's just leave it. Leave it as T-pose.
I was just thinking, you try and find a way to 3D image both you guys and do the podcast as yourself.
Well, that's what I want to try and do. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Deck and just sit there.
Yeah. Just have a couch and just sit on the couch. Like, yeah, do it.
One sec, if I can figure out the rigging, if I get the idea of rigging models, then I can look at getting models, and even if I retexture characters with our faces and stuff, I can retexture things and try and go from there. And that's what I'm thinking of trying to do, but it's just try to understand the learning process of making things rigged and get them to work appropriately is the hard part that I'm trying to wrap my head around.
YouTube.
Oh, I've been following it, it's been helping, but when you go with models that exist, and you look at it looks like from the distance when you're trying to work with it, it looks like, okay, here's just 10 folders, but within those 10 folders, each one has 10 folders within those.
People made them, but they didn't organize anything.
There's that, but because everything's got a part, so you got the folder for the hand, but then the fingers have folders for each joint, so that everything moves, so then everything's textured properly, and it's just like...
Yeah. So easier just to make your own, really.
Well, if you just do it very
then
basic...
you know what's in order,
Well, if I was to do that, I'll just do the Spider-Man polygon boat people and just put us on polygon boat people skins. Low grade...
I shouldn't say the word boat people in Australia.
It's just I said Spider-Man boat people.
No. It's a very touchy subject. It's always has been.
Boat people.
The boat people.
But that's what they call Spider-Man, the boat people.
Boat people.
Wait, what?
Boat people. Yeah, they called Spider-Man boat people. So out in the water in Spider-Man, the PS4 Spider-Man game, there's the boats out in the water, and they're low polygon characters. They're really low detail polygon characters, and they're called the boat people.
Yeah, and on the remaster in Miles Morales, they should put a sign saying, they put a cheeky sign on them.
Yeah.
saying that you'll be back or something. We knew you'd be back,
Mm.
and they put like a smiley face on it, and
Yeah.
Oh god.
like they're people, but their faces are just stretched across.
Oh, it's just...
If you can get to it, you can just give it a YouTube and like it's fucking funny as.
Yeah. You just legit put in Spider-Man boat people and it will come up. That's the thing. Oh. But
Fucking
no.
great. Look, it's in all three games. Like they kept it going. It's great.
Mm.
Oh.
But
I think the boat was high res though, but the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what people are going. That's what people are going. Like, oh, so like, no, the boat. You look at the boat. It's actually very detailed.
It was on purpose too. Like
people going, oh, it was do it to, but no, it's not. It's a throwback to like the Spider-Man 2 or whatever it was, because you could get out in the water.
PS2 game or whatever.
Yeah, it was like the from the movie. It was the Spider-Man 2 movie game or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a reference to that. And people going, oh no, like no, it's legit a meme. Like it's an Easter
how
egg.
can the boat be full textured and they're not? Like
Yeah, exactly. Like
All I can think of is like there was the Spider-Man meme where it was like Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man, and they put that in the last game.
yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man is like ah. Yeah.
So
that
good.
was,
speaking of Daz, did you see the new Unreal Engine 5 tech demo?
No, that's the only thing I didn't watch. That's the only thing I didn't watch. Actually, unfortunately, I was asking you guys. I looked at some screenshots. I haven't actually looked at it.
We'll leave that till next week then.
Yeah, we'll go through it again.
Literally, I've got it on YouTube and my multi-tabs of stuff to do later.
Nice.
I got some
Because
stuff
man,
here.
I'm keen. I want to get Unreal 5 and just do things with it.
Yeah.
Apparently, because you can do it in real time, like you can make stuff and play at the same time.
Yeah, like
Ooh,
it's very responsive. It's very.
It's like
very
you can.
responsive. Yeah.
Someone can play it and you can edit something.
Well, the other
while
thing
they're
is
playing
too
it.
the best
Like-
thing. Like, well, this is the thing. If you like follow Corridor stuff, they've been kind of working with some of that stuff in the sense already because of what they work with. But
yeah, but not as good as Epic, like their engine. Like,
well, they've been working with a lot of those programs, and they've got because they've got the latest systems as well with the latest graphics cards to show, and they've already been doing projects before with it, and how responsive that they can edit, like in Blender and like render at the same time within a spare of a second.
Yeah, because they got the
And this is like the same kind. Yeah, and this is kind of the same thing too. So imagine like running it like on
3090s,
those.
they're a myth. No.
Like running on
I've got one. What do you mean?
running on those.
3090s.
But like, imagine having that process power to actually be able to handle that and using those programs. Like, it's unbelievable. Like how quickly things
Unreal
are turning
Engine,
around.
that's all done with the engine though. Like, that's not really.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Imagine having the engine, but then having that on the side that can actually do that as well. Like, help boost and render like at a speed, like that lightning speed would be like boom.
I do want a Beardy Bros game at some point.
That's why I'm trying to learn all these Unity. If you
Unreal 5.
Pixel game. Oh, Unreal 5.
Make a fucking Beardy Bros fighter.
Well, that's what I'm just trying to learn. That's
what
what I'm trying to understand how things work with Unity and Unreal Engine 4 at least, or any of them. Just trying to learn and trying to figure out how they work.
Unreal 5.
But once you figure
way
any of those out, then you'll be able to do the next one. You know what I mean? You got to like at least start somewhere. You can't just jump straight into Unreal 5. Like,
I would.
Yeah.
I've got patience.
yeah.
To a point.
I'd start off with Unity. Yeah.
So.
Unity's always been a good one. Tarkov's
I couldn't even. I think I've got Unity, wasn't it?
And sometimes too, I found too, Blender is so basically Blender is the base program to build your models. Then you'd bring your models into Unity to basically mesh them up so they become a rig.
Wait, isn't Blender that dating app?
What? Grinder?
I'm thinking about something else. Sorry, no. Just keep going. Yeah, it's maybe Grinder. I don't know.
And yeah, from what I've read through, is you'd use Blender to design your models or other programs. Then you'd basically rig everything up in Unity. You could use it for VR chat, but what I found, some people end up rigging in Unity. Then they've got their models rigged and mechanically done. Then they can take them and then bring them into Blender as Unreal, and actually put them in that. People end up doing that. So even though Unity and Unreal are two different programs, you can do basically the same thing in both of them. Because Unreal works better, they do everything over there with the modeling and then bring that over to there. And
can you model on Unreal though? Because
you can do a lot of that. But Unity seems to be, people prefer Unity to model everything in that, because that side of things works better with Unity, where the coding
There's a lot of free
for like
assets that are used for regular games
yeah.
as well.
So a lot of people do that as well.
You wait till you see this
just
new
makes it
Unreal
easier.
5. They've got everything now. Like they've got assets from They scan the desert somewhere.
Well, that was like when I tried using Unreal Engine
Mojave,
4
fuck, it was cool.
the other month when I was like, oh yeah, I'll use Unreal Engine 4, and I was looking at an FPS like because they give you example files to play with so you can work out how things work. And I clicked on an FPS one, and I was like, oh, okay, oh, this seems fine. You know, loaded me in the map. There was the character there. The camera mount was already on the character, and he had this gun and stuff, and that was all coded, you know, basically coded. It was in the world. And I was like, oh, I'll look at these folders, you know. Oh, little link up tabs. It seemed a little bit overwhelming. Seemed fine. And I was like, wait a sec, where's this going? And the line was going up out of the window.
No.
So I zoomed out, and it's like box, 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 box. And I was like, oh shit! And it's like tick, 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 tick. Like, I'm like, fuck, this is not just a spot. This is like, it went from being like a little box with a couple of spiderwebs to being the whole goddamn fucking Spider-Verse. I was like, and this is just for this one little room. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm like, I can't. You need to start from scratch
If you want a good
to
little
learn.
creation thing, go to the Far Cry 5 custom maps.
I haven't
That
done that
is
in a long
probably
time.
one of the most best and easiest things to use. Like, you just got to play shit.
I love doing that
change
with
textures.
Far Cry games. I always love doing those. I did so many in Far Cry 2.
I tried. Like, I didn't realize how big the maps were. I put just this little corner of the map, like...
You don't realize when you start coming out. Yeah, it's the same thing again. You think you're like me, looking at like, oh, it's just a little box, like I said. And then you start zooming in, you realize there's 10 other boxes like that. You're like, oh, I'm working the map.
Like,
Zoom out the rest of the map. It's like you're working here.
Little...
Yeah, it's like you're working
pixel
over
of
here,
land.
but the map's like this fucking big. It's actually like the camera here. It's like this is the camera, and you're working down this little corner over here.
That's
You're like,
how animators work as well, because they can cut it off though. Like they cut it off and say that's
Well,
that's that.
that's exactly-
that's one level, two
and
levels.
well, that's the thing. It's better too because there's at least 10 people working on the same thing. So they each get a part sections each, so it makes it easier. Where me, I'm trying to do everything myself, and no wonder it's fucking like.
The levels I've played on that custom thing, they're insane. Like some people they do it like that, like within a day, and they got a full fucking level.
Because they know what they're doing because they're so used to doing it.
Power.
They know what they're pressing and doing until you understand. Like that was me with Doom's level that map creator thing in Doom, which is a bit bummed they didn't bring that back. But once I got the hang of that, I was doing some weird shit almost. I was like, ha, I'm doing all these cool things, and I realized when I go through the edit, people had already done the same stuff, and I'm like, oh.
And then they're going above that and to the next part, like.
Yeah,
Who works
like,
on these? Is it
crazy.
actual developers who?
I feel like just in their meantime, just having fun with the programs, like.
Or is it just people like us who are just like, oh, we'll dabble, and then they just go, boom, there it is.
Pretty much. There's some crazy stuff people do. Like, it's insane.
I can't wait for the next Far Cry.
Oh,
Far Cry, yeah, the
looks
trailer
so
for that.
looks so good.
good.
That was good.
Although
Like,
I've got one
want the
criticism.
yeah.
The character models are still fucking trash.
Yeah, they could have improved them a bit more. I like
Season 5 were better.
Alright.
Well, I don't know where the level the cutscenes and everything were at, but like you had what's his name, the main villain, but you see him like in
It
the
looked way different in that than he did
in the promo, yeah. Well, but like you see when he was in that cutscene, you see him talking in that scene, and he's just got that blank expression on his face. He's just like,
I mean, Ubisoft models have always been.
Have you watched his TV shows and movies? He's always got
no,
that blank
like that's how they've done it though.
expression.
Like at least he has that blank expression, but you can see where he's looking at when he's looking.
Not true. Breaking Bad is like, oh shit. Right at the
Like
end.
you can see where he's looking, like in
half
that,
his face is gone.
like, yeah. He's
Oh,
just
he's
walk-
like,
spoilers,
oh.
spoilers.
But like I was
Oh,
watching that.
that Breaking Bad. That's on. Them.
That's on you, yeah. But no, I was watching the trailer and just like you can see he was meant to be talking to that character, but his eyes just didn't look like when he's looking like
yeah, but
he was
it didn't
looking.
help the fact they were cutting camera. Like he was walking and he was like cut it and cut it. And, it's
Like he was meant to be looking
There
and talking
wasn't
like he was sitting there
even
talking at the
gameplay
guy.
trailer.
Well, that was the cutscene or whatever it was, teaser cutscene
no, but
style
like
thing.
they said gameplay. It was 4 minutes. Horizon did.
There's only like small sections of actual
15.
gameplay. But
There was gameplay, not
they did what
bits
they
of it.
expected they were gonna do. That they've started implementing almost a sense of custom character. You got the two different genders you can
that's
choose.
stupid. They got the same name, but it's just two. They put gender neutral names.
Danny, yeah. I figured they were going to get that way. I had a feeling that was where we were heading, and that's why I was kind of hoping that they'd do a Far Cry where you could have your own character. I did
thought
say...
it was just a female or male. Like, I wouldn't have cared who.
Yeah.
Just one.
Well, they're
Because you know
starting
some of the lines are going to be weird, like Odyssey. Like
They don't
when you
make
was
sense.
Cassandra, it fitted. When you was Alex, what the fuck
It
his
made
name
no
was,
sense.
The lines were kind of
Missed.
they didn't really hit as much. Like
I didn't have the right feeling, yeah.
it didn't have the emotion in it. Didn't have anything. Like
Well,
it
it's
was bland.
hard now because they're getting too many problems where it's too politically correct to be just a male and too politically correct just to have a female. It's like, where were those days where you could just...
Game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like, where were those days where they had games like that where it was, okay, this game's based around a male lead or this game's based around a female lead. Like, because I felt like that's almost what it felt like. You know,
I
did it.
Assassin's Creed. They did the whole choose male or female protagonist, and they just ran with the.
That happened with Odyssey and Valhalla. They did it with.
Yeah.
And it's just like
the female always gets the best role. Like,
well, with Odyssey alone, like it was designed. That was meant to be designed. You can even feel it that it's designed for the female. It was meant to be a female lead, but they left the male in them. But the male was very broken and out of place. It made no sense. But they left it in because of people being all like, oh, you know. And that's the problem. Like, why can't we have that day where the game's made for that one character and be done with? Just accept it. Like, that's how they wanted to make the story. Be done with it. Not being like, oh, this should have been an option for me to play male. I don't want to be, you know. Because people want to be bigots. No. If people want to be bigots like that, like, that's how
it's going to be male, female.
Possibly, yeah. Unless they...
Fisher's going to be...
Well,
female.
I mean, at the same time, though, he's going to be old, so it could be a thing when they're leading. Is he going to have a son? Is he going to have a daughter? I'm feeling... That's what I'm feeling.
That.
Oh, that's what I feel.
He's not that old. He's only in his 50s, wouldn't he? Sam Fisher?
Oh, he's going to be older 50s? Now.
Yeah.
That character will be an old character.
Where it comes, though. It could be straight after the last one. Where he's...
But that's what I mean, and that's where the problem is.
I'm not really that fussed if you have the choice to be male or female, because I'll just go with whatever.
Yeah, but like if they change it though, like if it doesn't.
No, but like, but that's what I'm saying though. You look at the Far Cry 4. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, I was about to say all I can think of is Cyberpunk, where you can be like, I'm a dude, but then you have a badge, and you can be like, I'm a chick, and then you have the biggest cock that's
well, that's it. But like, that's the thing.
Walked the earth.
And that's the thing, and it's hard with Ubisoft with what they're doing now because you look at where they were, and they go, okay, this is the story we're going with. It's a male, and they've always had, okay, yeah, they've always been male. But it makes sense, like, the stuff that these characters were going through were pretty violent shit. Like, getting, like, bitten, attacked,
well, not really,
you know,
like,
or digging out bullets out their arms.
It's not Resident Evil 7.
Well. But I mean, but then at the same time, you see where, like, the stuff like Lara Croft went with, like, the more recent Tomb Raider games.
That makes sense, because
like, she went through
her. Like...
But that's exactly it. Like, if they went back to that recipe of going, okay, this is this game, it's meant to be a female lead, then that's what it is. People need to just accept that and not have a whinge about it, which clearly that's where they've gotten to the point.
See where you're coming from? It's like if they decide to go, oh, Doom Guy is actually Doom Girl.
And it makes sense for that story.
That though, like
people will be yes and no, but like if that's where the story's going, like if that's meant to be okay, yeah, he's had a daughter, she's taking it on, like this is where the game's going, like they did with Wolfenstein and the Young Blood with the two daughters. The game was, but that's because the writing and everything.
It was just flawed. I wouldn't say it failed. It was flawed because
the writing and the directing of that game was just horrendous. It made no sense.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. I would say, RPG element. It was just a bit stupid. I think if they
wasn't a big deal. Like,
well, trying something different. Trying something different. And I think that's the other thing is being very different from what they've done in the past, and making the recipe change. We've seen how that's gone before.
If you're gonna try something different, it should be for an DLC or a standalone separate game from the main. If you're going to try something different, and if that works, then you can implement it.
Isn't it? Like,
but it feels more like more of a standalone game, trying to make it part of like a main chapter.
That jumped up like 15 years ahead. I'm like, that's a big jump.
Yeah, it is a big jump.
More DLC.
I would have been happy if they just stuck with BJ, because that was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, he was broke.
You know. Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. Like, it's fine if they're creating new IPs and you can have the choice to play male or female. I don't mind. That's
it's still pretty good, but
but the roles are going to be written for two different.
Well, like, but you watch the whole trailer, like
same one on two roles.
The other thing that got me though as well is that whole trailer. They showed the whole trailer, the female character, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, you have customization." It's like what? Like it seemed like they're pushing the whole female lead. I'm like, okay, this is cool. We have a female lead, and then they go, oh, "By the way, you can have customization." Then they're like, "Male, female." It's like, oh.
Yeah, I see where you're going from. It's like, if they chose to stick with the female lead, I would have been happy.
Yeah.
It would have been fine. But then you have the choice of doing both, and it kind of...
takes it away.
It takes it away from having the female lead. The fact that you can have both. It's either one or the
other.
other.
People go, the dude, like, if you got choice...
Well, I'm already looking at now. I'm going to...
chicks.
Well, with this one, I'm already going to go with female because I've been advertised as it being primarily a female character.
Yeah, advertised as female.
I'm going to play as her. Like
exactly, and I'm Yeah, and I'm fine if they stuck with that idea. It's like, it does seem like what you're saying is that the fact that you just can't please everyone and don't make the
No,
point of trying to please everyone.
just do
If
what
you're
you
gonna
want
stick
to.
Just
with a
make the
Yeah,
one dude.
yeah,
That's it,
yeah.
that's
If
it's
it.
you're
your
gonna
creative
stick with
idea. Stick
decision,
to it.
stick with one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
exactly. You lose a little bit. I
Like,
wouldn't say you lose a bit of integrity.
you don't see
It's
Santa
just
Monica putting Kratos and a lady Kratos. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like
If you're
they're
gonna
sticking to
stick
their
with
guns
something,
of what the
stick
story
with it.
makes sense. Like that's what their story is doing.
yeah,
They're going to stick
Yeah.
to that. They're not going to go,
like they
oh,
added his
please,
kid. Like, they didn't have to, but they did.
kid, yeah.
They went with it,
Yeah. No, well,
and it worked. Like,
with that's different though. With
I mean, he's
God
not
of
playable.
War,
That's why.
yeah, yeah. But with God of
But
War,
just,
that was a father and son journey dynamic, and that was very important to the whole storyline, overall
that's what I don't
storyline.
get. Far Cry
And
6 is father and son, but you're going against the father and son. It's
Well,
like,
you were his adopted child.
yeah, but still the same father son thing. Like,
Yeah.
well, the
he's raising him.
theory behind the child of the dictator is that's like this is supposed to be like a prequel to
Right.
Far
After.
Cry. Yeah, it's supposed to be Vash, not Vash.
Voss.
What's his
Vast.
name? Vass.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
even
No, 'cause
work.
it's set after.
Set way
It's set
later.
way
Apparently,
later.
what they're going for is
That's
apparently they want to
cool.
be very separate from that timeline altogether.
It's just funny that it's got the exact same scars and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Well, we don't even know what the actual time date is of this setting yet because it still looks very dated.
oh, it's very future.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they're just going in a
because
different
they made a
timeline.
gun out of a car engine.
Well, that's exactly it. So.
Well, that was a minigun, yeah, from a
Like a fucking this big Gatling. How is she holding that? Like, like and
Well, I liked the
out the ammo.
backpack she had where she was like the
Going
running
into-
mortar, where she like runs and she just stopped and crouched. It's like it looked like an NPC you would battle across in any other game. She just kept running up and she's just like, "Hurrah!" And she's like, "Yarr!" I thought she was gonna like have a rocket launch, like it was a jetpack. I thought she was gonna run up and she was
Yeah,
like
I
the
thought it
power
was a
punch was gonna
jetpack,
shoot
yeah.
off, but then she was like, "Yarr!" And I was like, "Oh damn, that's badass."
I
That's
instantly tweeted at like
badass.
3 a.m. Far Cry 6 has a fucking missile backpack.
Friggin' mortar,
That
backpack
was-
mortar,
Oh, like,
mortar on the go.
that blew me away, literally.
Technically, the game can still be set in the 80s or 90s.
I mean,
Or-
it's set 50 years in the past because they haven't evolved with the time. Like,
Yeah. Well, technology-wise, it's like Cuba. Cuba was literally a country stopped in time because ever since the the trade, like when there was the Cuban Missile Crisis, they literally
well, it
stopped
was
all trade to
apparently
the country.
Yara
So they had to
is
make
stuck in the 50s. Like, they had them old 50s cars and
That's exactly it.
And I was about to say, a minigun's actually been around a lot longer than you think. It's
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And-
nothing that high tech though. Like,
yeah.
Well,
Jesus.
they have that. They tease with that guy supposed to be a madman at creating stuff, so he's like the new Herc,
Oh,
basically.
There's a collector's edition of Far Cry 6, and it comes with a fucking flamethrower statue.
Yeah, that would be good.
So
It's like
yeah,
$300, I think, from Ubisoft.
Yeah,
From their
think,
actual store.
I think Far Cry 6 takes a lot of inspiration from like making weapons out of nothing is very like, and especially a country stopped in time reminds me very much like Cuba because it's when
Which
Cuba, as I said, when it
They've
was
done that before. Wildlands was in Cuba.
Dominican Republic, Caribbean, and with that, it's like making things and making do of what you had was very Cuban because it's if you've ever looked into what happened with that country ever since they couldn't actually import anything at all, they had to make do
Well, it was under
with
strict
anything.
orders of what could be.
Yeah, and literally they had to hand out like to-do books on how to repurpose like a bicycle into a air conditioning unit or whatever like that, and literally they just had to make do with what they had. They couldn't bring anything into the country, so
But
technology was stale.
what was it? I
Very
had something
improvised.
there. I forgot what it was.
You got it?
No.
Improvised weapons.
Oh yeah. I hope it hasn't got the RPG stuff from New Dawn, because you making weapons. New Dawn kind of had that, didn't it? Des, where you make weapons and the RPG system.
kind of.
Which, if they went full force with that, that's why they didn't really show gameplay. They showed snippets of gameplay.
I wouldn't be surprised if we'll still have that, possibly have that RPG element because the games have already gone that way. They don't really go back.
Yeah, but 5 was good. 5 had no RPG. It's just you, your guns, and killing people. That's all Far Cry is. Like, Far Cry is just you against thousands.
Yeah, well, they always have that level element where you come to a certain region and there are a certain level, skill level, and you got to like be able to be that level
Yeah,
to
but
progress.
if they've got that RPG element, a lot of people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's just because they've become that. Like you look at the Assassin's Creed games, they've got it a lot more nowadays.
Yeah, that
You look
makes
at,
sense.
but
Like,
I'm saying like you look at Division, they've done it with Division. You look at like
that
bloody
makes sense as well.
Tom
That's
Clancy's. They well even you look at the
looter
Tom
shooter.
Clancy's bloody Ghost Recon series. They've got the RPG up. They never had that. You look at Ghost Recon's bloody
Yeah, and what happened to that?
bloody what's it called? The because Wildlands implemented it. Bloody
Yeah,
Breakpoint
that was
implemented
done
it.
well.
Like they're all Ubisoft are
Because you
starting
can
to do
still
the same thing now.
anything. It was just hard if you went there.
Everything they've upgraded now, all the games are doing the exact same elements. They've got that
Re-
RPG elements with the leveling, and you've got regions where you got to clean through, and you got to be certain levels and XP. Like
But you
they're all
said
doing it.
New Dawn was annoying because of it. Like,
It was, it's here, and once you get to a certain point, it balances out. It gets better.
yeah, but
Reason why you have the RPG elements in most games like that is because one, if you know exactly where the boss is going to be, and it's purely based on run and gun, and all you have to do
that's
is
why you
go
do Smart Lock
travels.
5. Like, they
Yeah.
come and got you. You didn't go to the
Yeah.
bosses. They were
Yeah,
hunting you down at the, like when you got to them. Like, it was pretty cool.
But all you'd have to do is go straight to the end and kill the boss with like whatever shitty gun that you had, instead
Yeah.
of work your way up to it. The reason why you have RPG elements is also to, like, extend the life of the game. For the fact that instead
That's
of
why you
just
have a big world, though. You put side missions, you put them towers,
yeah. But the side
like-
missions, the point of is increasing your skills, so that means you can up your RPG levels.
So you have
to
their
get better
strength, yeah.
things.
I just
Yeah,
hope
you
they're
have
not
the
really
strength.
in your face, though. Like, keep them subtle. Like, you doing
Yeah,
that,
and
like,
it's just hard because they've gotten to that point now. They don't really go back. Like, so once you've gone with a thing, you don't really go back. And the fact
but
that
they
they've
got a lot of
committed.
flack over that, though. for
Well,
New
that's what I'm
Dawn.
saying. That's the fact that they've got that in New Dawn. They've got it in Division. They've got it in Breakpoint. They've got it in
Yeah, those
Assassin's
games make
Creed.
sense.
Yeah, but the fact is that because they've now done it with the whole of their franchise, even Watch Dogs basically had it. It wasn't as bad, but it kind of had those elements there to the sense.
Not really. No,
But-
not Watch Dogs. I mean,
You had to be
You can
certain
do that
levels to
pretty
get to
much
certain
from the
areas.
start.
You had to
You
be
go to the
if you
bosses.
yeah, well, if you weren't in the high certain level like me, I was like, oh, I'm going to go in this area, and I wasn't the right level, and I got annihilated because I didn't have the skill set. I was just like, oh, I'll do
Yeah,
it.
that's just
you know.
that's people. You need those specific people to
But
do
that's
them,
that's what I mean. That's still the sense of being RPG based
which
because
is
you got to be
fucking
the right level
annoying.
to get to those areas. You know.
Because you find the one person you need,
Yeah.
and then if you fail that one mission, they're gone.
Hmm.
You got to find another one. The game's fun, but
Oh.
one protagonist is enough, not 50.
Yeah, that was annoying. That's why it kind of weird with me trying to play that game because I'm just
Like,
like,
it was
this is
still
weird.
good. Like, I platinum that game, but I enjoyed it. But just Watch Dogs 4 or whatever. One
Go away
person.
from that. Just go back to the one person.
Just give us one or two, not as
Not
many as you
making
can
everyone,
have.
making basically any player and every player in the world is someone that you can play to take down bloody whatchamacallit. Everyone on the street is a character that you can play as. Like every character is a protagonist.
Except the cops, I think.
You can
Oh, you
you can
get
recruit
certain-
them.
No,
You can recruit
apparently
those.
You get the cops, yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah, I got the guards outside the fucking palace.
Mm.
Those guards with the big hats.
Oh yeah.
I got one of them in my damn safe room.
Oh nice.
Yeah, one of
Oh,
them.
nice. Yeah. But that's the thing. RPG elements is merely just to pace the game, so you just don't finish it in 5 hours or like
Unless
2
it's
minutes. Unless
like
it's a
Ghost
Far
Recon.
that's
Cry
actually it.
game.
Makes
Unless-
sense. Like you've just got the progression slowly.
Yeah, progression slowly. But also, I was about to say the fact that Far Cry games are also known. You can finish it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, they
Because
used to have that.
remember- in the
Finish 4
past-
in a couple of minutes. You can shoot, isn't it? You can shoot someone and the game's over.
Yeah. It's literally just shoot someone. And then there was when you choose not to try and arrest the preacher, you can be like, nah, that's it, and you literally
yeah.
just leave, and it finishes the game. And then
But
there's
then it puts
also
you back though.
Two different
Which is
endings.
yeah,
Yeah,
put you back.
but you basically
then-
finish it.
Yeah, you basically finish it. And then there was also the one where you're having the dinner with up in the one in Tibet or whatever it is.
Yeah, that's 4. That's
Yeah,
where they
that's 4.
started it. And I think
Yeah.
in 5 they did it as a fuck you. It's like you can finish it here, but then you get
Yeah.
put back.
Yeah, put back.
It's not
I
the
love the
true
fact
ending,
where it
but
was just you just literally wait for dinner, and you can wait there instead of trying to escape. And then he just comes back and goes, "Ah, awesome! Oh, did you finish the meal? Let's hop in the helicopter and shoot some guns." And you're like, "Fuck yeah!" That's an ending. Just find out the guys, spoiler alert. He's like,
I didn't realize 4 was co-op.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, they made the Far Cry games co-op.
I had no idea.
A lot of
while,
them, yeah, basically most of them all have been for co-op.
Yeah.
No,
There's a-
3 was not this.
Yeah.
Remaster.
No,
thing
no,
that-
they made that
they
single
took it
player,
out.
which is silly.
You know,
Not
there's
really.
a Far
It's a small
Cry
game.
VR game that's
Mm.
Oh,
they used-
they got vast in that. Like
yeah. It's Zero.
Michael Mando.
What's the name of the place? It's oh god, I should know this. Zero
remember.
latency. Zero latency.
Yep.
They're all around Australia, and one of their newest games they're coming out is the Far Cry game, and yeah, it's based
Is
on
it
that.
the third?
Yeah, it's the third one where you've got Vass, and it's a co-op. I think
Yeah.
it's a co-op one too. Yeah, you all
Ooh.
start playing it, and because it's VR, you've got
Ooh.
the rig, and you've got the actual physical guns, so it's zero latency, and you've got the backpack, so you're free roaming.
Yeah,
around
is Michael Mando there? Because he was apparently in select ones. Like he was playing Vars in
Yeah.
the things for people. I was like, that'd be sick.
That'd be awesome. But
That'd be scary.
yeah,
Like, come
that would be
behind you,
fun to
pat you on
play.
the shoulder, and just starts fucking ranting as Vars. Like Jesus.
I was about to say,
Ah.
just whispers into your ear. It's like, do
What
you
have I
know the
got?
definition of insanity?
Definition of sanity. Insanity.
Well, I'll say sticking on Ubisoft. I got a bit of news for Ubisoft that I was going to drop as well.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft. So
Yeah.
this is pretty
Where's
cool.
Beyond Good and Evil?
Yeah, well, is that? Which
Well,
is
E3 is not too far off, so yeah.
Ubisoft are releasing their second movie titled Werewolves Within.
Movie?
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's based off a game by some studio that it's a couple of years
The
old.
Wolf Within, or whatever it's called.
Werewolves.
I remember
Werewolves
when
Within.
they announced Division movie, and that still hasn't come out.
Hmm.
They're like, we got Jake Gyllenhaal on this, and we got like people,
I know.
and it was like
Because
never
Division,
done.
the way Division went,
It's like the
it didn't
Gears of
go
War
out.
movie. That's been done for.
I
They-
think it was probably
2006,
just
7.
well. I think one of the reasons
Well,
why they
the
probably just
difference
stopped
is-
working on it is because a real life Division actually happened, and we had COVID, and it was like too close to home, if you know what I mean.
I mean, it would have
Yeah,
worked
last-
because people would have had to wear masks.
yeah.
It would have made perfect sense.
You
but-
could have just sent a film crew outside and recorded for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sweet, we got everything that we need. Empty streets, people walking around in masks. Looting, buying toilet paper. Man, we've just like filmed
That
half the
happened
movie
again.
already.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Oh, just
In Victoria, I saw people posting things,
Yeah.
and there's like one thing on each shelf. It was like,
Yeah, because people have gone back into lockdowns.
they're still
Yeah.
open. You can still go there and get your toilet paper.
Some
and go
places
back.
you can, others you can't because like it's
Yeah.
in severe lockdowns. Like they're in actually like high-end
Yeah, but
lockdowns.
still, Woolies is open for supplies. Like you can still go and get your toilet paper.
Some regions and neighborhoods can't actually go out.
you get
That's-
delivery as well.
You just need one pack.
Well,
No,
they're in
yes.
at this stage they're in a week lockdown. It may get
It's not
extended.
wrong.
Well, it may be the thing that it is ridiculous
How much
panic.
is shit in a week?
Well, that's exactly it. But
Apparently a lot. Apparently a lot.
yeah, it's at the week so far, but they keep finding new cases, so it may be extended for another week. It may end up being extended to a month. So it's getting pretty crazy.
How
Against
much toilet paper can you go through in a month?
I don't even understand. Like I
Yeah,
buy a big
I
32 pack and it lasts me for a
I
month.
know some Victorians that can talk shit, but not that bad. Just oh god.
We can ask Juddy because he's over there.
Yeah. Well, I saw his TikTok the other day where he goes, "We're in lockdown. I'm gonna go see how long I can go without beating my meat." And he's like, at the start, he goes, "1 day without beating my meat," and then he shows he's in a different outfit. He goes, "1 day without beating my meat," and he goes to another shot with him wearing 1 day without me beating my meat. And I'm like, well, he's failed 3 times already. I was like, God damn it, Juddy! Like,
But still, the whole country should be in lockdown until everyone's vaccinated. That should be a thing. Like, How many
because of
lockdowns has
No,
there been?
no.
Yeah, but there's a lot of
no.
vaccinations they still got to try and get and make and get out to
Hey,
everyone.
but
Then.
still, it's smart from doing it from the start of last year. Just had lockdown until.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah, I mean, it would have been
No.
nice to lock it off, but you can't.
People are pissed because it's in lockdown, but they're the ones getting sick and spreading it.
No, exactly.
Instead of just locking down states, can we just lock down certain people?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a lot of people.
That's.
Um.
I'm just being very selective.
Yeah, that's a lot of people
just-
though.
just-
There's a lot of
just-
people everywhere. There's
people-
dots.
Just. It doesn't matter if they don't have COVID or anything. Just certain people I just don't
Ah.
like.
Yeah,
Just need to be
Wookie,
locked
you get
inside.
locked away.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Just work
Wookie,
from
you
home.
work from home, bro.
Yay!
What have we got here?
I work from home.
For those.
Voluntarily, you know.
God damn it. Trying to.
Hey, boss.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to work from home.
When people could voluntarily say, "Oh yeah, I'm in lockdown for a while."
I think
Oh,
you
no.
can get sick though. Like if you get sick, you can just say it might be COVID. Just stay home for a fortnight. Like
Yeah, it was fine at the start. It was like, oh, all these social engagements that I never planned on going in the first place. I think because of COVID, I don't have to go. No,
get
that's
a
very
fucking
bad.
big
to
hazmat
taste.
suit. Let me put on my hazmat suit.
Actually, I should have done that. I should have bought as soon as as soon as last year started.
Just walking around.
Just buy
Yeah.
a hazmat suit, and I'll be like on point. I could just rock up to anything, and it'd just be like, "No, I'm clear." And they're like, "Sir, there's a lockdown." It's like, "Nah, you see what I'm wearing? I'm clear." So
Don't get a little knife, stab, sucker.
Well, with with everything going around, with it possibly going back to where we were, square one, possibly, it could easily happen.
in Melbourne.
Well, yeah, exactly, but it could easily spread anywhere. So many people
I
have
think Sydney had it
fled.
again.
So many people have fled Melbourne too, because
Which not that means if they're
if anyone have it and they have easily
Yeah,
just got back and.
South Australia locked them out.
Hmm.
I think Perth's gonna lock them
Well,
out.
well, the thing is,
'cause
though,
they're
with any of that
like
happening, well, that's the
well.
worst part is, it happened for a while, they're only starting to find new numbers. What happened to those people that may have had it beforehand without even realising that have come back
Yep.
to Queensland or
Oh.
anywhere else before any of this
Locked
happened
up
weeks
Perth
before?
for 10 days before they actually isolated.
Yeah!
They
things
went
like
everywhere
that.
for 10 days. Like,
Right?
how thick?
But,
And people in dodging the check-in centres, like little
Oh.
queue things. People have not been signing in.
just fucking check in.
It's like, that's how they keep track of who was there.
But, this might help for those, I'm trying to segue it here. Stores are starting to get in, listings for PS5s. Retailers, local retailers starting to get them back in listed again so people can start getting on to getting PS5s. So
Yeah, get one, Daz.
I'll look at getting one eventually.
Get one, Wookie. Get one.
Oh, no, no.
So, some other bit of
Hey,
news.
Horizon.
I'll squeeze in here. Cyberpunk news, little CDPR news. There's been some changes happening with CDPR at the moment. So, what's his name? Gabriel Tengelo. I'm butchering the name. They joined CD Projekt in January 2020 as a creative director. They have now taken over from. They're now the studio head, taken over from Adam Badowski.
That was
So
quick. Wait, Sadowski? Oh, because of Cyberpunk, he gone?
no, what's happening is they're doing divisions now. He's moved up in the chain because they're doing multiple games at the same time now.
Yeah, but
So they've got teams working on. What it sounds like there's got teams working on Cyberpunk still, but they're working on new projects already.
oh yeah. Well, that's The Witcher and Cyberpunk
Yeah,
sequel
yeah.
DLC.
So
Okay,
this was specifically multi-game,
Oh, okay. Because
multi-game.
normally, it's when you always hear about, oh, we're moving people off one game to work on another, which is kind of pretty common. But at the same time, it means they've kind of gone. I remember one of the times when I heard that, and it was DayZ. Put it that way.
And
Yeah. It's kind of just the focus lacked in
people
it.
still
They
love
just-
it though.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. I
Well,
think they need to freshen it around a little bit because he's been running it for so long with this whole thing, and then you got to think about too running that, especially with the main game being Cyberpunk, and then all this happening.
Yeah,
I imagine
Wasn't
this.
he the man who released it? Really, like he was like, yeah, release it.
Well, emotionally it was and everything. You got to imagine, you got to make these choices. You got to, when it comes down to being business, you got to go, do I do it or do I not? And it can be very hard sometimes. You just got to say, just do it, and we'll just see how it goes, and we'll work from there.
Yeah, but you don't do that.
Well, you don't.
Well,
I mean, you don't do that, but being behind doors as a business, like, it is very hard. Like, especially being them. Like,
Yeah, but no one talks about Cyberpunk anymore. They've lost their hype around it. They've lost that long ago.
Yeah. If they start releasing some more DLC, which
There
were
should
they
be
planning
soon.
on,
Which would have been
should
out
be
by
soon.
now. But
Yeah, in
still
theory.
fixing the damn game.
Well, I think.
well, no, they're not worrying about updates per se now. They're working on DLCs and stuff now,
Oh.
and then working on patches. That's what they said.
Updates would be a part of the DLC.
Yeah, it's
That's what
more they're
probably
working on that, and they'll push out things in the content. That's what they're trying to do
It's
now.
not yeah, it's like you said. It's not. Well, yeah, it's not uncommon when one IP is finished working.
It's not
on.
that
They'll leave
broken.
a small team to keep working on DLC. So on
And that's
so
exactly what they were
forth.
looking at doing.
And work, and they'll just send them all off to work on another IP because.
I just hope
you
it's
know,
The Witcher.
Well, yeah, that was it was kind of like hopes.
That's all they make, isn't it? Just Witcher and Cyberpunk.
Well, it was
That's all
just
they
Witcher.
really-
Yeah, well, Gwent.
Gwent
Yeah,
was
And
just
they
Witcher.
own- yeah. Yeah,
Unless they're doing
so
something new
much.
again, is another new IP.
Well, if they start working on another new IP, I reckon they'll put a little bit more. They did say put less focus on the marketing and more focus on the game.
Yeah.
Well, the
'Cause-
Cyberpunk was in development for 4 years, which is the standard for
The
games.
standard. The standard.
They just
yeah,
hyped it up for so long because that was an idea then.
yeah,
It sounded
yeah.
good, and they had all that hype behind it. They did, what they marketed it way too much more than what they
It
should
was
have.
what 2017 they started development really, which people think it was longer.
I feel like Cyberpunk was definitely one of the most marketed game that I've ever seen. Like compared to most other games, like
Yeah, I'd say in the last 2 years it was very heavily marketed. They did use a lot of solid.
it was
that was
everywhere. Like
every
it was
now and then,
everywhere.
like,
It was
oh.
everywhere. You couldn't go
Oh,
anywhere
yeah,
without seeing
100%.
Cyberpunk.
Have
So-
you noticed
Yeah.
since Far Cry got that trailer, every ad on YouTube now is that Far Cry thing. It's like
I haven't had that yet.
I'm over it now. Stop showing the damn same ad. Like it's just
And
Danny going.
um,
"We can do this."
the other thing it's come to now is with Cyberpunk's fate, they've actually left it now with Sony going, if you want us back, it's up to you. It's up to you guys. Like we're happy to put it back to you guys to have
Well,
it
is
released on
Sony's
Sony.
choice.
But that's what they basically said. But if people keep going, oh, is it going to come to Sony? It's like, well, it's you can buy it physically still. You can still physically buy copies of Cyberpunk. Digitally is a different story. But if you wait for it digitally, it's up to Sony now if they want
It's
to
still
take it.
fair for them to say no because it's still broken. Like,
It is a huge dent in having a game taken off the
So it
marketplace.
must be people still, because what it comes down to is I think people are still asking them, are you going to be releasing digitally on Sony? And it's like, well,
no, will when it's done.
once
That's what they
Sony
said.
feels like it's up to them. That's the thing. Even if they complete that, what's coming to what they're basically suggesting is they could do Cyberpunk, get it 120%. They could have the game 120%. Sony, and it's up to Sony if they, if Sony wants to take it. Sony can still say no, we're not going to take it. Okay.
I mean, of course, I'll take it when it's done, but it has to be done.
So
Which it keeps crashing on PlayStation. Like you got to fix the crashing.
Well, saying that, it's like it would be nice to actually. Well, not speaking as a PlayStation player, but seriously, when you look at it, how many games are actually on PlayStation 5 at the moment? How many games can you play? You've got the new Spider-Man, and
There's a lot of PS5 games, to be fair.
is there? Yeah, I
Oh,
never
yeah,
really
I've-
paid
There's
attention.
Spider-Man, fucking Demon Souls, about to be Ratchet
Yeah,
and
it's-
Clank,
Destruction All
about
Stars.
to be Deathloop, about to be
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot of things.
Deathloop. Yeah,
Yeah,
the Bethesda's got
Horizon
that.
But you got
That's
Destruction
like 3
All Stars at the moment as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Cyberpunk was made for PC as well.
Yeah.
We all admit it was made for
No
PC.
one's missing out on Cyberpunk.
No, but there's been a lot of people that have played it. Like, there's a lot of people that have played it. Like, when you look at the statistics, there's been millions of people that have played Cyberpunk and finished it.
Yeah.
Like,
I've finished it 4 times.
so like it's done well.
I don't know
Realistically,
why,
it
but
actually
I
has
did.
done well. Like it for like the money they made back, like it's done well.
Oh yeah, they've
It's
tripled their money.
It's
they
just the
spent on it.
dramatized behind it. Yeah, there's a few problems. Yeah, it's there's been some bigger issues. I'd say that the deletion of save files is one of the worst problems you could have for a game in
Just
existence.
a
But
game of that scale, which takes you what, like
But that happened with Fallout. Fallout had done that in the past too. Like, Fallout didn't hadn't had those faults, like they've done the exact same thing. I had that problem where if you did too many saves or to walk through it would delete your save files. Like games have
For some
done it.
reason, I thought you were talking about Fallout 76.
No, it happened to
No.
4 and
I think it was 3 and 4. Like there was those bugs
yeah,
where
yeah.
people had lost their save files. So
That's what people like.
It has
Bethesda's
happened,
Been
yes.
doing the same shitty thing for the same buggy games. No one gives a fuck like they gave fucking Cyberpunk. Like they went ham on Cyberpunk.
at least Cyberpunk tried to fix their stuff. Bethesda,
Bethesda
done
don't.
like they just
I
like,
will
well,
get
wait,
Chance to fix it
I
with mods.
just want to say something. There was a Fallout 3 and 4? Because all I play is New Vegas, baby!
yeah, New
And
Vegas, yeah.
Fallout 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's the only Fallout game. Only Fallout games that ever
Wookie?
existed for me. No.
I saw Fallout 1, 2, and the 3 first ones from Obsidian.
The Fallout 1, there's only Fallout 1 and 2, and then there's
What's
Tactics.
that third one? Oh, Tactics.
Tactics.
They were $5
Yeah.
on fucking thing. I'm like,
Yeah, they're always like that basically. I bought them like that like 5
they
years
worth
ago
it, though.
for the exact same price.
Tactics was think of it was a squad based turn
So like
kind
XCOM?
of yeah, kind of like XCOM. It was pretty fun. I finished that a couple times, but if you want to go back to like real old school, play 1 and 2.
But
Yeah.
would they hold
Very
up?
different.
Like,
Very different. They're very click based.
would I enjoy it?
They're texty. They're like
that's-
texty click based. Text click based kind of.
No,
Fancy.
yeah. It's think of
I mean, Fallout 3's just run their talk, run their talk, run their fight
well,
talk.
Fallout 3 was the first time that they ever. Well, actually, no. Fallout New
Bethesda.
Vegas and Fallout 3 were the ones that they decided to go for first-person perspective.
Hmm.
Fallout 1 and
It
2 and
changed hands for
Tactics,
that.
yeah, it changed hands.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
I'm
where
thinking,
I was very
if
like,
Fallout 3 wasn't first person, New Vegas would have been like their first ones.
Could have been.
well, New Vegas was not done by them. That was done by
Yeah, that
the
was
guys.
Obsidian.
Oh yeah, Obsidian, yeah. So
Like,
I was thinking
if
Bethesda.
Bethesda didn't do 3 in first person, New Vegas would have been like the old ones probably.
Maybe.
Like
Maybe.
because
There was a
Bethesda
lot
brought
of
them to the first person.
there's a lot of Fallout games in production ever since before that as well. They're
Oh.
planning on doing a large MMO Fallout
Ooh.
too.
They planned
Fallout as well.
76.
basically
Like 76, but it was
an
top
MMO.
down,
Yeah.
kind of like like your Fallout 1 and 2, very run around.
But on a World of Warcraft scale kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, kind of World of Warcraft kind of scale, but more like your very third person perspective kind of thing. I forgot the name of it, but it was in development for a while.
Oh, did you hear that Starfield could be out this year?
Yeah, I'm.
And
Thinking
then it
they're
was
gonna start
end of
talking about it.
2022. It's like there's now and next year.
Well, there was a
People
new Sonic game that was announced as well. Just seen a trailer for that. I
Was it
can't
Colours?
remember the name. Something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like- yeah.
they said it's going to be out next year as well. I instantly
Yeah.
thought as soon as there was a new Sonic game, I thought it was going to look like the one out of the movie.
That'd be
Very-
Movie game.
That
Sonic
would be,
movie
I
game.
thought it was going to be like next minute you've got Sonic, but then it's like live action.
Sonic the movie game.
Yeah, Sonic the movie game. I'm like, yes. And then you got Jim Carrey, like, woo! Yeah,
That's Dr. Eggman. Oh,
that's Dr. Eggman.
That'd be
I'm like,
funny.
yes. That was actually.
that second movie's out next year, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Apparently next year. Yeah.
Teaming up
that
with
was so
Knuckles?
quick.
Hmm.
Yeah, Knuckles. Oh, isn't he rumored? To be in
No,
there?
apparently he's meant to be timing up with him.
Knuckles.
Like that's who he finds that who help. That's I think supposed to help him get out of there where he's at.
Yeah,
Is Knuckles
yeah,
helps him.
that's the rumor. Knuckles is supposed to help Eggman,
Oh.
and it actually had a photo of him without the hair and stuff.
That's a quick turnaround though. Like Sonic just came out last.
Oh no, it's like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Two,
no.
3 years ago.
Yeah. It was
2019?
Just when
20
COVID started.
Yeah, so that
2019.
was 2020.
No, it came out 2019.
Yeah, but
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
2019. That's only a quick
Technically,
damn
it's
movie.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a quick damn movie.
there's a lot of that's like that.
Yeah, good turnaround. Quick. Yeah, 2 years is a decent turnaround.
Hmm.
for a
Yeah,
movie.
some movies take. I mean, they do take like 9 months to shoot, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and
That's
then
like
editing and
there's a lot of stuff that turn around fairly quickly.
post production.
They've still been filming through a lot of things like.
And it's only Sonic who's really animated, plus Knuckles if he is in there.
Yeah.
I'm
for the
so glad
brief part.
I hope they show off a bit of the screenshots beforehand, and hopefully they make him look like the proper Knuckles, not some.
Can
kind
you
of
imagine if they went like the old Sonic one they did, but put his knuckles,
Oh no, that would
give him the teeth and the eyes and the.
Just make him red.
Yeah, it would have been fantastic
No, well,
if
you,
they did
well,
it as
well,
an
you look what they did
Easter
with
egg in the
Tails. It was
movie.
funny because, like, well, you look at Tails at the end in the credits when he was the Easter egg, and he looked like the animated game version. Like, he looked like the
What
game
if
version.
they did the Ugandan knuckles?
Oh,
know the way.
well, I wonder if they'll make a reference to that because remember how they made a reference to Sonic and he was like that Sanic.exe, like the
Yeah.
crazy guy was like, I drew him the blue
yeah.
demon, like, and it was the Sanic meme. I wonder if they'll do that when they introduce Knuckles, where someone had seen him, they make a reference and he's like squished Uganda Knuckles.
That would have been fantastic.
Or if it's not
Do you know
that,
the way?
or that's what I was gonna say. If anything happens and like Eggman goes, "Do you know the way?" Like he says that to him, like Knuckles, do you know the way? Like if
What
he
if Sonic says it to Knuckles?
maybe like if they drop that like that kind of meme joke, that'd be great. If someone happens to
That'd be
say to
good.
Knuckles, do you know the way? Like
You know the way.
do you know the way?
Like,
Ooh,
Oh,
that'd be pretty cool.
Right.
Because-
Well, the internet did technically help dictate that movie. When they
Yeah.
Oh,
dropped-
hell yeah.
dropped the first trailer.
If
And
the
without
internet didn't backlash, that would have been a ruined movie from the.
Oh yeah,
fucking-
and
Yeah.
because of that, that's what happened. The internet backed up the movie when it was finally
Well, that's
released.
the other thing that gets me too is now I kind of understand now how it was a quick because people are going, oh, how was it such a quick turnaround? How do they manage to turn it around so quickly and get this new
Only
model
them
in?
things that are animated, they can shoot the whole thing and just add them in.
Well,
last.
that's what I was going to get at. This is after playing around with Unity. It's kind of given me the idea things can happen really quickly. Like they had that
Sonic's
kind of.
already made, so they got him.
Well, they made that model. He's already filmed. They already filmed it. They already had him animated a certain way. That's already rigged up. Those things are already rigged. Anything. All they had to do is go back, redesign the Sonic with all the textures and details, import that model instead over the old model. Boom, done.
Tails was already modelled for the
That was
first
pretty
one.
much it. Yeah.
Like, and people going, oh, that seemed really quick. Like, do they already have, like, once you start working with these programs that they're basically using to make these models and do these characters in, it's actually quite easy. Like, once you've got a rig and the rig's framed and set, it's already there. You just import any model.
gotta
You can
film
have the
it.
model. You can delete the model you've got if you've still got that rig saved file, and just import another one. Just overwrite the skin. Like, you could have that movie basically with that sense imported. Basically, any character you can think of. I mean, if it's not scaled right. Like if you had friggin' Master Chief, for example, and you shrunk him down to a decent scale, and he would animate and do the exact same shit. Like,
Yeah.
because it's a rigged animation. They've already got it. It's just a text, and it's like they can do anything. Like it's really quick. Like, and that's why it's understandable once you start doing these things and you work with stuff that's in that related to the industry, it's really not that hard. So
So
I'm
I
sup-
could any animated film that had live action or anything like that, I could just, if I had the assets, I could just reanimate.
like those asset files for that model basically would exist if someone saved that asset file. They could put that into, like, for example, VR chat or something like that because that model is a saved animated
Yeah,
model with
yeah.
the textures, skins.
So
It's
I
just a
can
3D
have
model.
giant tentacle monster or penis or whatever I want into any of these things.
Basically,
Tentacle monster.
you just
Giant
put in
tentacle penis monster. Yeah, just make anything into a hentai.
Tangler from
But,
Pokemon could have been in the movie.
Giant tentacle Sonic.
And that's what I mean. Once you've
Tentacle
exactly
Sonic.
once you've got it there, it's
Sonic,
already
all his
animated.
fingers to penises.
Salad
That'd
fingers.
be creepy. Teddy, would you like some
Or
sauce?
salad fingers. Salad fingers, if I remember.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's crazy to think that that's what it comes down to. Once you've got it there, it's like a game. It's exactly like a game, like because they use basically the same programs to a degree. Like that's why, like
You just got to update some things, not everything.
yeah. And that's what I mean. That's after like especially
What
watching all
about
the
Sonic,
corridor
though?
stuff. Like it's
You wouldn't have to update Sonic because he doesn't change.
no. Once they had to fix that model up because it's just the eyes and the rendering of how the hair looked and everything. That's all they had to do.
That and his hands were weird. Like he had
He was
human
too
hands.
he was too
like-
humanoid. That was the
Yeah.
problem. He was too
And
humanoid.
his feet were human feet shaped, not like weird curved, pointy. They were weird.
Well, man, they even gave him the normal
It was-
shoes still to a degree, but
He had the human body like it was like a little kid.
it was very
like a
weird.
kid
That's
It
exactly
was-
it. He was too humanoid.
bad. It was. Well, that was the thing. Army of the
film.
Dead. Yeah, how they replaced that actor, the previous one, completely, with the new actor, and all they did was,
Reshot.
reshot it all with green screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got that single actor. I can't remember her name, but they got her to redo everything just in front of a green screen and just replace those scenes completely.
Yeah, and this can be done
And
these
apparently
days.
it was really easy to do, just to cut out that actor
And
chuck the other one in.
And that's the thing too. If they can do that really easily with live people, like that's live people, that's a whole different ball game compared to animated. Like that's insane. If they can do that with live people, that they can do anything.
Because
Like-
live people is harder than
Yeah.
animated stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we're all familiar with deep fake, right?
Yeah, like that's exactly
You
it.
can tell they're
like-
off though. Like you can just
Yeah, but it's getting better,
You can
it's getting improved.
tell. It's that requires over time. You can actually get it to be a lot better. You know, it's
because
like
it's got to be
animation.
scanned like millions of times to be perfect. Like
Yeah. But
all
you know,
angles
it's
and-
a
It's
lot
starting
of
to get that way.
studios own the assets. Like they've done it for Star Wars.
that was bad.
you
though,
know,
like,
They always take
That-
most
well,
yeah
dude,
most
Yeah.
products
Yeah.
nowadays. They all do that. They actually get them acted to be based minimum. They get them to sit in front of the cameras, and they do basically 3D scans now. Every movie, every actor gets a 3D scan for whatever they need to do.
Yeah, so if that
It's-
actor passes away, they can keep filming and
Although
chuck in
that-
another one.
that Mandalorian Luke thing that looked so bad.
But
I thought.
for the budget too, like for what
Corridor
it's being
Crew
worth.
did
yeah.
a lot better job.
Yeah, they would have been better if they got Sebastian.
Yeah,
Stan
that's
or-
it. We mentioned this last time. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Mark
you know,
Hamill just to stand there and just put a young face on him.
well, that's what they did. Literally, Mark Hamill was there.
Oh, was
They-
seriously talking, was he?
yeah, literally.
Oh, what they had a
from what I've
young.
heard.
What they did was they had a young actor step in that had a similar build, and they deepfaked his old face from the original like the original trilogy.
It just
Scanned that in,
weird.
but they had him to. I think they got him to recut some of the audio. I think it was,
Yeah.
and they tweaked it. That's why it was a bit in there.
his face was like floaty. It was
But that was.
weird.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it
that
just
was
seems
very.
off.
I feel like that was very last minute of an idea.
And the eyes
like-
were just staring. It's like,
Like they did the whole scene, which seemed
That's
right. I
creepy.
think the face reveal might have been a very last idea,
Mm.
and they just went with it and just did what they could
I
and
don't
just put it
reckon
out.
because they would have been discussed early on, but
Well,
they filmed that probably last,
yeah, and I said doing the edit
which is stupid.
last
For
bit
something
of edit.
like that, you do it first, so then you got time to fix it. If it's
Well, that's the thing. I think it could have been deepfake process too. So they've had the program run, render it out, and go, okay, we'll go with it. And it's gone. And they've tried many different times, and gone, this is the best we've got. Let's just go with it. Because the most people have
Or
what
just
people have been
the-
doing.
It'll do, and then they just run it and be like, "Yeah, that'll do."
but-
We
Well-
don't want to spend all the budget went into the
yeah,
lightsabers.
but
all
Corridor
right?
Crew did it.
Well,
in a day,
the
and
thing
it
was
way
though,
better.
they deepfaked
Yeah.
They basically the thing was already deepfaked, and they deepfaked a deepfake basically. And most
Yeah,
of the time,
yeah.
what I've seen anyway, if you deepfake, it's gonna be better either way. With if you've already got
It takes
that
a
face
lot
there.
of time to process it.
Because that's like,
Let
because
it
you
run
basically
up.
got to get that face. And if the guy that they had acted, which by the sounds of it wasn't even anywhere close looking, when you put a face
Yeah.
onto that, it's very off. Like they did that with the even Corridor showed that when they had that dude do
Tom
the
Cruise
Keanu,
in that, like,
the Tom
they
Cruise and
kept
Keanu
doing-
Reeves, like it didn't fit right. But when you got people that look basically similar facial shape proportions where eyes and stuff sit, when you do it, it works better. So. Even if they even like, that's why they thought they say Sebastian
That's a
Stan
good
would work.
fucking
fills
face
in the
that
gap.
we used as.
Yeah.
That moves mouths like your
Yeah,
mouth is still.
but that's that
It,
technology.
moves
That's
it
basically
and-
similar tech. It's
That's
the same
way
kind of
better though than that fucking.
It's similar kind of tech, and that's something
No,
they
it moves the
deepfake
background
deepfake.
with
So.
you though. It's weird.
Yeah, because it makes you a solid weird
Like,
object.
As I was saying before, they've got plenty of actors deceased where they've just taken the footage that they've had and they can literally just make them do whatever they want. You know, that's why we literally have a holographic 2-pack.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson and
Michael Jackson and anyone else. So it's doesn't matter if an actor passes away. Studios still own the likeness, which is one of the, I think I brought it up before, where the face swap apps that you have, they're owned
Yeah.
by a Russian company, and it has in their T's and C's, they own your face as soon as you start using the app.
I'm keen to see how the
essentially they
Fast
can-
9 one works with Paul Walker because he's in that movie like full-bodied, like
Oh, really?
full-faced. Yeah, like he's all action scenes and all. Like
Oh, shit. I haven't seen him
you look
in
at the
any of
trailer.
trailers.
Look at the. It looks like his brother instead now. Like they've gone full his brother. Like his brother's
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
him.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if it's a face thing or.
Yeah, I didn't even see him in any of the trailers. As
Oh, then latest one, I think. The one that
Oh,
goes for like
okay.
3 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
You got him as an
more
action
focused.
seat, jumping from car to car or something.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't see
okay.
any of that. I
That's-
couldn't see.
It's
Yeah.
a walk. I don't know who it is, but
Yeah, probably his brother. Yeah,
I got this little funny thing I wanted to share as well.
that's right. Dad is like, Brian's in that.
I tried to
You're
look at.
like,
I couldn't see it. I was a bit off because it was very quick when I saw it happen in the
"What?" Did you
trailer.
actually see it in the end?
I watched the whole
or-
trailer, but I didn't see any of that. I was like, I
You
saw.
didn't see it?
No.
He's standing next to the little dude,
Yeah.
the ludicrous dude.
Okay, yeah, didn't even notice.
You
When
didn't
I-
know what?
I did
Yeah.
not
No.
notice.
No. That's exactly it.
I was probably at a glance.
I was like, Brian's
um,
back, but then it was like his brother. I'm like, they done that wrong because if they don't face swap him, it just shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
'Cause people will know like straight away.
What was it? This here was funny when I was looking for some of the news to go through for this episode. There's a funny article I came across, and I thought this would be good because it's kind of up your alley a little bit there, Wookie. So
Everything's up my alley.
this one I thought would be pretty funny. You'll get a laugh over
Big,
this. So
small, lubed, non-lubed. Oh, sorry, we're talking about something else, right?
so
Not
English.
the damn prison wallet.
So the title was, the headline for the article was, English police searching for cannabis farm uncover Bitcoin mine. So basically what was happening was they were canvassing a joint. They expected the routine of how typically, because people were coming and going from the place, the location, people were coming and going at weird times, and it was very suspicious. They had noticed that it was like, you know, the basic setup you would have for a cannabis house, like they'd have the piping and, you know, the ventilation, extra ventilation stuff. So they figured in, they had drones fly over and they heat sensed the area, and it was like very like they, you know, it was all the signs for a typical cannabis house. They went and raided the joint, and ended up going in. They ended up just finding 100 units of equipment, and it was just all set up for mining. It was all.
I'm not surprised because one of the ways they find cannabis farms is from the heat of the lighting.
Yeah.
So they'll send over the choppers and they'll fly around and they use, you know, heat detectors or whatever, thermal imaging. And
How hot's the fucking PCs?
Well, that's exactly it. And this was 100 units.
PCs are really hot. They gotta have that building fully cooled. It's, you know,
Like-
server farms. Server farms are cooled. You know, they're all air conditioned areas. It's
Yeah.
it's the same thing. That's one of the things that they've got to be, you know, super cool because you've got all the fans. Like any other computer that's running, you know, you could have it water cooled, the fans, you could have the system clean out the fans so it doesn't overheat. Same thing with the server farms.
mine's
If you've got
cold.
all these graphics cards and you so many, and then you've got like even if
They're
each
running
one is
3090s as well.
yeah, it's even if each one is producing a little bit of heat, that and then you've got a
It still
little
adds
bit of
up.
heat, all adds up, accumulated heat.
Especially
and
100
it's
units.
also-
Still, that's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of.
Yeah,
100
and
units,
The
yeah.
building itself is using large amounts of electricity, which is another reason why they
Considering if there's
determine-
lights, as
Well, that was the
well.
thing
yeah,
too.
the lights as well. Yeah, as I said, two things would have, you know, ticked off by the police. One, it would be the thermal imaging
For the
would have
heating,
been,
and all the
like,
people
the
was
heating.
the setup because they had the
Just imagine
ventilation
what's
stuff.
on the
People-
door, just busted in.
And
Oh.
electricity as well. Electricity. So one of the other things is they determine if a place is using way too much electricity.
Well, they
than it
weren't even
should.
thinking of that with the electricity when they were going to the joint. They end up finding out afterwards that when they were going through it that they had been stealing electricity as well. So they
Yeah,
find
that-
so
that
they
is
find
not
them.
uncommon.
They basically got
because-
fined for stealing electricity. So
Yeah, one of the things that I've heard on some raids as well for drug labs is basically the thing they'll do is they would put an extension cord between the houses. So if it's set up in a house, they'll have extension cord. They wouldn't just be using their electricity. It'd be like
because they have
they'd be
units.
using electricity.
Well, they have
from
plugged
next
outside.
door as
Basically,
well.
everyone, like
Yeah,
in
plugged
America, stuff like
out.
that, they actually have power points outside,
Yeah.
so people would run leads and plug in. And because they're at the back of the house, some people don't even go to those part of those houses, and they don't
Yeah,
really.
exactly.
They forget that they have power ports outside of their houses, so people
Well,
will
they'll
plug in
hide it
extension
the
leads and
way
just.
so you just don't notice.
Mm.
They'll like wait until they leave and they'll get like someone
You
who's
turn
like,
your power off to it, just
you know,
fuck you
they'll,
guys.
they'll connect it up, and then they'll think of it as in, oh, why is my power bill so high? It's like, oh, it must be blah blah always on the computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
not.
now
It's
it tells you
literally-
everything you've used though. So it was like,
Yeah,
we don't use the one out there.
Yeah. So that's the two things that they'll check if it's like a a cannabis farm is if it's that. But lucky enough, those places cannabis is becoming legal more and more. So most of those places
But it was
will
just
be
yeah.
above board. It's just Bitcoin farming places are very
Yeah, well,
common now as
apparently now
well.
it's coming to a halt because it's getting less. There was something about it.
Trends are starting
Less
to,
probable. There's a lot of bitcoins out there now, different ones.
and all these new laws
Bitcoin
coming in
itself.
as well.
Yeah, Ethereum and Dogecoin, all that kind of stuff, and it's not as
Look, I
profitable.
heard there was a
Um,
big drop in Bitcoin now. I'm like, good because we
Well,
can finally get
the biggest
graphics
thing was
cards.
because we mentioned last week was because of the China cutting down on the Bitcoin
Yeah.
trade and stuff
Well,
as well.
well, I heard they were in some places they were cutting down as well because if it was like summer, I heard in places like
Too
where
hot.
it's summer at the moment, it's way too hot and they're
To run the equipment, yeah.
screwing up the power grid. And it's not just screwing up the power grid; they're just it's literally
Using more.
just way too hot for it. Like they'll burn down a building whilst they're
Yeah.
trying to Bitcoin farm because
Didn't
everything's
someone's house
way too
burn
hot.
because of a PC recently though?
I think it
Oh,
might
it
have been.
wouldn't be. Yeah, it
Because
might
I
have
saw it
been.
on YouTube that someone's house burning because they were doing mining. I'm like, idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Bitcoin
And if it's
rigs
not set
on
up properly either, if you're
place.
not maintaining it properly and it's got the right setup for it, yeah.
You still got
Yeah.
to dust your PC. You still got to like check it.
Well, the
like, you
fact
don't
the,
just
the,
leave
fact,
it
it's
on
not, the
for
fact
days.
is that most time it's set up where it's just the graphics cards are just mounted on brackets, open exposed.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah,
like
open
they're
exposed.
sitting to us like this. Like the heat's gonna radiate up to the next one. Heat's gonna radiate up to the next one. You need
Yeah,
the
and
breathing
heat-
All
room,
it takes is
Heat
one could just
rises,
malfunction
so-
and like go
Yeah.
bad, and the whole
Yep.
thing could just go.
basically.
And and there was also a lot of people starting to do Bitcoin mining because it was like,
The
I can
trends picked
start
up.
making money, and they thought they would make more money than it costs to actually
Bitcoin
farm.
A lot of
is
people weren't
not-
following it properly.
The
And
more people who
No.
do it, the less you get.
well,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, there's that. It's
Yes,
you got to
like-
spend it. The people not
Yeah.
spending, the people that are just getting it to hoard it.
Yeah.
The whole point of the system is to spend. If you spend, it's all part of the
Because
share
you
system
get cards
because
for shit now, like you said, does. Like,
Yeah.
if you get a card, you can spend that pretty much wherever
Yeah.
now. Like,
but people can just sign up to things. But it is the system because you as
I mean,
a
you
miner.
can just save it, but you got to put stuff in. To...
But that's the thing. Being a miner, being a miner, being a bit miner.
It's just say miner because that's what we're talking
I know,
about.
but being a crypto miner, the whole point was you use your service
Being a-
as their
being a
routers.
crypto.
You're basically their hubs, their servers, because
Yeah.
they make a transaction. It comes through one of yours of whoever's many. Then it like gets filtered out, and you make a profit because you're being used as a server router. So that's how you mine from it. That's what I understanding of it anyway. So.
Oh yeah, you're making.
And then you make your coin from it because you're being a service. So someone makes a
the people
transaction.
who
it's-
started this and are still going, they're laughing. Like,
Like you're becoming a server. Like that's why it's so hard to maintain because basically everyone's a server worldwide. Like there's no one main hub. Like it's people.
well, there is.
People are the hubs.
The first people who started it, if they're still doing it, they're just
They
sitting
ain't-
back chilling.
Well, but that's the thing because there's so many around the world. Everyone's a hub. Like
One of the
you
big things at the moment, it's not
So,
just
one location.
Bitcoin, it's NFTs. If you
Yeah.
guys,
we mentioned that,
and,
yeah.
There was the Charlie bit my finger.
Yeah, we mentioned that last
NFT,
episode.
Yeah, that's the amount of money that made as
Yeah.
well. So I'm like, oh man, I should create an NFT.
Yeah, because that was last week. That I think it wrapped up and they sold it because it was the Sunday that it was being
Yeah.
taken down.
Yeah.
They sold it off. Did they sell it off?
they sold it off.
How
It
much
was
was it sold for?
I don't know whether it was like for $8,000 or 800,000.
Okay.
Wouldn't be
Eight
8 grand,
or
surely. I mean, it could be.
I think it
Well,
was
they've made more than that. I'd
I
say it's more than that because
think it
they
was,
made
like,
that much just off the
close
video
to like
normally.
800.
Yeah.
800,000, yeah. I think
Someone
it was
bought for
close to
800 for
800,000.
copyright. Well, they own the copyright once it's been bought. They technically own the video,
Yeah,
but they
the
own the
NFT.
I
copyright.
wouldn't have
So
sold it. Like, just keep it. Jesus.
Well, they
I
wanted
would
to
have
do it later.
sold it because it's like
video.
Bitcoin right now is like a gold rush. Everyone's clamoring for it, looking for that, and the
Yeah,
price
but as
will
you
go
see
up and
now,
down.
it's going.
Oh
slowly
yeah, it's going down.
But it's like
But it'll still be worth something to
Oh
someone.
yeah, yeah.
100%.
Well,
It's like
especially if Elon Musk, if he gets his
Yeah.
going for the whole world.
well, a lot of things actually determine what Elon Musk said in the last couple of weeks. Like what he said when was
he
that
smokes
Tesla?
weed, so who
Yeah.
knows what he's fucking meaning.
Well, he does, but he doesn't. It's he only smoked it for that Joe Rogan thing, and I don't.
Yeah, but I reckon he does it more than that.
I think he takes a lot harder stuff to be true.
Maybe he's fucking meth and shit.
He's with Grimes. He's probably like fucking LSD trips now and then. If you have a child's name,
Yeah,
the
that
name
will.
of his child, I would not be going too far of that. But it's like when the price of crypto went up and down when he said that Teslas, you can't buy Teslas now with cryptocurrency because it's stopping, it's ruining.
You will
the,
eventually.
Well, you will eventually, or it'll just be like
With his own thing, like he'll get it all back.
Or you just buy a Tesla and you just trade with someone who has crypto, and then
Yeah, well,
it's barter and trade. But crypto at the moment, it reminds me of the gold rush where everyone's clamoring for it, everyone's going out with their panhandles and trying to get it
eventually.
That's exactly it.
and
It's the
eventually
new thing.
it'll die off, and it'll just be a hobby for some, or it'll be like it'll still be considered as a legitimate form of currency.
Cash will be gone like in the next
Well,
20 years,
it's like the way it's going, where people
Maybe.
can set up now, and you just get a card. Like I said, there's people I know. They don't cryptocurrency themselves. They just sign up to some group, and they have cards, and they make money off of it. They don't even have to run any of their own machines. It's part of a service. Like it's going to become like that. You just sign up and get a card.
Be the most popular thing because
And you get a certain share percentage.
Bank. You don't have to.
You just invest
run by
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, but if governments start taxing crypto, then
they wouldn't.
They can't. They can't tax it.
Track it. They can't.
As I said, there's
But
hubs. Everyone's a hub. Like they delete one, even if it's the main one. There's still plenty open because it's all running now. Like it's
And if they do that, the government would be like, oh.
It's digital. That's the hard thing about digital.
They can't control anything then. Well, they can control people, but not them.
The point of cryptocurrency anyway is just another way of trying to get around. So it's people can track your money nowadays. There needs to be a way to get around that.
But you can still track it with cryptocurrencies realistically anyway. Everything's tracked.
Yeah, with apps. And apps are always, what's the word, open to, security risks and stuff.
The dude lost what, 700k, didn't he? Did you said? Or
yeah, the lady lost 9k.
Yeah,
in crypto.
700k. Yeah,
invested in the wrong thing.
NFT. Yeah. Oh yeah, that.
So he should have just. No, the dude who what was it? He didn't sell in time, and then shit went down.
Yeah, that guy too. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, should have sold it when it was up here.
There's so many stuff that happens. Or otherwise, just don't hold on to it and wait till it go down and get for it to go back up again. Like that's what's going to happen. It goes up and down.
Like you buy it down here. When it gets here, sell it. Like
people hold on to it. They think people go, oh, it's going to get high. It's going to get high, and they keep holding. They keep holding.
But once it gets high, you sell instantly and then buy it back.
That's what I mean. They just think it's going to keep getting higher and higher. It's like not.
Remember when Bitcoin was like you needed like 20 Bitcoins to buy a pizza? And now it's like 20 Bitcoins is owning an entire pizza franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, Bitcoin, like, that get you a fucking fair
Bitcoin
wage.
is insane.
If you still had it back then, but even then, between when it first started and now, it's like there was still speculation on is this actually a viable thing? Because there was one. Well, there was one report that I watched. It was basically they had Bitcoin ATMs located in this town. I think it was somewhere in Europe, and they went from one Bitcoin ATM to another one on the other side, side of the road, and the fluctuation in the prices of Bitcoin just went up dramatically between the two when they tried to cash out.
Yeah.
And it was just like way too much. So next minute you'd get like, oh yeah, the same amount of Bitcoin would get you like $5, and then you go across the street. Next minute it's like same amount of Bitcoin would get you.
That's why Bitcoin would be good. It'll be the same the whole world over. Like one amount here is the same there.
Yeah, but having something like that's too volatile, where it's just not like, for example, it's in Australia where it's like, going down to KFC and a bucket's like $12 or something like that. It's not, last thing you want to do is go to a KFC across the side of town. Next minute, for the same amount of money that you've got, they only give you half the amount in the bucket. And then you go back to the same store that you know.
I mean,
and they'll
Yeah.
give you twice as much, and then
Because
it's
I've
just
seen
the
them
volatility.
American meal sizes. They fucking
Well, yeah. But I'm just using it as an example.
They-
It's like,
they
It's all over the
come here
place, yeah.
and they're large as a fucking our fucking
oh,
like our
Don't get-
smalls.
don't get me started. They're Popeye's chicken. Oh, it's the bomb. You ever
Oh,
go to the
re-
States,
really?
have Popeye's chicken? Popeye's chicken is the fucking bomb.
fucking awesome.
Popeye's chicken is fucking awesome. Yeah, and it's true.
Down your throat, oh.
Oh, it's fantastic. You have
Yeah.
the chicken strips, or even just the pieces
Yeah,
of
but
chicken.
KFC's still good though.
Oh yeah, KFC's still good. It was just Popeye's chicken was like next level. You have that, and
Ooh.
then you have like the gravy, and then you have the biscuits, which are fantastic because it's been a while since I've had the feeling of being choked.
I went
So-
bit blurry.
Help me choke him.
Oh,
Help me choke him.
no, I'm doing a sexual term, all right?
Oh, that household.
Yes, Daddy. Yes.
Oh, Bring out the
I
Horsewhips.
found out today, people in the
Uh,
South in America, their KFC's the bomb. They had a
Yeah.
potato and gravy with corn and chicken in it. I'm like,
Yeah, corn's
where's
big.
theirs?
Cornbread. Cornbread is like awesome. Cornbread is fantastic.
Is that
Cornbread.
I love
the
corn-
KFC there, is there?
No, but Popeye's chicken has cornbread.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
cornbread
I want-
is.
I want
But think
Popeyes.
of it, the closest thing we've got to cornbread in Australia is.
You can make it.
Well, yeah, you can make it. It's they use cornstarch.
Yeah.
And corn flour, or whatever it is. But
is
while
good.
it's the closest thing we've got to it is technically scones.
Scones.
Scones. So the closest thing, it's just made with a different flour or it's ingredients, but they essentially look the same.
I mean, you can make it with corn flour, I guess. And
Yeah.
just little fucking cornbread. Like,
Cornbread.
scones are so good, though.
Oh yeah, I love
Scones,
cornbread.
jam and cream. Oh.
That's gravy.
Guys, you look fucking creepy.
Yes. Some
Forgot to
cornbread, some grits, yeah.
Like, you've had grits as well? God.
No, I haven't had grits. I just love that.
Well, actually, that's something. I want to say that. Actually, something I recently
biscuits and
bought.
gravy is the bomb.
I haven't eaten them yet, but I recently bought when I went grocery shopping the other day.
Where do you get the food?
I'm getting hungry now.
We were at Woolies and it was. I was surprised actually how cheap it was. I bought some kangaroo patties.
Yeah, kangaroo's really good.
And it's really
High
cheap at the
protein.
moment. Like I bought 4 patties for like $6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
you get
$1.50
wallaby
each.
meat as well. That's fucking
And
cheap.
I'm like,
too,
yeah, but then you compare it to like you go buy patties of like
It's very gamey,
your
though,
beef,
compared
like
to
your
beef.
shitty beef, and they want to charge like the same thing for like 6 patties, but it's the shitty like fatty crap. And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is kangaroo that's like clean, lean, and high on protein.
Yep.
And it's like
You just rhymed that. It's like, wow.
and it's like really cheap. I was
Australia,
like,
only
Protein, full of
country-
protein.
clean, lean, and full of
Australia.
protein.
Lean plain. Australia, it's the only country where we actually get to eat our own emblem. Or
Yeah.
at least one of our own national
One
animals.
of them.
I mean, I remember that
No, no,
time, like, me and you went out, this is like
I've
that
had
years
emu,
back,
emu's good.
but I remember that, like, time we went out for lunch, and you got me a bit of kangaroo and a bit of crocodile, and
Oh,
Be tough, wouldn't it? Crocodile.
this is the
it was wild, this was ages ago, this is years ago, this is like, I remember that still, I'm like, long man,
long man.
but like, that was forever ago, but I still
Oh,
remember
what's
that,
that?
like,
That was
like, it was like that little platter we had, and it was like, yeah.
yeah, kangaroo meat.
And kangaroo and
meat is so
crocodile, I was
good
like,
now,
oh
it's
my god, I was
fantastic.
like, I still remember that, I was like, that was so good back then trying
You
that,
come
I
down
mean,
here, Des, you can just go to the backyard and just shoot one yourself and have it warm.
well, actually, down the street, I saw a little wallaby or kangaroo. No, it was a little wallaby.
You're a little wobbly.
'Cause-
Wobbly.
little wobbly.
Little wobbly.
You're a little wobbly. I wanted to bring this up. I got other stuff. It's not really anything big, but the other thing I wanted to drop. At least I want to kind of feel big. I want to feel big. I want to feel big hard. I don't know what the fuck I was going with that.
I don't know what you made about that, but yeah.
I want to drop a theory.
hard,
I want to
big
drop a
hard.
theory at the
Big
moment.
hard.
I mentioned this to Jim. I messaged Jim about it the other day about Fortnite. So
Oh, yeah.
I want to drop the theory now. So if it does happen,
You
I
heard
had
it
the
here.
theory for it. So basically, I have a theory.
Theory?
That Fortnite is going to eventually do a crossover with Space Jam.
I reckon as well. When the movie comes out, they'll do one.
Basically,
Who
what's
put it in
happening?
my
What's
gun
what's
with
got?
a gun?
Yeah, well, what basically has got me at the moment is we've
That's nasty.
seen their crossover with the whole NBA big thing. So Epic had the license to make their big mystery game NBA 2K21, which made sense why they had the crossover and had the NBA skins now in Fortnite. The biggest thing that's starting to tie it in is because this is where it's going to get to. We've had so far two of the Teen Titans in here. We've had Beast Boy and Raven appear in Fortnite. Now that's dropping is Teen Titans Go see Space Jam crossover movie coming out. And it's going to be featuring the Nerdlux from the first movie.
Huh?
They're featuring...
Well, I heard. What is it? Michael Jordan's going to be in the next Space Jam
Yeah,
as
I
well.
was going to say it to you. That
Do you...
Yeah.
Well, do you actually... Do you know what the
about
reference
it.
is? Do you know what the reference is to that? Do you know what the...
No.
Do you know how it's supposed to... Apparently, I know what's supposed to... So I looked up an article. What's supposed to happen is the reference to Michael Jordan in this new movie. What's going to happen is they go looking for Michael Jordan, but they find Michael B. Jordan instead. Because they're
No,
trying
but
to...
John Cheadle said Michael Jordan's in there.
Yes,
Yeah, I
that's,
heard
but
Michael
that's the
Jordan's-
reference. What's supposed to happen is they go looking for Michael
Fuck
Jordan because
off.
they need to find Michael Jordan for
Bad movie
to
already.
help him. But when they go looking for him, they don't find the right Michael Jordan. Then they find Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan instead
Wow.
because they look him up because they need someone to help and they can't find him. So that's the Easter egg reference that's happening in the movie.
I'm not looking forward to that movie at all, really.
But the
Yeah.
fact that but it's interesting though that they're bringing
I
back.
forgot about it.
It's interesting that they're bringing back the villains from the first movie and having them cross over with Teen Titans though. Like since this new movie's stepping away, like the second movie's stepping away from those first characters from the
But
first
if you
movie, but they're
bring
bringing them
back
back.
the first thing, they're going to bring back Michael Jordan.
Like it's weird what's going on here. So it's going to be interesting in the way that's got these worlds, and then rewatching Ready Player One again with that intro start with all the worlds is very the exact same what they did for friggin' Space
I
Jam.
don't think Michael Jordan's like, I'm not doing it, it's bad. Don't get me involved. And they went Michael B. Jordan.
Well, I don't know,
Because
but
he'd do anything,
yeah. So
good or bad. Like,
there's all this stuff going on. They're trying to make Space Jam relevant, like really relevant again. So they've already got toys, pop
always
vinyls
been
out.
relevant.
Well, they've got
Space
merch.
Jam's always
Yeah,
been-
but that's the thing. It's always been relevant. But how often have you been able to see merch?
not everywhere, but I've seen it in the last 20 fucking years.
It's been very spread out. The last week alone, everywhere I've been have Space Jam merch now. They've got pop vinyls, they've got toys, they've got clothes, they've got everything you can think of. Like it's everywhere now. Like when I was looking for stuff in the past for some space, it was very limited. Like you know, certain stores that were selling some stuff for it. Nearly every clothes shop at the moment is selling Space Jam merch. It's ridiculous how much is out there now.
I'm not surprised.
Like-
It's the usual thing.
And it's
when
all nostalgic.
something's coming out.
And the funny
old
thing is too,
stuff-
it's like we've got the new movie, so you'd think they would promote the new stuff, but everyone's doing all the old prints for all the old Space Jams. The uniforms they're all wearing, and that's the old Space Jams, but not the new stuff. Like, but
The
then all
old
the
stuff will sell. The new stuff
yeah,
probably...
it's like weird. It's just like what they're doing. But then then the Teen Titans are doing the crossover with the character villains from the first movie.
That's
Got nothing to
weird,
do with
though.
the second
Titans-
movie. It's just like what?
What are the Teen Titans got to...
That's exactly it. I don't know what's going on. So.
People on crossovers just because it sounds cool.
And that
in
was the other
theory.
thing too, was where we're
On
going
paper,
is
no.
where we're going at. Like we're saying, the other thing from that was I feel like either this year or next year is going to be the year of crossovers. That's going to be the new trend. It's going to be crossovers.
We're
gonna-
There's a
we're-
crossover
we're-
every fucking week for something.
Like everything's
Like-
crossing over,
Like I've got
and
it
it's-
here.
and
Resident
Fortnite's doing a
Evil
lot of
is
it.
doing Dead by Daylight.
and Fortnite's doing a lot of it.
They've got Nemesis and Leon.
They
and-
another thing I
Yeah,
wanted to bring up
chill.
with Fortnite related was they've done their first Fortnite has done a first crossover with a book author and brought one of the characters from a book, a novel, brought him to life and put him into Fortnite.
That's really, what's the word? Unexpected.
Stupid.
No, I wouldn't say stupid. I'd just say unexpected. Just-
Novelty.
Yeah. So it's,
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard the
Remember when games
books.
had their own unique characters?
The book series was called Mistborn. I don't know if you've ever heard of that trilogy series.
Mistborn.
It came out between 06
I've
and
heard
08.
of, I've heard of, I've heard of
Okay.
Bloodborne.
But yeah.
No, not yeah. I was about to say Bloodborne. Yeah.
The other
Apparently
thing,
Bloodborne, there's things for
the
that
other
in
thing
other
as
games.
well. I just want to get this Fortnite stuff out of the way because I'm just like I just want to move on from it. June's crew pack features the future cuddle, like the cuddle team leader from the future. She comes back. She's going to be the skin for June's
Who's the
crew
battle
pack.
leader?
She's that one. Remember that shirt I made basically, and it has that chick
The
with
bear?
that. Yeah, it's her. She's now
Oh.
back. She's got a mech skin, which is kind of like a Power Ranger esque battle suit kind of thing.
So like a Neymar fucking Power Ranger thing going on.
Yeah, they've all done that. They've been doing Power Ranger knockoffs for since the beginning of Fortnite. But what's
Yeah,
been
they haven't put the Power Rangers in.
no, not
That
yet.
works.
I'm surprised they haven't done the Power
The
Rangers.
amount of times they've hinted at it, like especially with that big mech robot guy, the big bear, he's different team colors joined together to make the giant robot.
Yeah.
Like,
There needs
but this one's pretty cool because it was teased in the loading screen. There was for the latest loading screen, which was to lead up to reveal her coming in the June crew pack. For the screen actually has teased in the background. In the background, which also works out that this comes out, which all ties in for being June. We've got crew leader pack coming out in June. The new season starts June. In this loading screen, the last loading screen they gave, in the background, in a shadow, we see Loki, which also Loki drops next month on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So they've got Loki dropping in
They
Fortnite.
have their own damn characters, like new characters. Don't reuse
Crossovers.
I'm over them.
Crossovers.
So
I'm over crossovers.
yeah.
Everywhere you look, there's a damn crossover on TV, movies, games, music.
Such featuring this.
Everywhere.
There's this song and it's
only
remix
reasons
featuring
they
this
do-
guy many times.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant, I guess, but like,
Marketing.
Oh, you have
Me,
you have the,
crossovers have always been marketing.
put
yeah.
Loki in Fortnite. Loki doesn't use a gun.
Well, I mean, there's like people I like. There's one dude I like music because Al ended up liking him, got me into him, which was Max, and he was very low independent author, like musician, artist. What I say author, artist, singer.
Was he writing music?
But there's like one of his songs he's done, and he's like remixed it with like 20 artists. One song he's done different version cuts with like 20 artists basically.
Yeah, that makes more sense than.
But like, how many
Really
times? I
random.
mean, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it's like, how many times do you need to get these artists featured on your track? With
Yeah.
each, like,
I think
here's one with
that's
this artist, here's another one with this artist, here's another one with this. Oh, here's one with
If
this
you put
artist, but then
your-
also this artist from this one. It's like,
Like in music, if your name's tied to a popular artist, people are going to listen.
and that's exactly it. Then he's just doing it with so many different
In
artists.
Fortnite,
It's
if
just
they're
like,
getting in characters that people know, people will look at them. Make your own characters. Make something unique.
well, they were
Like-
they were doing a lot of that, which was great, and now
Yeah,
they're going
were.
more. That's exactly it. They were
Were.
doing that. I like that, and now they're doing all these
What,
license skins.
Years ago, they did that.
This first season, basically. The first season. Second season, if you look at it, first season was basically their skins. Chapter 2 has basically been all everyone else's skins. From start of Chapter 2, it's all been franchisees.
It's just they're just copying and pasting and just changing the look of it.
Mm.
Or not even that. They're just making it look cartoony.
Just teaming up and going, oh, we'll take that character and we use this
Except
character.
Batman, that looks pretty cool. That one that
Well,
I got.
Kratos was basically looks near on spot on to the original model almost.
I mean, like, I just went wink, wink.
Yeah, like copy to paste. Like, give us the model. And like, again, same thing like I said with Unity. Like I said, it comes back to that thing like I mentioned with Unity and the whole Unreal Engine. You've got the rig, just get a skin, import it, done. That's all you do.
Santa Monica must have just went, here's the file.
Take it, yeah, and it's just a model. So they just go, okay, yep, and they do a few tweaks, I think, here and there, so it makes it appropriate.
They put their spin on it from the engine, but like...
But it's basically spot to a T of what he looked like in the game. Like, they got, like... It's insane.
The dancers don't suit.
Well,
No.
It moves weird. It
I'm
looks
thinking of another skin that they might do later on in the year. You guys seen the trailer for the Internals?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see them come through.
Jolie one.
Yeah.
We'll see the Eternals come through. Like, they'll tie it in basically back to Marvel again and have the Eternals.
Yeah.
Because they're
I
different
love
universes and
Black,
stuff.
though, from that one trailer. People
Well,
hate it.
Well, I watched the... I was going to say...
a lot of people were giving it shit because it's like, oh, yeah. Well, obviously they're really powerful, and they don't give it real shit because where the fuck were they when the Battle of New
That's
York?
exactly it. That's what I was going
Yeah.
to say. I was going to say, you realise when they see where they were from the beginning of time, they were there the whole time. Even they make the joke, oh, who's good?
Barnes in the Eternals. Why was he not that powerful in Avengers and Captain America.
Hey,
It's got fucking Bucky Barnes in there.
no,
No. They're the
Isn't
guy.
it?
no.
No, it's not. He looks very familiar to because the two actors that they've got in Internals is
Oh,
the
it was
two.
Bucky, like...
No.
I thought it was-
No, it's not. It's not.
No, but
Sebastian
the thing though, that's like I was gonna say that gets me because they made that reference joke going, "Oh, which one of us is going to be the new Captain America?" And he goes, "Oh, I'll do
Bucky
it."
lookalike.
It was like, no, it was some other guy who was like, "Oh, I'll take it, I'll do it," and they all laughed at him,
I'm
going,
gonna
"Ha."
watch the trailer.
But that's
Well-
exactly it. Like they kind of involve in stuff, but at the same time they stay out of things because they are the internals. Like they don't get involved.
Yeah, but they could have ended Thanos like that.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's the whole
yeah,
point.
they
They're
were
meant to
very
be
powerful.
gods. They're meant to be gods, and they're not meant to.
dragged that shit out. People died because they're just like, ah.
Yeah,
look at them down
But
there.
that's
Like,
a lot of the things though, in the comic books. They don't really get involved too much unless they really have to. They have to
Well,
really have to.
Thanos-
It's in
They
the
really
comic.
had to.
In the Eternals,
Like, fuck.
their natural enemy is, well, normally is the Decadence or whatever. Something they're
Yeah.
like the opposite of the Eternals.
Yeah.
But normally in the internal comic books, eventually they become very sympathetic to humankind and want to protect them and etc. etc.
Hence
and-
now they're doing
hence
that
now.
for.
Well, yeah, and so the normal enemies actually for the Eternals is normally the gods, not the gods, the God, I can't remember the.
But isn't Thanos fucking part of like he was the most
Well,
powerful?
he's technically
Well-
an Eternal, but also he's a Decadent or Dissident or whatever. He's
Yeah, like-
actually like got part of the gene. That's why he's got the purple skin in
The
that.
people needed
Yeah.
his help. They needed their
Well,
help.
at the same
really.
time, well, it's all the same thing. They kind of know what's going on to the degree, and then it's like, well, they know it was going to be resolved. So
Iron Man could have lived if they.
Celestial,
joined
that's
in.
it. Celestial, whatever.
Oh,
Celestials, yeah. No, well, that's the thing. They're meant to help where they need to help, but they don't like to get involved because technically they could have stopped everything, but they don't
They
because
could
they're
change the
yeah.
future and shit too much.
yeah.
Like,
It would
Things
be
are meant to
funny
happen.
if we watch it and we find that the Eternals are just massive dicks. They're like, well,
Well, they
we
kind
didn't
of
actually help. But
well,
we
they-
didn't actually hinder.
They kind of do
and
hint at that a
we-
little bit in the trailer. They do kind of hint that they kind of just like there's points where they could have done and stopped stuff. And they're like, like
Yeah,
we just sat
it's
back
like
and let it happen.
They're like back in World War II. Hitler walks past and like, and then it's like walks off, and World War II happens. That's,
Yeah.
and they're just
It's
like,
like
we
the
could have
same.
stopped it. Yeah. Or it's kind of like all the raping and pillaging from medieval times.
So when's the Eternals out though? Is it this year or next year?
This year, I think so.
Is it? Let me guess, Disney fucking Plus, or is it going to be in cinemas?
cinemas.
And...
Cinemas. I think they're planning on cinemas at the end.
so
of
it's
the year.
like the Avengers, like they're just going to put it there and just for everyone to.
Yeah. It's everyone's trying to return back to normal this year.
Yeah.
So
Thank
cinemas
God.
is pretty much the hopeful, hopes and dreams kind of, let's make it happen. That's
Oh!
why that's why Fast and the Furious they did that special promo ad where it was
Yeah.
like Vin Diesel saying,
Is
"Oh,
that-
let's all go back to the cinemas."
Is that June or July that's out? July?
The
Fast
Fast
9.
and Furious, I think July, maybe.
Because
Don't quote me.
people already seen it now, so it must be soon.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff like is going on, releasing July. Like there's that Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt.
Yeah, I got that
one,
written down as
yeah,
that looks good apparently.
that
Yeah,
one
that's-
does look good. I reckon the girl in it, you'll see
Well,
in
that's
the
on
trailer,
Prime though. That's coming
is
to
his
Prime.
daughter. Yeah, that's coming to Amazon Prime. And then, well, there was recently Army of the Dead. It released in cinemas, and then, like, a week later, it was on Netflix.
Oh, that's what
That's
it was. That's what I saw recently. There's a
I want that on DVD.
there's a
Army of the Dead.
Monsters. I guess kind of like a Monsters Inc. There's a new Monsters Inc. TV series coming to Disney
Oh,
Plus.
wait,
Oh, okay. Well, wouldn't be
has it got
surprised, yeah.
Sully and Mike?
Yep.
Like,
They're in
Oh,
it.
okay.
So they actually run the company now.
Oh,
think it
they
was.
got the original actors.
I think
Because
from what it was they
they-
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
They,
Goodman.
yeah.
They did the
Is it John
sequel
Goodman?
years ago.
They're meant to
which
make
was-
the whole new show's about like maintaining the doors and everything. Like they run the facilities and
Oh, so they're
the
taking
repairs and stuff.
Slugman, fuck whatever
Yeah,
it is. Fuck-
they maintain everything and they run the whole system now, and they got to
I better
repair
have
worlds
that,
and stuff or
Slug
something.
lady.
Yeah, she's there. She goes, "I'm leaving it to you guys. You guys are in charge," or whatever it was. It was like the start of the trailer. Like it was fucking in it. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." And that's dropping soon. I
I
think
did
it
that
was.
voice on Sauce the other day. It's like, I'm watching. Something like that.
Everybody's watching.
Yeah, also I was like surprised by that. I was like, oh, sweet, we're gonna
But,
have a show. Like,
we can't not talk about Amazon, and they just bought MGM, like the Bond
yeah.
people, like for
Yep.
$8 billion.
Yep.
Like,
MGM.
Well, Amazon $8 billion is kind of like,
pocket change
pocket change.
for Jeff.
I think the most expensive thing Amazon
He's a
only paid out
trillionaire now,
recently.
like-
Well, yeah, as I was saying, the most expensive thing Amazon paid for recently is a divorce. So that's pretty much it. That's you know.
So Amazon's
So
gonna
is
get
Bill
like
Gates. Bill Gates is
Bond
going
and
to pay.
shit, like, and other things, which I'm keen because Amazon make good movies and shows.
Well, that's exactly it. Like that new show, like I said, we talked about before with Chris Pratt. I'm keen to watch that.
Well, what does Bond do? Look, there's a movie now. Does Amazon take over that new Bond? Or do
Well, I
they
guess
wait
so. They'll be
till after
releasing.
that?
They'll releasing exclusives for them. Like they'll be Amazon produced.
Yeah, I'd
not
say it'd
just
be
Bond,
all
like-
exclusive. Yeah.
Because there was Bond, there was. I
Well, it's
didn't write
heaps
them
of stuff.
down. There was a lot they can just make into shows, TV, games, even for their game things. Like, they've got a good investment there. For $8 billion, like, that makes Bethesda look small there.
It's
Oh, ZeniMax, that they bought
ZeniMax,
yeah.
everything for that.
well, the other companies are also competing in the same way of ownership. Is like the big ones you've got, of course, is Amazon. You know, you got your
Yeah, but I think Amazon's mainly the big one for streaming stuff because they're getting everyone now. Like
yeah.
they got MGM. That's a big get. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus,
Well,
man.
another big company I've been thinking of that's been growing quite considerably the last couple of years is Tencent.
Yeah, they're not going to be bought though by anyone. I don't think.
Oh no, they're not going to buy anyone. They're going to be the ones who are buying.
Yep.
It's like Amazon. They're just going through and
Which
buying everything.
Tencent's not bad. Like they got good companies under them. Like
Oh yeah, they own PUBG, and a whole bunch of like
they've got a
yeah.
piece of Epic as well, don't they? Like bit of
Yeah, they've
Epic,
got a
bit of
chunk of
everything,
Epic,
bit of Sony, bit of Microsoft,
What?
bit of everything.
This
Yeah,
makes no
yeah.
sense. I'm confused by this. I'm just reading an article on this merger that because I bought. And it goes here like another day, another mega merger. Tweeted Representative David Cicilline, the Rhode Island Democrat, who led a sweeping investigation of Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet, and Apple. Amazon's proposed purchase of MGM reinforces what we already know. They are laser focused on expanding and entrenching their monopoly power. I'm like,
Yeah.
and Disney
And
isn't, and like anyone else isn't. That are
No, but Amazon's
Yeah.
pretty much the biggest fucking thing around.
yeah, but there's not
They
much
got
that.
hands
yeah, but
so
Dale's
does
got the
everyone else.
point. Like Disney's doing the same, and
Yeah,
so
but they
so many other
bleach it to
companies.
their dry.
Like, and then Amazon announced that
Star
MGM
Wars.
deal was
Yeah,
Amazon
Star
announced the MGM deal a day after being sued by the Attorney General of Washington D.C., who said the online retailer is engaging in anti-competitive conduct that's leading to higher prices for consumers. Like what? Amazon's fucking
Amazon's
cheap.
cheap as shit.
The shit that you get is fucking amazing. The service they're offering, like the streaming service, is so cheap. They
Prime,
give you
like-
Amazon Prime. They give you Twitch Prime access, which gives you a free sub to someone. You get like cheap delivery, free delivery. You get promo discounts. You get access to like their audiobook services. Like
You get free music.
you
through
get the
Amazon
streaming
Music.
videos, like and the music, like for like $7.
It's
The
only
stuff they're
$7
offering is
a month.
insane.
Like, fuck,
They're offering.
man.
They're saying they could charge $20
A sub's
for.
worth 10.
Like
So just think, you're saving $3.
it's
using your
insane what
Prime.
they're making. Like.
And also now with MGM, they got more movie and show range. They got their own ideas for that. Plus, if like they're gonna be the hub for everything. Next thing, fucking groceries. Because they've pretty much got your household items. They've got your movies and TV.
You could
They've got
already
your
get
music.
technically you can already get groceries through.
Yeah, but just think
Amazon.
they're gonna be like grocery chains, like Amazon, like yeah, supermarket. Amazon,
Well-
Amazon, like.
Yeah, well, they want it all being online, so essentially they don't have to have a storefront; they just have a warehouse. in
Well, that'd be
which-
cool though. Like Amazon for everything. Why not?
Yeah, well, they do. Like, you can go on like now Amazon Prime, and if you've got a Prime account, like you can have, if you like Red Bull, you can have that regularly or delivered to your house.
Right, you buy a carton, isn't it?
Yeah, by the carton. And you can have it, and you'll get a discount as well because you've got Prime, and it'll be free
Yeah.
delivery as well because of Prime.
Like
And it's not just Red Bull; you can get anything else that you want, like any other drink, soft drinks.
with all the money
or-
they've
or
got,
regular
they can
drink,
keep
Gatorade.
buying stuff like MGM.
Like, this is
They
what
could
gets me
even-
though. This is what gets me here. This is another article they bring up. Goes, for those troubled
They
about
could own everyone.
Oh, yeah.
said one who teaches antitrust at such and such school, which would look
He's
at
by Disney.
which would look at
I'm on
whether
Amazon.
no, this is the funny part. Which would look at whether Amazon will gain outsized market power in film and TV content
Well, yeah. of
with the
course they
MGM
do.
deal. But it's just MGM. Like, they don't own that
No, but
much.
They own all the IPs and
Yeah.
There's not
and
much
they've
they
just-
own. There's a fair bit there, but like
No.
there's a lot like Fox and Sony. Like they're still freely doing the Disney owns like Star Wars content and own Marvel content plus a whole bunch of other content. Like there's a lot of out stuff like Warner Brothers like
Yeah,
divisions in a weird spot, but like there's
I know where you're going. He's just nitpicking and not actually stating of. He's just picking out on, picking on one then and ignoring the others. But that's what a lot of like those people do.
like they already had. And the thing is like with that point is like film and TV. They already been doing film and TV like partnerships
Yeah.
for like having a service
they
with
were before Disney and
the
shit
fact
like
having
that, but-
MGM now is that they can do more of Amazon, like Netflix has Netflix production films because they've got their studios because they're partnered with like Fox and stuff like and
they're
Sony
not all
like
good, but they're
no,
still pumping
but
them out.
like that's like Sony because Sony and Netflix are teamed up. So when they do Netflix exclusives, a lot of them are done through Sony
Yeah.
Studios or Fox. Fox is now fucking Marvel Disney, but like that, like or Warner Bros. Like they worked with them to do those releases to be Netflix exclusives because they're partnered up. MGM
Just
now being owned by them, they've got their Amazon have better studios and teams now to release more Amazon produced productions to
merging
bring people
with
over to the
MGM.
service. Like
Imagine a Bond TV series, man. That could be.
that's
fucking
exactly it.
great.
Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like there's like and the fact that they were able to buy the company, like the company would have the company would have
billion,
gone.
like,
Well, that's exactly it.
9
The company would have gone, hey, yeah, we're down with that. Like, if there wasn't something going on. If the company must have been struggling, they've gone, yeah, sweet, buy us, you know.
I wouldn't
What-
say they'll be struggling, but they can get the money. They've got Amazon support to do bigger things.
Exactly.
Like,
They
Well, one thing
they
I'm
got bought out for a
excited
reason, so.
is Stargate.
Yeah.
yeah, because they can do whatever the
They
fuck they want.
and because MGM for years has been ignoring Stargate. They've only been bringing out in drips and drabs, like
When they
gone-
needed to.
when they needed to. So there was the TV series which ran for ages. I'm a huge Stargate fan.
Well, isn't
And-
that still going though? That TV series, like
No,
from-
it's been finished for like
Oh.
10 years. So
I've been
like
seeing it, though.
no, Stargate the last series finished up, which was Stargate Stargate Universe or something.
Oh.
It was continue. No, that was a movie. So there was some. They
They
made
continue
two
with a good
movies.
fucking movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. So yeah, there was the movies, and then there was Atlantis as well, and the original.
I think Stargate's better than Star Wars and Star Trek.
Oh yeah, 100%. Was that? It's fucking P90s.
Yeah, here we go.
Way better than Blast.
He's
P90s
legit.
way better than blasters. Or phasers.
I was gonna-
Whatever you
but-
want to call them.
Yeah. I'm just referring to Star Trek as well. But at least it's modern day. But because MGM is being bought by Amazon, that means the entire Stargate collection is going to be put on Amazon Prime, which is going to be fantastic.
Yes, that's one of the things. That's what I was gonna. That's
Yeah, but
gonna
when does
bring
it
up.
go through though? Like when do they get everything? Like
Well, it takes time, but they basically
It'll
own
take
it.
time.
yeah, but by the end of the year, hope.
Oh yeah, definitely by the end of the year.
Yeah,
You
because
sound
at,
weird, Des. What are you doing?
Scratch my head.
because over a few years it's
Hey.
been very spotty on where you can watch
Itchy
Stargate
spot.
and streaming services, and now
No,
it's
you
actually
sound like you've
officially-
been compressed.
Well,
You
it
sound like
sounds-
compressed.
maybe because where I was sitting. I don't know.
Oh yeah, where you're sitting. Yeah, because he was
That's
facing.
Because I'm
Weird,
facing
like-
this way, so I'm over here talking like this.
Yep.
Like you're
Sounds a
being
bit
muffled.
And then if I'm talking this way, it's a bit better.
But I'm hoping they actually use Stargate and make another series.
Well, that's what I was
How
saying.
they
The key
bring back
points
the
here.
original, if they can, the original cast? Like that'd be
They're
dope.
way too old
Yeah.
now. If you've seen,
Not way too old. Like they're
Oh.
not way
60s,
too old. They're pretty old.
50s,
like
60s.
Amanda Tapping is still like looks pretty good for age. She's like 53 now, and
That's
But,
not
what's his name?
That's not that
the
old.
main bloke.
It's-
He looks
I'd
really
still
old
tap
now.
it.
What's his name?
Yeah.
He looked old back when he looked old in the fucking show.
Yeah. But then there was Richard Dean Anderson as well.
He's not that old.
He's not that old. He still looks pretty good. Like technically, they could bring back some of the characters and have them in like major roles. Like
Did they send them off right? Because I didn't see the last.
last
it was
episode.
more following
But
Atlantis.
The
and stuff.
movies. The movies send them off.
Yeah, the movies were good though. Like
Like
I
if
never watched all of them.
They
because
never fully explained what happened to Atlantis, even though
Oh.
there was a script that was released in some kind
So
of.
maybe with Amazon's funding and that, maybe
The key. Well, I'll give you these key points.
Jason Momoa was in the original Atlantis, and he's huge.
That's what I mean. Like bring back some old people who
Well,
were little then.
I'll say here's some key points from the article. I was gonna say with that MGM. So, they also with the MGM merger, they owned the Epix cable company or cable channel. So they've got now they've got which makes popular TV shows such as Fargo, Vikings, and Shark Tank. They're big in US.
That's what I'm keen.
So they now own rights to that. Amazon now have that. So they'll be Amazon produced exclusives now.
Hey, Vikings ended, didn't it? No, that's still going.
The Amazon's
Season
founder
7,
said the company's annual shareholder meeting on Wednesday that MGM has a vast, deep catalogue of much beloved intellectual properties.
Yep.
That's another key point.
Bond and
Like say Rocky,
yeah.
everything. Like Viking character.
If they can get Stallone to be Rocky again, I'll be mind blown.
I do recommend actually talking about Vikings just for a second.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to hop on, I think it's on Netflix. There's a terrific series called Norseman.
Yep, I have seen it up there.
It's like Vikings, but it's a comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really good. They make I'll put up some clips of it. It's hilarious.
I recently got Netflix again. I'll watch it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. This is the other little part I was gonna say. Little tidbit is the biggest. Well, there's only a few, but there's only besides Amazon Prime, which is the main culprit here. There's only Netflix, Disney Plus, HBO Max, and Apple TV. That's all there are. Basically, are the main big ones.
Yeah, but Amazon could buy all of them. Really?
They could, most probably. Well, Disney's still pretty big up there. They've got a fair bit of money.
No, but Amazon's got the money. They can throw them 100.
But the way Disney's going, Disney by themselves. That's why I'm that's why I'm surprised they're going about Amazon. The way Disney's going, they're trying to be a monopoly. The fact that they've now basically you look at what
to beat Amazon.
You look at
in everything.
Well, they're trying to, I guess. I guess that's where the problem is. They're trying to, but
they
you
can get
can't.
Netflix pretty easy because Netflix is going for a while.
Oh no, they're doing alright. Netflix is doing pretty good.
Netflix is still doing alright. It's just the fact it would be expected because they're competing with Disney Plus and so on and so forth.
The fact that
Stan might be next because Stan.
No, that's not big though. That's why it's not brought up and that's only Australian exclusive. Stan's only Australian.
Yeah, but it's not good.
It's owned by Foxtel. Yeah, it's owned by Foxtel.
Well, I mean, if they bought that makes sense because they can get it revived on Prime. Like they can get shit on there on Prime.
That's the thing though. You can. There's a lot of stuff that's on Stan that's on Prime already. It's because it's shared out.
The Office and all that.
Because Foxtel buys stuff and then you can. And the most stuff I've seen on Stan, it's only Stan exclusives. Realistically, what keeps Stan going is because they're.
Which they're on DVD anyway. They can just get them on from Sanity and.
Oh, they come out a lot later though.
Hmm.
Because they're Stan exclusives. They're out there first, and then a couple of months later.
I wouldn't be surprised if they got Netflix, fucking everyone else, and just everyone's under Amazon.
But they won't do Netflix per se because Netflix is the main service itself. Basically what you're paying for if you were to buy.
Questionable. They get one every 5-10 movies.
It's what you'd be buying is whoever's making the Netflix exclusives because they've got the same movies and they've got basic films. It's buying. When you buy, and that's what you got to think is when you're buying these companies, it's buying the companies that are making the exclusive films.
Yeah, but they're going to buy the
for those channels,
so people go to them even more. So.
But then again, if you don't have if you, and that's the hard part. You kind of want competition, so you've got people coming, not just being like, oh, we're the only service that exists.
Yeah,
you kind of want the competition.
They wouldn't buy them because I don't reckon the offer will be too high for them to invest in.
And Disney, maybe. Well, they already bought out stuff, but they're pretty tight with Epic at the moment as well. So, by the way Disney's going,
I'm sick of Marvel now. They're making me sick of Marvel.
Yeah,
there's too many things coming out. Like, you've got to watch them to watch the
To know
next
what's-
thing. Like,
And they're kind of going way where they're going with media now is they're kind of going like the comic books. If you miss an issue of the comic book, you're like, what the fuck's going on? And
I like old Marvel. Like they were not
standalone
every
stories,
year
like
got
you could
something.
watch them and you didn't have to like if you missed like
Like,
you
Blade.
they
old
felt separate.
Spider-Mans.
Like those Blade movies, they were like 1, 2, and 3, but it didn't really tell
Yeah.
much. If they had anything to do with they've had a flashback
Well, they were
explaining,
basically the
you know,
first Marvel movie was Blade. Like the first.
like Ghost Rider. You didn't have to watch one to watch the second one, you know.
Oh,
No,
Ghost Rider you did because it continued on.
Yeah, but you didn't have to. You didn't have to.
But the
Like-
first one was the way better movie.
Like, but with like these
Current
other movies, though,
Avengers was-
with Marvel now, like to get most of the understanding of what's going on, like especially with like Iron Man's arc, like you're like, oh, why has he got like if you went straight into the third
Yeah.
movie, why has he got anxiety? Like, why is he having a panic attack? Like, how do we get to this? You got to watch what happened leading up to that, you know.
Now
Or
it's just
like-
like you've got to watch the show. You've got to get Plus. I'm like, I'm not getting Disney Plus just to watch the damn show.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
then
I normally wait like until there's a few decent shows on the service, and then I'll jump in and then binge watch it.
yeah,
in
they're gonna come on
10
DVD
and then come
eventually.
back
So
again.
Yeah,
Just
I
get
just
them on a- as a
well,
box
I
set.
just I just watch them and I'm done. You know, get them out the way, so I can watch
like
them,
Arrow,
enjoy them.
now that's done. That's a whole box set. I can just watch Arrow now, just completely through.
Yeah, it's more the fact that I like to
haven't
keep up
seen
with
it.
it so I don't get the spoilers. See, that's the thing. See, because I've not watched Arrow and kept up with it. I know most of the shit that's going on because it's been
I
spoiled.
don't.
So, you know, and
I
that's
don't
why.
get that. I don't get spoilers unless I look for them.
No, see, people
Because-
talk about shit
yeah.
all the That's what stopped me from watching Walking Dead and watching Game of Thrones because people were blatantly talking about it and they told me, like, people would have conversations of The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
not just, like I said, not
Where
being.
though?
Not,
Where do you see
my
this?
people on Facebook, just in general, any groups, like if
Oh.
you've got to avoid groups, but people were basically explaining that current episode in parallel sentences to each other,
Pop-ups.
having conversation and
Yeah,
telling what's going, so I get an idea of what's happened in that episode. I just okay,
thought
read through 5, 10 minutes. Okay, yep, I understand what happened
I'm
in
not
40
a
minutes.
dick like that. I'll tell you spoilers to your face, buddy.
Yeah.
So you know, it's
I mean,
just like people.
I found out what happened to Glenn, but I still watched it.
I just
still
like
shocked. I'm like, that
yeah.
happened.
But it's some stuff I like to know to
Spoilers
try and
mean
entice me,
nothing.
but
without
Yeah.
context. Like,
Yeah.
you need context. Like the
Yeah.
Last of Us, people spoiled that, but I played it as nothing what they said.
Hmm.
Like it happens, but there's more context to me playing it and watching.
yeah,
it.
no, this way these people got for a while were very spot on to a T. Like I watched, I had that happen where they talked about. I read it, I watched it, and it was basically narrated. It synopsis the whole
Yeah,
episode
fuck them guys.
to a T, and I was just like, I didn't even need to watch the episode. Like they explained
I mean,
everything
it's
for me.
still-
They had all the
good,
twist.
right?
They
You still
basically
get
talked about all
more-
the twists and turns. They explained everything. Like yeah, visually get to see it, but the suspense was gone. Like I couldn't be surprised by something happening because I knew it was
That's
coming
why
up.
Social
Yeah.
media sucks.
Like that's
Like,
the problem.
to
If
them
you,
people.
there's no suspense, and that's why it sucks. If you there's a twist or a plot, that's like sometimes when there's secrets and turns they could have not had in a trailer for something, you know, a movie coming out. You could have saved that because it would have been a bigger twist, you know.
That's why I wish they
But they do it to hype it
That-
up. It's just like,
like that Horizon trailer. That's all they needed, that gameplay, and then release the game. But they're showing the crafting next. They're showing mechanics next. I'm like,
Well, that's why
leave it for the game.
that's why it's
Leave it
kind
for
of
us to
cool.
Discover.
Like that's what's kind of cool a little bit that like how Resident Evil teased just Lady D, but she's only a small part of the whole Resident Evil
she's
game.
the first fucking boss. Like, she's
Yeah.
in the third. Fuck all.
Like now that I found out, like because I found out, like it's a slight spoil, I guess, the same pretense, the same sense. But because I found that there's more than just her, I'm kind of intrigued that I want to play it because it's not just
yeah.
her. Like I was feeling that it was just
I'm
her.
scared.
Like
And
I
even
was
though
kind of
I've
like,
been-
eh.
Watching all the mods. You know, people have been doing the
How
mods,
cool is that
changing.
Thomas thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. And I've been
That's
seeing
creepy.
like people have been changing her skins.
Yeah.
So it's like
The fishnets. And...
yeah, the fishnet stockings, the sexy lingerie.
I've
and
seen
it's
Lady
like,
D naked. That is not
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just
It's
like
I've seen too much. Take
Yeah.
it away.
no, yeah. All I can think of is one of the funniest memes where I saw it was like that scene where she, you know, they pin you up on the wall and you're
Oh, yep.
up there,
No.
and it's you get that look down and it's like, what do you have to say for yourself? And it's like this meme of they took some excerpt out of Key and Peele and it was like the guy going, "Mama, want some milk? Sucky sucky," and I'm like,
no.
oh god.
Well, you know how there was that meme where everyone, I guess, I don't know, it was if an item that you could actually pick up or if it was a modded item, but it was the flight SWAT.
I don't
where
know.
you could
Apparently,
Yeah,
smack
the
her.
mod, I think.
Like people were like
walking around.
everyone was doing that. Someone did an animated cut where I guess they
Where
used
she
the 3D
takes it
models.
from you,
Yeah,
yeah.
she took it from like, how would you like it, like man? And she started spanking him
Starts
instead.
spanking you.
I'm like, that's hilarious. Someone made a cut, an edit cut. I was like, that's great. That's so
crazy.
good.
I'm surprised if I don't go on Pornhub after this and try and check up if there's a adult.
Any more Lady D?
Yeah, if there's an adult
Exists.
movie already made of this,
I've seen
because
too much.
there's
Nothing
there-
surprised me any.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It's Rule 34, right? It's
Oh, sorry.
you know,
Yeah.
if-
Well, they made the mods
if
for this
there's-
for naked, so of
yeah,
course
exactly.
they're gonna pose
There's
her and
got to be
things.
an adult movie for it. It's like Adventure Time film that they
Like-
made an adult film of that. I was
The
just
game
like,
devs do not make her body; they just make the clothes and the head.
Yeah.
That, like the fucking mods.
Well,
the
at
community makes
times,
their
at
body.
Yeah,
times they
it's
do have
really
proportions there to a degree, and they put the clothes over the body. So like that's how you get like a lot of real physics
Like,
in clothes.
You just see
So
the
it's
skin,
there.
That's pretty much it. Like that's all they make for it. Then
It's
they
just
put the
base skin there.
clothes.
There's no extra detail to it. Exactly. It's just
Mm.
it's like a Ken doll, like a
It's
you
just
know,
their
Barbie doll.
arms, like from here, from there down. It's just. you take
Well,
out the
sometimes they
clothes, it's
do.
just floating limbs.
Sometimes they do actually have texture skins underneath of like models. Like they
Yeah, but not a full fucking. if you
they
don't
sometimes
need
do,
to see
sometimes don't.
the
Yeah, it
chest and
depends
that,
on
like,
how
it's
the
just-
clothes move.
yeah, all they're doing
it's
is
weird.
replacing whatever's normally there.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd say that's a very
They
different
want.
story with a lot of the models in VR chat I've come across. Like, you think, oh, that's just you think they're wearing clothes. It's like, okay, there's no detail under it. You zoom in, you act walking through someone.
sometimes there
You can
is.
see everything. It's like, Jesus Christ, this
Yeah.
model's actually got nude underneath. You're like, okay, I wasn't
That's if the
expecting that.
devs go into details. Like they
Yeah.
they will make the model underneath if they feel like it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I've seen games where you go inside someone, they've got models, they don't. Sometimes they get cut off about here. It's just floating arms. It's like
Because it's not used, no
it
needed
saves
assets.
resources.
Well, it's easy when the texture too, because it's that zone
Yeah.
that gets textured.
Like Kratos, I'm pretty sure that's a full model because that's a lot of skin is shown, like
Yeah.
chest up,
It
legs.
is usually. That's why you can get the detail when the gauntlet piece is sitting on the arms. They
Yeah.
look they stand out more because it actually is a separate object. So when it's mounted, it actually stands out more.
But
When
if he was in like a t-shirt and trousers,
like compared
so
to if
just
you look
his
at
arms and his
like if you look at say for
chest up.
example Fortnite characters when a lot of them are wearing clothes, and then you see when they do certain moves and they like their clothes stretch with them because it's like
Yeah.
part of them. It's not.
when-
It
'cause
stretches
there's
weirdly when they
nothing
do.
underneath. It's just the things that go with it.
Like
Yeah,
if
it's just
like
a little trick.
Master Chief's got the worst
They-
one when he does that. Like one of the emotes he does, he bends down weirdly and his head doesn't snap right because of how the head's made. It's a separate object, and you can see the gap in the underneath the neck because the model's not
No.
designed to do that
Yeah.
because it's two separate objects together. And that happens sometimes, you know, if they're putting characters in situations that like that game does because they've just taken basically be given a model, implement it, and go okay,
Yeah.
do this, and then you see how it exits, and yeah.
I mean,
It-
it would be finicky to make a full model, then put clothes over it when you don't need to. Like you don't need to make all the rest of it.
It's only those that have the high detail that they want the clothes to like flow. If the item needs to look more flowing when they're running,
And it's just
caping
adding
kind
the
of dresses.
layers,
Yeah,
Yeah, on how
Which is cool.
realistic they want to do it.
Exactly. How it animates and interacts and stuff.
like in Ghost of Tsushima, Jin's a full body because you see his freaking ass in the hot springs.
A lot of those without like customized skins and stuff, you'll get that because you can change outfits and stuff. So they make them.
Although
Because
that body could be a skin. Literally.
well, I think you can change outfits with them, can't you? Frank,
Yeah, so I'm thinking they must.
Have
That must be just a
Ken
skin
doll.
they chuck on
a Ken
just
doll and they
chuck
put the
it
outfit
on
on top of
the
it.
back of it because it's all you see is the back. So it could just be that, like there's no front to it. It's just.
Oh,
I think you
usually-
see his front from here up.
no. Usually when they do that, they make a full 3D model. It's full body.
Yeah,
They have to in case if it moves from a certain angle, it looks weird.
because he does go to a first, like the front on, which is about from here up.
Yeah.
You see it, so
He would have still been mostly full model, so they can animate him because he needs to stand
that'd be so
when he
hard
moves.
to get the human body like in that little form, though. Like,
Hmm.
if it looks off, people will definitely tell you.
Oh, well, that's the thing. Like I said, playing around stuff, you make things large because a lot of this imports. Once you make it at its scale, you can shrink it down to any size and it's fine.
Yeah, but still, it
So-
can look weird. Like I've seen weird things, like things that shouldn't be a certain size just look weird.
Penises.
One of the things, but like people with a weird, like Lady D, she looks stretched. Like just someone's.
Because she's tall. Yeah, because she's tall.
Yeah.
No, but you meant to have, she meant to be wider than that as well. Like if you go up, you go out as well, and
Yes and no.
She's no, but she's supposed to be a little bit thick.
Well, she is kind of thick, but they kept her skinny. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not the right weight and that for a height. She's more slim. Like I don't
Well,
know.
it can vary.
I've
It
seen
depends
some
on
mods.
weight
She looks
proportions.
pretty good.
It looks pretty good, but damn.
Well, I mean, you look at
Like-
what she is. Like, how does that stay in that body form?
Like-
No wonder she's 9 foot tall. I mean, look what she is.
Like, look at Mr. X. He's big and bulky. Like that's what she should.
Well,
been.
I mean, she goes
kind
from she goes from 9 foot to like 10,000
20,
meters
30.
long.
Yeah.
So
10
Yeah,
meters.
she is like it's the.
You know what I'm talking
she's
about, the other-
vampire, whatever.
well, you know what I'm talking about. How she manages to transform.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever.
that's why she had to drink blood to not do that.
Transforms from this
But then
9 foot
he's-
woman to a freaking 10 foot story building. Like
Yeah.
how did that fit into that? It's all in the boobs and the
Well-
ass.
That's easy. It's just game.
It's hiding it underneath her dress.
Yeah,
So
But yeah, it's just a game.
it's like how people turn into a werewolf. Same thing. Like people are normal size. Werewolves are way bigger.
Yeah, and when people transform into werewolves and
Like
they
dude,
become
they're-
bigger than what
Like
they
the
are,
Hulk.
yeah.
They just
but no, that's what I mean. That's why
movie
she's
magic,
that's why she's
like
tall and
movies, people can
proportioned.
do it.
She's proportioned
Yeah.
weird because she's
No, that was her genetics. She had a blood disease and shit, and then the thing Mother Miranda gave her made her tall, and
tall and thick.
it goes into it when you
Thick
play the game.
thick with 9 C's.
She was dying, I think, and she's like, "Yeah, have this," and she's big. She had to drink blood to live, and
Big with 9 C's.
but they're not exactly vampires.
Yeah, they're just it's because the
The virus,
what is it?
or
Not the
virus.
virus,
The
it
T-virus.
was the
Mold.
It's a side effect.
mold,
of-
mold,
It's the mold.
Yeah.
mold, yeah.
Yeah,
the
it was
mold.
a side effect. She had to drink blood to stay alive.
Yeah.
Kind of like the essence of what vamp, and that's why I think they're basing off. I think what they're going for in this game is like that's the misconception of what they assume vampires are, but this is like kind of like
Them daughters are not real. Like, they're
no,
not real
this is
people.
like she's kind of like the Dracula aspect of things. It's like you hear a story and it changes over time. You know, this is what they
Except she's not a
interpret.
vampire.
No, but
She's
that's
got
what.
fangs or nothing.
But like in base media, that's what vampires are presumed: drink
Yeah,
blood,
yeah.
fear the daylight. But it's a different concept. You know, it's just
Yeah, but they
there's
based
more
her
to it.
on Dracula though, because
Hmm.
the 3 daughters were meant to be like his 3 wives. They obeyed her.
That's exactly it. It's like the loosely told story of like this is
Mm.
actually what it was, but then Dracula was a man, but it's not. It was actually a woman, and you know Frankenstein was this guy, but
He
it's not
actually did
Frankenstein's
feed on
Helsenberg.
people.
And
She does it just to
like the whole game
not
has
turn into that fucking beast.
like that whole game has the traditional tropes. Like, did it have the mummy at all in the game? Like,
No.
it basically
No.
has a
Except the
vampire.
game does it
It has
well.
vampire, Frankenstein, and friggin' werewolves.
Who's Frankenstein?
Yeah, who's Franken?
Helsenberg is basically Frankenstein, the scientist.
No, he's a dude. No, he's just a normal dude.
Yeah, no, but like the essence
He's
of the actual.
Magneto. He's from X-Men.
But
Hex.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
He can move metal. Just
Yeah, no, but Heisenberg's basically the
Oh, yeah.
The
scientist.
Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's the Frankenstein. So
technically he's the
basically,
Frankenstein.
the other like propeller head are Frankenstein's monsters. Like, I mean, it's Frankenstein's army.
Well, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like they kind of went with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
This game went with the traditional trope. It had the vampire, it had the werewolves, it had Frankenstein. They're the traditional
Like-
horror movies, with besides
did-
Mummy and the Swamp Thing. You know,
Swamp Thing's in there.
there is Swamp Thing in it.
No.
Yeah, the big
Is there?
fucking hunchback dude. He
Oh, that's more Hunchback.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
did
a
he? Quasimodo. So,
Oh, okay.
but in the sense, like
The
eight,
big liquid
this-
monster.
8 has the
Oh, okay.
traditional horror themed tropes. It has at least 3 of the
yeah.
traditional horror themed tropes. Like
Four.
you look at the
They got
or
the,
4, yeah.
They got the psychotic fuck with your head boss as well.
Well, we got the newer stuff, yeah. So, but like they've got the traditional horror tropes in there. Like I said, werewolves, vampires, and Frankenstein. Like,
Except they're not because they're all mold.
yeah. But like, it's
Yeah.
interesting that they've gone with that concept.
they
They've
do-
taken the original horror tropes.
Well, they do link like the umbrella.
Spoilers, people, if you haven't played it.
Mold.
And it's like basically that
Spoilers,
universe.
spoilers.
Yeah. But like that universe is basically taking what we know of media is that's what the inspiration was
They put
technically in
their
the
own
sense of that.
spin on
Yeah.
classic
own spin.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Because they're vampires, but they're not vampires. They're bugs, because that's weird. Like,
But that's like anything we've always
the
seen through
game
stuff.
doesn't
It's
tell you that
interpreted.
directly. You've got to find it in books.
But you
to
can't
find
tell
out
they're
what happened
bugs.
to 'em.
But yeah, funny what happened to
Yeah.
them is a
Yeah,
different
you
story.
just read the books.
No, they're bugs. Like
They made
the
up
bugs covered the babies and killed them, and then they turned into the people. And
when they made them grow and they grow.
the
as they
cold,
are.
the cold kills the bugs, which kills the sunlight. Doesn't kill them.
No, it's the cold.
It's the
It's the
but then they're
interpretation.
in
They
the fucking snowy place.
as long as they're in somewhere warm, it's different. As long as
They're
they
in a
don't.
snowy. Why would you
Cold.
live there?
I know. And again, that's the
Like, get the fuck
misconception.
out.
Like that's the story. It's like they're basically going, "Oh, vampires get attacked by it's the sunlight kills them." No, it's snow. Like, but people
Wavy D's out in the
interpreted.
sunlight chasing you. I'm
Yeah, but it's just people interpreted going, "Oh, the sun's on them." It's like, well, what else is going on at the same time? It's snowing. Did you maybe count that into account? In fact,
Like,
like,
I was playing and I was like, oh, outside. I turned around, Lady D's like, I'm coming for you. I'm like, it's fucking sunny.
yeah.
I'm like, she's not a vampire.
No, it's and this is it. It's interpretation, like, and that happened with a lot of
What is
things. You know,
she?
it's like
She's just a
anything
lady.
interpretation. And there's been a lot
She's
of
a
that.
lady with Wolverine claws.
Hmm.
That's her fingers. I didn't know. I thought they were out of her hand, but they're her fingers. Turning
Yeah.
the fucking giant knives and just.
Yep.
I was like,
Which is kind of cool and interesting that they've gone with that interpretive like attempt at that like direction.
they're not vampires, but like they've changed them enough to make them like, oh, that's cool.
Mm.
Like they didn't just rip off vampires
No.
or lichens or like.
They're their own things.
The werewolves are in there, but they're nothing like werewolves. These things
No.
are way bigger than werewolves.
And that's the thing.
If
It's
you've
just
seen
it's media.
That big
It's-
fucking weird, ugly-looking dog thing, like,
Mm.
ugh.
So, which I think is kind of like I said, that's a pretty cool approach, like to do it. Like that's something
Well,
different to
It's
place based off that
It's
concept.
Capcom. They've always done Resident Evil well.
Mm.
I mean, people may
Well, that
not
one.
like 7 or 8 because of first person. No, they didn't do. It's not really horror. I mean, this one is because it's got that fucking house, but
Hmm.
they've never really done that before either. Like, this is the first time for that, like psychological horror, which
It's there, but it feels like it's more very actiony though.
no, not that. That's just stealthy. They take your weapons away from you.
Well, I've seen people later on in the game just being like, "I've got
It's just a
guns!" Ha ha!
Yeah, because you. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. Yeah, you just turns into COD. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I was already seen
right
that.
at
I've
the
seen
end.
it turns into
Right at
COD.
the end, yeah.
Yeah, like, well, you've seen it too, Wookie.
I've
where
seen
you just
it,
go
I've-
through, brr, 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 like,
Yeah, it just becomes a
Yeah,
shoot. That's
yeah,
traditional.
where he's like right at the end where you're playing Chris. No.
yeah.
Yeah, we're just running through the
Playing
field.
as Chris.
It-
We
it-
got
Village.
fucking like 1,000 bullets. I'm like,
It's like
that's
a
not
throwback.
fucking Resident Evil.
No, but it's a
Yeah,
throwback
yeah,
to
yeah.
traditional, which kind of was like that. If you go back to Resident Evil, when you played as Chris, it was like that. You had guns. I mean, limited ammo, but it was running around shooting and doing stuff
He's got
like it.
unlimited. He just downs things like that. He's like, brr, brr,
To show how badass he is.
Yeah, he's badass using an AK, just downing them all. It's just like, I've just found 1,000 more rounds. Let's do this.
Yeah,
He's
And that's what
killing
it was
everything.
like. That's what it was like
pretty
in those
much
games.
COD, like, you just run and gun.
Yeah, well, that's what it was
Yeah.
like if you played like it. That was like that in was it
Yeah,
5?
2 and 3 changed it up.
Five
The
was a bit
first
like
one.
that. Yeah.
It was
The
cool
punching
to
arsehole.
see that.
5 and
It
6
was
is just
cool to
running and
see
shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
played 6, but I like 5. 5 was
But like I said, 5 was just running around
Resident
shooting.
Evil.
I didn't even feel like it was
still
survival.
scary.
Like I just remember just running around shooting everything I came across. Just bang, 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 just
But
gunfire
5 you
everywhere.
had limited ammo. Like, you had to pick your targets.
Nah, I shot everything. I just shoot everything.
What was you playing on easy? Like,
No,
I
normal.
was playing on normal. I got fucked up.
Just run around, shoot everything in the head.
I
That's what you
tried
do.
playing
Shoot all in
like
the head.
last year. I couldn't play it.
Yeah.
I got slaughtered.
No, I
Plus,
remember
I
them being more
wasn't sure.
shooters, and that was kind of
But
different.
there's
It was a fresh breath air for freaking 7 and 8. So
punching and boulder.
Uh,
That thing was massive. He could not have moved that. Like, Jesus.
I want to play a first-person shooter now.
yeah. I'm gonna go back to
Yeah.
VR chat.
Play Village.
First person.
Good.
Village.
Village.
I haven't played it since 2.
I do want to actually get around to playing that at some point, but I also want to
I'm
try and do
scared
something.
of the
so.
big baby.
Baby.
It does a scene. It's
Yeah.
fucking
Oh,
horrifying.
the weird fetus
Oh.
looking
It's like,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
It sucks.
Fucking
It sucks.
screams at
It looks like
Oh,
a
no.
monster from SCP, an SCP, freaking monster.
like-
Oh, SCP, yeah,
It's like a
yeah,
massive
yeah.
fetus, and its mouth's like that. Fucking
And it just
long.
sucks you in. It just if it gets you, it sucks
It's
you
like-
in.
It says daddy, and it just goes.
And yeah, it just if it catches you, it just sucks you down. It just goes and just sucks you down. You can't get out of it.
I've
Oh,
seen the
let's go.
third-person camera angle of it. That thing it puts you in, and
Gobbles you up.
Ethan's like, just going down. And
It just sucks you in. You're gone. Yeah, it's crazy how it's suction power. It's like a slug fetus. It's
That's
weird.
what it says, "Daddy," and like, I was like, and when you hide from it, it fucking starts crying. It's like,
Oh, that's terrible.
and you can't kill it, you can't hit it, you just got to run.
That does remind me of a lot of SCPs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
this
thinking...
game with a lot of the stuff, it does kind of feel, from what I've watched of it, they're trying to.
It is good though.
It kind of feels like it's a little nod to Silent Hill a little bit.
Well, that part, yeah.
There's a lot of little nods to Silent Hill, just how they are going at it. It's not typical Resident Evil. Like, 7 stepped away from typical Resident Evil, and then it's kind of gone.
No, that was
Resident
horror.
Evil.
Like, that was
Yeah, no, but
Resident
like just
Evil.
it was just different from
But
what
it was
typical
first
Resident Evil.
person.
Yeah, well, just how they plotted out the story and how you did stuff was a lot different from where the franchise had started going. With four.
It was in line with the first game, like Resident
Yeah,
Evil
that's the
1,
first game,
like-
but where the game had progressing, like it
Well,
had
2
progressed
was
so
like
far,
that.
and then
2 was puzzles and. in a
that's what I'm saying.
confined
It's
area.
gone back. Like 3 was a bit more kind of where it's at now, but like 4, 5, and 6 were basically shooters. Like it became a shooter
Yeah,
franchise,
well,
and then it's gone back.
4 and 1, like it's the village, like had the action from 4. But
And that's the thing, they've
horror
gone
of
back.
The first game, like you just gotta be like stealthy going around, like.
Like 7 went back to being more of that walk and search, and it's more
I
finding
was,
and
I
unlocking
was
stuff.
fucking frightened in 7 because that was scary. Shit.
And that's what a lot of Silent Hill was always like, was
Jack
walking,
Baker
searching,
was-
and collecting stuff.
A man on a mission. He was more scary than Lady D. Jack's intense. He comes through walls. Lady D doesn't.
And then, yeah, 8's kind of gone back to that, almost like the old school recipe, but then being...
I mean,
What's
they've
that?
thrown way more into the mix there.
But definitely, like I said, but definitely feeling a lot like Silent Hill with what Silent Hill does.
If they go more psychological horror,
Dude, if it's
I'm not.
I'm
not
telling you
playing
now,
9.
if it's gonna be psychological horror, you're basically Silent Hill.
I'm not playing 9.
Silent Hill,
All
from
I
what
can think of right now is there needs to be an as soon as you said SCP, they need to have another SCP game, like like a really
up
well
to
done
scale, like
SCP.
yeah, because that's what like
I've
that.
been playing one for the last how many years? That weird.
Well, it's the same
containment
one.
breach?
Yes, that's
Yeah,
that's what
I
it is.
played that one. It's a good game.
But they needed a new scale one because that's what it is. Like you got to recontain all those
You've
monsters.
got to look at House Beneviento of Resident Evil, and you'll see that fucking giant baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely, like the
It's
whole
fucking
thing
creepy.
is like a mission, like one of those SCP missions.
yeah.
It's fucked up. Like
No. He's messed up. Check out SCP 33005.
Oh, is that what's his name? Which one's that one again? I'll double check that again. Which one that was? I think was it
I'll
SCP?
post the video. 33005.
It's like in the Dissy. Let everyone watch it.
Yeah.
I think I've.
it-
that sounds.
I'll put it in the memes.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, the meme.
Yeah.
I'll put it in memes right now for you.
Do
A lot of things I refer to is I'll chuck it in memes and it'll just be as a nice little
And
reference.
then
But-
everyone will go, oh,
SCP is
oh.
basically where what was it, like creepypasta? Like that's where it's basically any
Oh,
SCP is basically a whole bunch of collabed creepypastas
someone
put in one
found your
place.
meme section and I was like, who the fuck posted this?
Oh yeah. I'm the king of memes.
No, it was like a 12-year-old.
Oh okay. Oh no.
I was like, don't look in there, and it's NF and
Yeah, it's gonna be
I was
18
like,
plus,
it's
yeah.
for 18 plus, and he's like, don't go in there.
No.
Well, we
Yeah.
tried to tell him, didn't we, Des?
But yeah,
So,
no, there's
yeah,
so many
guys-
there's so many monsters that people have like created. It's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
It's
That baby though, that tops it.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's
No, there's some pretty
horrible.
funny like things. I would love to
least-
see if they did an
Have you seen the
SCP
full
movie.
model of that fucking baby?
Hmm.
Its legs are like back to front, like it's doing.
No,
this,
you
twisted
should.
around.
Have you followed any of the SCP? Have you read any of the SCP stories, Jim? Dude,
I've just seen whatever Markiplier plays.
there's some pretty good stories. There's some pretty good stories. Like,
Yeah.
oh, some pretty
It's
funny
like
stuff.
horror, a bit.
Stories.
Well, it's not horror, not just
Specific
horror. It's a
horror.
mixture of things. It's like,
I'm more Silent Hill, which that seems like it.
It's
It's very
there's a
in-depth.
lot of SCP inspired stories that's like short animations, stuff like that. But then there's or like stories on explaining certain SCPs, whether they're
Oh,
monsters or
speaking
they're
of that,
items.
did you play PT Wookie?
Because
Is that your kind of thing?
I
Like
still. What was that? Sorry.
the PT.
PT.
If you like that kind of horror Wookie, play Evil Inside.
That first
It could be
person
on-
Oh
walkthrough
yeah,
horror.
I've
Yeah.
heard of that one. I did play that paranormal or whatever.
PT.
The one where you play the ghost hunters. It's also a VR
Oh,
game.
Phasmophobia. Yeah.
Phasmophobia. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
scary.
That
I died so many
I
times.
want to
Yeah,
play
that
that
was
again. I need to play
scary,
that
yeah.
again.
It is so fun.
I need to play that again. I haven't played in
Yeah, I've
ages.
died. You just freak the hell out as soon as if you die, or it's
Yeah,
like
it got harder now. Like apparently it's 10 times harder.
We need to play it
Oh, yeah.
again.
Like I can open the things you're in now and everything. I'm like,
We need to
nope,
get back
I'm
into
out.
it, Jim. We need to get back into it.
Nope, I'm not touching that.
I want to run in
And
there and just make the thing kill
I
me.
hate that kind of horror where you just like, you just stand there like, I can't do anything.
that game's funny because it picks up you're supposed to actually speak.
Yeah, like you don't use Discord.
No, you don't do Discord, but yeah, you can use Discord. But yeah, you're supposed to chat.
Yeah, we're talking on radios. It's,
Yeah, on the radios, you're supposed to do that.
I
But
did it on
yeah,
the forest, and it scares the fuck out of the other person.
yeah.
It's like all quiet. And it's like, ah!
I think I think that game needs to come back on Twitch again.
What Faz?
And yeah,
We should
and
start playing it. We should start playing it
I-
sometimes.
Well,
I
get
think
all of
it-
us on there.
I think it would be perfect
Ooh.
for like a Halloween special
Mm.
because it would scare the crap out of anyone.
Because we should come back
but-
to it and start
Wait a
getting into it
minute,
again.
But
Maybe
yeah, we'll
October.
go back before SCP. Check it out. I did put one in there, which was a nice little funny SCP.
Well, I'll say one of the
games,
what I always
and
laugh about is
gross.
one of the SCPs out of all the things. There's one of the it's that crazy with SCPs that one of them's basically just a normal human.
SPC.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's just a guy. Like, this is just a guy. He's an SCP. He's trapped in the. He's like stored in the lab. He's just a random dude, like a normal average day dude. Like he's just, but he's there. He can't leave.
There's some great series as well, some animated ones. There's like a SCP. It's a guy that's an SCP, but he can't die. Like he'll die and then he'll
What
just
does SCP even mean?
like his dead.
It's containment.
It's it's a name of a organization. It's
Oh.
essentially
The one big lab facility, and they store
Yeah,
anomalies or whatever. Supposed to be
so
like a
it's
house for
Silent Hill
anomalies.
kind of thing, like
Kind of
you
like
just
X Files,
stalking
Warehouse
and-
13 kind of
Oh, yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Essence.
Yeah,
I've-
actually, yeah, it reminds
I've
me
never
of
seen
Warehouse.
Warehouse 13. I've
Well,
never seen it.
it's like X Files, but instead of like, but it's like X Files with Ed.
But
With
you're trapped with.
Yeah.
Warehouse
It's
13. Instead of,
SCP.
I was gonna say instead
I
of
was
Warehouse 13 being objects, it's people.
Well, no. SCP is both.
Well, yeah, it's both.
It's
but not just
monsters,
yeah.
people, buildings, whatever else. So, like, SCP stands for Secure, Contain, and Protect.
Yeah.
It's one organization in a fictional kind of world. That's just one organization. You have other ones which are like some are classified as cults, other government organizations. SCP organization is essentially a independent one. There's one SCP story where it's like it's a special IKEA that actually is linked to multiple dimensions, and once you go inside that IKEA, you can never leave, in theory. And if you do manage to leave, you probably won't end up in your alternate
It'll be
dimension.
somewhere else.
It'll be somewhere else. So it's like there'll be people.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
it
people
basically-
have gone into this IKEA and they've formed their own civilization, towns and cities, because they just can't get out.
That'd be fun though.
You got everything. You got everything there.
Yeah, you've got
Swedish meatballs.
IKEA. Yeah, you've got unlimited meatballs. But also that they're inside, they're rooms to IKEA employees. So the guys in IKEA uniforms, but they have no face and no hair and all that like that.
That's-
Like mannequins.
When you've
And
got
if
no
they
face, shit, I hate mannequins.
Yeah, during the day they'll help you out like a normal IKEA,
Wait,
you know.
what?
Yeah, they'll help you out. They'll direct you or whatever.
And
But
then at
dur-
night time they just do a 180 and just.
Yeah, they go in and kill you because the store is closing and no one's supposed to be inside the store.
And you're not
fuck
leaving.
that.
Yeah,
So people
and,
got to survive the
you know,
night and try and fight
I'm
off.
out.
yeah, survive the night. So if you've made a secure, fort or something like that during nighttime, they'll constantly invade it and try and kill everyone.
Reminds me of Resi 7 because them mannequins did that kind of thing.
Hmm.
Like you
Oh, there's some
turn
crazy
back and
stuff.
they fucking move towards you. It's like
But
I'm
this
just
is,
gonna walk
it,
like this around.
it all grew from the creepypastas, which is great.
It's and there was like Slenderman is one to some
I don't find
extent.
He
that
got
scary
contained.
though.
There was one of my favorite ones was a gentleman that would randomly teleport to alternate dimensions. So
Enderman.
no, well, there was one like dimension where he would end up in this black room. It would be completely dark, and all he could see is like literally just his hand in front of his face. And
fuck
whenever
that.
whenever he teleported there, he would be encounter a man kind of like in a black suit with a giant smile on his face, and it
I'm
would
not
be
seeing
like
that.
yeah, he would just because he would be like to his face like that, and he would end up in dimensions like that where basically he would encounter only one being and it would be completely dark, or he would go to a desert planet with or he would go to a planet where it's like tropical, there's forests and stuff, but all the trees talk. Or
That'd be
he'd
pretty cool though.
yeah, or he'd be like in so many alternate dimensions that every time he would come back, he would either be traumatically, distraught, or he would be like, "All right, I need to have a gun next time I go in because I'll encounter my."
You just don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's gonna get. So after he teleports, he's not.
It could be friendly, could be hostile. You just
Yeah. So he's been in so many other dimensions that he's just like, it's his life now. He can't do anything about
he
it.
wouldn't be shocked anymore. He'd be like, oh, this again.
Yeah. Well, there's like he's been in dimensions where it was like perfect bliss and he never wanted to leave. So he was like
And
a
then
crack.
he just
He teleported. He has to teleport back to his prime one. But there's other encounters where he's encountered other ones of himself. Or it's
that'd be a mind fuck. I was like,
that was my favorite one because just the stories of the places he's been to was very interesting. And there's another one where it was like Cain and Abel. There are SCPs, and it's like Abel was like a mass murdering, non-stop machine killing kind of thing.
wasn't that the
where
opposite though? Wasn't
yeah, they
Cain
did.
the?
They did it the opposite, where Abel
Yeah.
was like, unlimited, cannot be killed, killing machine, while Abel was no, Cain was like the peace-loving, no, lived throughout the centuries, just knows every language and just all that kind of very peaceful.
So one loved
they've
everyone,
done-
one hated everyone.
yeah. So they've done the SCPs like that. There was another one where it was like another SCP was this Mr. Wonderland, where he
Willy's
created,
Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
well, something like that. He created multiple toys
That's
for
so good.
children, which was like,
That sounds like it.
it were just like demented toys though, or
Yep.
there was, and then there was another one SCP which was like an entire city, like a old school London, which was built underneath London, which was supposed to be like a fallout shelter for a possible
That's the
destruction
thing
of the
though,
universe.
isn't it? Like they got things under London. They got like
Yeah,
tunnels
yeah,
and
tunnels and stuff, but it was kind of playing onto that.
easy.
And
That'd
it was called Under
creepy.
London. So there's multiple,
Under London.
multiple ones. Yeah, there was multiple ones like a mirror that
Lunderberg.
teleports you to different dimensions. When
That'd
you
be pretty
like,
cool.
Look at it.
and then there was a coffee machine, another SCP item, which was a coffee machine that would actually produce any liquid you could think of. So if yeah, literally, you would type in Dr. Pepper and it would
Ooh.
put it in a disposable cup for you.
Oh, what's
And
the
you would drink
downside? What's the
You could literally type in anything. So you could say jack shit, and it would be like
Someone
shit-
named
shit
Jack.
it
from
literally
Jack.
it would be like a cup of shit from Jack.
What if you got something that's like fuck's sake, and then it's like, oh,
Yeah, it'd be something like that. There was
how
also
would you get that though?
Liquid
you'd
gold.
put in cyanide or whatever and it would come in liquid form. It'd be very limited though, like it wouldn't do certain things.
That'd be cool though.
It
Like,
could do liquid gold. It was a
yeah, but
coffee
then
machine.
you can't be fucking heavy.
Yeah, it would still be liquid though in form,
Like-
and it could solidify. You could literally just write down anything and it'd do it. So
Money.
Money. Yeah. Well, literally within limits. So there was another one which was also good. It was called Mr. Jeeves, and it was a SCP that was a butler, and you could
Not Jeeves.
yeah Jeeves. So you could request to, you know, request them to do stuff like menial tasks from something like I want my car cleaned, and next minute your car would be
What's the
clean.
downside to all of this? Like,
Some of them would have
He,
downsides.
he
Some of them did.
can't do certain things. That was just the downside.
but then that's not really a downside. It's just you do that yourself.
Well,
Like,
they had. Well, all SCPs have classifications, right? So you've got Keter, Euclid, and safe. And each of those classifications means it's all right to be used. Some
I have
SCPs
to
are
watch some of these things.
yeah, they're all in written form on the SCP website.
And some of them animated.
Some people have made animations for it. Some people have made stuff inspired by SCPs because essentially it's all user submissions.
Like, because there wouldn't be nothing that's the same because each person has their own take on what that could be. Like,
Exactly.
It's like basically like say Slender Man, Siren Head, any of those online kind of things. They're basically an SCP.
Yeah. Like
Anything you've seen.
pretty much Silent Hill was pretty much
Like
the
there's
first.
basically there is a character that's very similar to that fetus from Resident Evil 8. That's an SCP. That's very very similar to what it does. Is an SCP. So
like the Pestilence Doctor, that's also an SCP as well. Like the classic Pestilence Doctor. The most famous one that started would be the very first one is called Mr. Peanut. I think it was like the nickname was like Mr. Peanut. So it was a statue that looked like a peanut that had graffiti all over it. But you would have to constantly look at it. Someone would have to look at it constantly. As soon as you blink, it would be like,
Weeping Angels?
Doctor Who. Yeah, the Weeping Angels, like Doctor Who.
But you can't blink. You just someone's got to keep eye contact on it.
Yes, constantly. If someone doesn't keep eye contact, it will, snap your neck and kill you. That's essentially what it does. So there's, that was like one of the first live action SCP videos I've watched. But yeah, that's where it essentially was very famous.
That's where those things come from when you look away and things get closer and closer.
Yeah.
Well, the Weeping Angels. It's basically the Weeping Angels started
it.
It
Basically, is the Weeping Angels. Yeah. I
Doctor
don't know
Who
which
started
came
that.
first. I wouldn't be surprised if the Peanut came first.
I'm kind of curious. What was his name?
But
Oh no, but whatever they did, fucking Capcom does it well because in Resident Evil 7, them mannequins are creepy as fuck.
so it's I recommend definitely checking out the.
Oh, that's right.
It
Yeah,
seems
I
easy
remember
to
that.
make scary though
Peanut,
because
yeah.
you're in command of the character and like it affects you. Like playing Layers of Fear. That shit's number 2. Oh my god!
So
I didn't want to continue that game, but I did it for stream.
I'll chuck it in. I'll just stick it in Safe for Work, Beardy Bros memes.
Yeah, because
just
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's so I've posted the SCP thing in the memes, and one of the SCPs 33005, the Cum Goblin. That's a Euclid, and I've
Oh, Wookie, have you ever heard the term sloppy toppy?
no.
That's a thing. Like, do not
Sloppy.
Google it though. No one Google that.
No. But
I mean, you
yeah,
can if you want. It's not too bad, but like I heard it on stream yesterday, day before.
sloppy toppy. Jesus.
Sloppy toppy.
Should I Google
Sloppy
it now
toppy.
or wait till the podcast?
I mean,
is
Google
over?
it now if you want.
I really want to check.
Sloppy toppy. Like I Google it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna Google it.
It's just like because they were talking about it on stream. I'm like, what is this? And then they're like, Google it. I'm like,
Dictionary. It's a song.
yeah, that's what I've seen as well. But when you the
Oh!
definition of
It's like, yeah, I've had that.
yeah,
What is it?
I mean,
What'd you say?
sloppy
I mean,
toppy.
sloppy toffee.
I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds something completely different, doesn't it?
Sloppy Toffee.
After checking
No,
out that, I think I
sloppy
need
toppy.
toppy.
Sloppy top.
Sloppy toppy.
Oh god, shall we just wrap it up there? Because I'm just my
We go for
internet
3
history-
hours, so
My
yeah.
internet history probably needs to be deleted
Oh,
now.
what if it? What the? If that's not the worst thing.
That is not the worst thing.
I'm trying to figure out what.
I'm just looking at my internet history now. It's like
Oh,
we
it would have been
recommend-
that fucking
I'm trying to
Twitch you were watching earlier.
I think it was the cum goblin.
Yeah, the goblin.
What are you freaking out by? What?
No. It's just
No.
stuff I'm posting.
I don't even see. I don't even know what you're talking about. I tried to Google.
No one
it.
wondering, yeah.
The SCP 33005. It was the cum goblin. It was a special SCP that essentially lived off
Speaks for
cum.
itself.
Yeah. It's self-explanatory. It lives off cum.
Or children. Well,
It's
Jack does listen.
oh god.
Not for 3 hours, so hopefully he
not
didn't
for
get
3
this
hours.
far.
Yeah. This is when it starts to get real
He might.
R-rated. Beardy Bros After Dark.
Oh, I think it
will
said
be
beady nut.
Beardy Nuts After Dark.
Beady nuts.
Extra salted.
We can make our own peanuts with that slogan. The beady nuts. Oh.
Oh, I need a cigarette now.
Yeah, but like, I heard
What the
that
fuck?
word. I'm like, what? So I just googled it and I'm like, oh.
Oh god. Sloppy toppy. Well, it's it's not the worst thing I've googled, but
No, but I actually googled a video. I'm like, oh.
it's not probably not the worst thing I've googled today.
No. It's not that bad, but it's still like,
Not
oh.
by far. Not by far. But oh, okay.
That was random.
Yeah, seemed like I was about to give a sloppy toppy myself.
What the fuck?
Open wide.
What the fuck is? I just looked up an SCP and it's basic explosive hot chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's like it
think
looks
it
like it's like
explodes?
it can blow a person apart, but basically it's you can pour the chocolate into the milk. It doesn't really dissolve; it just sits on the thing, but it resembles once it starts whatever it does. Looks like hot chocolate, but it can basically be thrown at something and blow it up.
I like C4
Yeah,
or plastic
Yeah.
explosive.
it
Just
smells like hot chocolate. It looks like hot chocolate.
I want hot
But
chocolate now.
explosive hot chocolate.
Kind of funny,
Hot chocolate.
I mean, it comes out that way.
but I think
Oh, yeah, there's that.
we'll
Don't
definitely
talk-
start.
yeah.
I'll go make a hot chocolate.
Yeah, I'm gonna make hot chocolate now.
Hot chocolate come out bad.
Are we gonna go off
Sloppy
and
toppy?
finish up now and make some sloppy toppy hot chocolates?
I'm still trying to.
Did we
I don't
just
know.
make
I'm
a
trying to
new
figure out
Urban
what we're looking
Dictionary?
at now. I want to know what we're
Sloppy
talking about.
toppy
Hot
hot chocolates.
I looked up
Uh,
sloppy toppy, but I didn't find anything. I'm confused.
It's when she's doing it to the other side.
Oh, that's,
Hot chocolate, you get it?
yeah. I was trying to figure out what we're talking about. Oh, that's boring.
Nasty.
That's
Wookie,
boring.
nasty.
That's boring.
It's when you've just done it in the chocolate and she drools on it. Like Jim's like, nah, that's it.
Oh,
That's
shit. I'm
This-
okay with sloppy toppy, but the chocolate sloppy top something.
sloppy choppy chocolate
Sloppy-
toffee.
Sloppy choppy.
No, chocolate choc top.
Fuck's sake.
Oh god, there's a
Choc top. We definitely cut that part out, I think.
choc top.
Oh
Yeah.
my fuck. That's 3 hours, does us to fucking render.
Yeah, I'm not even doing
Yeah.
anything. I'm just gonna upload this because it took me like a whole week to get last week's episode up
Oh,
for video. The Spotify was up like that. Video took like a whole week to. I only uploaded it yesterday.
Yeah, because you were just procrastinating and shit, wasn't you? Just
Oh, it was tedious trying to go
It
through
was-
editing it with all the things I had to
Yeah.
find. I was like, oh, I realized why I stopped editing.
I've still got
I wanted to do it
news.
again. What is there anything big you wanted to share or no?
We still haven't talked about Horizon and
Oh no, we covered it
Dying
brief.
Light
No,
and
we did
everything.
Horizon. We did Horizon. We didn't do Dying Light. We skipped Dying Light briefly. We covered Horizon, part of it.
Horizon already.
We talked about Far Cry. We talked a lot about Far Cry. What else did you have?
No,
What else
just
did you have?
one character.
What else did you have?
I mean,
something else
Dying
besides
Light.
it?
I got release dates, man.
Movies.
Oh, yeah, release dates. We'll pop the release dates then.
Yeah.
Well, Far Cry, 7th of October.
Yep.
Which isn't that far away. Which there's a collector's. There's a cool
Yes.
statue there that you might want. You can buy it separate for $98.
Oh,
It's
most probably.
Same time Back for Blood comes out.
Or around
same
a
time,
day later,
October.
isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. October. It's early
Hmm.
October, but I'll be at PAX that time.
Yep.
PAX, man.
Wait, yeah, in
PAX.
Melbourne, if that the way.
They don't get out of
Melbourne's
lockdown
gonna be
again.
cancelled, bro.
They'll probably be by then. It'll probably be their 5th lockdown.
And also, Dying Light 2 finally had gameplay, which it looks.
Yeah.
I like how you can
looks good.
tackle a zombie off a building, just.
Just fly kick
Yeah,
him, doing all this cool stuff.
Hey,
Or like kick with your
Dive
feet.
kick him, where you dive kicking people.
You can do it in the
I
first
saw
one.
that.
Yeah, I know, but just how many times he was doing it in this one, he was like watching the
Oh.
playthrough.
I never
Dive
watched the
kicking him.
gameplay really. I've seen some of it, but
Yeah, the whole
I
thing.
want to play the game. I want to wait for the game. They're gonna
does
spoil
look
too
good.
much. Like
Yeah.
when they had to sit down and chat with the director and that, he talked about everything. I'm like, dude, you're just
Spoil it.
spoiling shit.
That's why I don't watch any of those anymore.
Like, let us play it. This game should be one trailer and release. Don't just. But yeah, that comes out 7th of December, which is cool.
What's the what was the next one? You said there was another one after that.
Did you ever? Was there any other release dates?
Oh yeah, alright.
And that comes out later in the year. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
They could have gave us at least a window, like
Yeah. There's still a few games that are unannounced.
E3.
But E3 is gonna go hard.
I mean,
this
they don't
year.
have E3 though. They've got Games Fest. I think they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
something like that. It's like not E3, but E3. I think they probably would just still
E3 is dead. It's just Microsoft and Bethesda there, really.
Yes.
Nintendo's got their Direct. PlayStation's got
We'll
their
just
State
call-
of Play.
We'll call E3 BethesdaCon.
Microsoft, no,
Con.
not Bethesda. Not
Well,
BlizzCon.
yeah, it's Microsoft and Bethesda, like that now. So it's just BethesdaCon.
But they said they were going to do their own thing, but they've got them linked up in E3
Yeah,
as the one
yeah.
thing. Like, where's their freedom?
Yeah, where's the? And then there's no Sony as well. There's no.
Which that's two of the big ones gone.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause
Oh, there'll
Nintendo are
be.
doing their own.
Yeah, and Digital Devolver always just releases like a.
That's
awesome,
right. Everyone's
you know,
gone State of
it-
Play except Microsoft.
Yeah.
Like, I think Ubisoft are going to be there. EA are not going to be there. They're
Yeah.
doing their own thing as well. Like, it's
I
E3's
think it,
dead.
I think it's just because of the time of year that's pretty much as put down
Which
as
is June, so.
June, July. That's when they just put down the whole. This is when new games are coming out. This is the announcement time, and that's why I look hopeful for the announcement time.
Yeah, I think
I don't
Sony's
really
gonna
care
start
who's at
any time of
E3 or
year,
not.
though.
Yeah.
Because they've
Oh,
just
yeah.
done Horizon before that. Like,
Yeah.
they did Ratchet and Clank last month. Like, they're going to do it throughout the whole year for their games.
Yeah. Did you have anything
I
else?
reckon God of War will be revealed soon. I reckon with some gameplay
Gotta be with the hype up they've had like the last.
ready
few
for
months.
next year's release.
Well, every now and then they've been talking about things every couple of months, like, oh, there's this, oh, there's that. Oh.
Yeah, what about Cory Barlog? It doesn't exist.
Well, there's not that many games being released for Christmas and then of this year, so I think E3 is going to be like games. I think there's going to be a lot of games that are already ready to go, and they'll just be announced.
And then stuff
for
next year after.
for
Metal
Christmas,
Gear, the
or
Metal
at least
Gear remake.
January next year.
I think.
Yeah,
Well,
Metal
Far
Gear.
Cry could have been January next year, but that's October. I'm like,
Yeah.
because that said between March this year and April next year. So
Well,
I'm
it's
thinking,
delayed. Well, they had
they're
early
gonna
and
pick
then delayed it.
January or February.
Yeah.
But
I guess they figured
Well-
that's good to go.
Yeah, the rest of the world's going back to normal to some extent. There's
Yeah.
only isolated stuff here and there, like Melbourne. Just it'll happen.
Melbourne. Just
Places
around.
it's not massive.
Victoria is like I said, they'll just have another lockdown. That by the time I get the packs, it'll be like its 5th lockdown, or 10th,
Seventh one.
Yeah.
something like that. It's gonna be. But like I said, just lock up idiots, and
Keep
have them
people
all split
indoors.
their
That's all you
heads.
have to- keep
Yeah,
people in
just
small
keep
groups.
people together. But actually, being truthfully,
The rest of Australia's still doing fine.
a lot of the stuff's coming from the hotel. Like last time, it was like from people from the hotels. They were just getting sick. You just need a. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah,
one
but
of
if
those
they're
things.
fleeing Victoria, if they're sick, they're going to spread it again.
Yeah, and the thing that was happening was a lot of people from Victoria was coming up to Queensland, especially
Which-
Sunshine Coast.
They're
and
going to
buying.
Sydney. And
Yeah, they're
going
going to Sydney. It's you just need to lock them down and say you ain't going nowhere until
Every
shit's
state needs to be
fucking-
cut off from everyone. Just keep the state
They
to their
actually
own
need to start
people.
putting up fences, borders.
borders. Build the
Trump.
wall. Build the wall.
Build the wall.
Build a wall.
Build a wall and keep those.
Because there's so many
filthy
back roads. There's so many
southerners
back
out of
roads that people can just
Queensland.
get by.
Hey.
Like there's
That's
We
why
haven't had a
you're
COVID case
good.
in over a
You're
year.
on a, you're good. You're on an island.
That's probably the worst place for a fucking outbreak.
No, it's the perfect place.
to stay away from
Also,
it.
we've been
'Cause peop-
over a year without a case. We're the best in the whole fucking world.
Yeah, because you're left away. Like
No,
Yeah.
we cut everyone off.
exactly.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
How long?
Everyone.
But like you have a
everyone-
water
yeah, you
border.
just-
You just have a water border. Like that's what I'm saying. If they had borders up for each state,
What
actually,
waterboard them? Of course we're gonna waterboard them. I meant yes.
like I said, there's so many roads along these borders that people just cross because there's no one there patrolling. They don't know. There's
Can't
nowhere to.
Can't be waterboarding if it's done.
You
with
can't
diesel.
patrol
Okay.
every
People
road.
people can boat across.
That's what I'm saying. But there's,
If you
you can't
really wanna.
board off everything. You can't board off every road like a checkpoint at every single road.
I
There's too many
still
roads.
do want to. I still do want to.
They need to build a wall, like,
It takes
if
all
anything-
night, but
Build a wall, then it blocks everyone
that's gonna
out, then
be
it keeps
us,
everyone to
mate.
their own states. So
a speedboat.
Australia's still on an island anyway, so
the fact that they can't border off each state
Every place
individually
is an
with
island.
walls, then it'll keep spreading.
it's
Except for here.
We're all coming. We're coming to see you, Jim. Me and Dale. We're gonna move down to Tassie. We're gonna stop. We're gonna fly over, and then we're gonna destroy all the planes. And
You're gonna
and
do
then
the
we'll
guy from Army of the
Yeah.
Dead. Just
Yeah.
Come over. It's like
land- stop all the planes from flying out, flying in. We're gonna set up some AA guns. Anyone try and come over the boats,
That was
we're
the
gonna
thing,
have a
like,
bunch
we
of.
stopped planes coming
sea-
in, like only
sea
specific
mines.
ones.
We're gonna plant sea mines all around that island. We're
Sea
gonna
mines.
have sea mines. We're
Oh,
gonna
what
set
was
up some AA guns.
Well,
and-
that's what I was
yeah,
saying.
Buzz.
Tasmania's
Sea
gonna be
mines.
good.
What I was saying
Sea
earlier,
mines.
like the
Sea
other
mines.
week before it got announced everything was happening, like it was just like the same day when they made the announcement before they were going to go in the idea of lockdown that Al's dad came back from Melbourne from work because he went down for a
Oof.
business trip, and they
Get
just
away.
announced that they had the things, and then yeah, he just come back, and
Get the fucking Glen 20 out, bro.
yeah. So yeah, I was like, oh damn, lucky he got back before the outbreak started. But there's so many
Yeah,
that
but
they found now. But like
As
You
long
know,
as the
people had it for
contact
10 days before they even found out, so
mm,
God knows
That's-
where they went.
That's what contact tracing is important for.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, but people aren't doing that, though.
but
Well, they are, but they
but I mean,
aren't.
for him,
Come
he
on.
did say though. For him,
Well,
he
the
was
people
lucky
that aren't
because.
doing it, lock them up. No,
But like
I mean,
for
yeah,
him,
do it.
like it's because it was like what more
Like,
like
what's
the other,
doing that
because
here?
it's
Like,
all
I went
Victoria. Like
to
it was
the
the other
medical
side.
centre. Had
Like
to
it wasn't
sign in.
because I don't think it wasn't even really Melbourne. It was like Victoria in general. Like it was the other side of
Yeah.
Victoria or something like that.
well,
Like
remember in Queensland, all the ones, the reports that were happening up in Queensland, it was from people that were coming back from Victoria.
in Sydney
Re-
and
Yeah, well, it was like there was two girls on the south
yeah,
side.
it was all from Melbourne.
the ones who laughed when they got through, like,
Yeah,
why did you
yeah,
record that?
and they were just like,
Just go to your
well,
buckets.
go to jail.
But at the same
Like,
time,
"I got
like
through, yeah."
I was there the same like day that they had come through the shops. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's anyone that just blatantly flaunts that type of, oh yeah, I'll just put it on social media because it's funny. And it's like, well, it's funny because social media doesn't screen from a jail cell, their love. So
Mm.
it's not funny. It's, just
Hey,
just
most of the
common
most of
courtesy.
Australia and the world think you're a fucking moron.
yeah,
courtesy,
exactly.
like-
Like,
courteous
Jesus.
thing.
It's if
The
this
ones
was
who laugh at
medieval,
it are idiots.
Well, it came down to be they were like traffickers of all kinds of shit anyway. They were dodgy
Yeah, like-
freaking women anyway.
well, remember what was that? I remember like the stories of like the Great Plague back in the medieval days. If you tried to flaunt anything like that, they would put you in. They wouldn't just put you in jail. They
I'll
would
fucking burn
put you
you.
in. They would burn you because they'd be like they're infected, or they would put you in a bit of town, lock you up, and throw away the key and watch everyone in that quarantined area die.
Just starve and dehydrate.
Just starve and die, and that's pretty much it's it's whatever. And anyone, and anyone else that tried to spread it, it was just like, well, you tried to spread it, you get killed. It's or they'll
Pretty much.
lock them up in a place and isolate them and just let them slowly die.
Well, that's what COVID was. Like, people just went in their houses and died because they didn't really know what was going on.
Oh, well, that was like very populated areas and
Yeah, it's been like they just went back home and just like, yeah, I just got a cold and they end up dead.
Yeah, that was a lot of elderly as well that would happen. And well, that was the thing. We were getting reports now, even people getting the vaccine. They were like getting it, and then
They're getting blood clots still. Like,
blood clots. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I
younger
can't remember which
generations.
one. It was
What is that?
there was 7 in the last day that I saw. Like 7 different people in the last like 48 hours that have got them.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
so
crazy. It's definitely that vaccine.
Well, there was one
Yeah.
vaccine I heard for this one story I heard on the radio the other day that this dude was on the waiting list for a lung transplant, and he had the new tridacta, whatever it's called, fucking thing for the vac.
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember what it's called, but it was
I don't
something
know.
with T something, Trey
AstraZeneca?
something. Yeah,
AstraZeneca
no, it was started with a
or,
T. It was a Trey something. It was a new one, but yes, there's so many different variants of these fucking COVID vaccinations.
I don't trust him.
But because he was on the list for he was on the list for lung transplant, he was deemed he needed to have the COVID shot because his lung, like it's COVID's lung based. He was high priority. He needed to get the shot. He got the shot, and he ended up getting, apparently from the story listening to the radio, he got taken off the lung waiting list because his lungs were near on healing themselves.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good.
That's
Yeah,
weird,
they said keep an eye on it because he may need to go back on the list down the track. But he's in his 30s.
That quick.
But that's what I'm saying. Like he's in his 30s and he's being somewhat okay. That's what they were confused about. It's like a miracle.
That's
It's a goddamn miracle.
He was faking it.
So
it's faking it. Like my
yeah,
ex-girlfriend.
because his dad
she
was on the radio
faking
talking
it.
about it. Yeah, because
I had lung problems from being in hospital and chemo, and I had weeks of fucking breath test, like lung.
But that's the thing, though. Like
things
they're designed to boost your immunity to prevent, like, to be preventative against this COVID, and COVID is lung based. No, but this has been a while though. This hasn't just happened over. No, this is one of the ones he's had, and he's been in hospital.
Still takes weeks and months. To
Yeah,
get
well,
the
you think
lung
about
function
how long
back.
vaccines have been out for. Vaccines have been out for like 3 months now,
No.
2 months.
But
Like,
still,
yeah,
Wait, I just want
Faking
to.
it.
Are we still recording?
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said before you were like, no, that's it.
No, we haven't done the outro yet.
Because the editing. Yeah.
No, we haven't done the outro. I'm just gonna upload this. I'll just upload this raw once it's done, like always.
What are we up to now? 4.5 hours?
No, 305. Do we have any more
Three-
news?
three.
Do we have any more news? We can start wrapping up.
Not really.
Nah,
No.
not really.
We can start wrapping up. We've talked about everything. We've come back to
It's all
COVID.
fake.
Fake news.
It's all
It's all
fake.
Everything.
It's all fake news. It's
This
all
is fake. We're fake. Australia's fake.
We're all paid actors.
We're all paid actors, yeah.
Well underpaid.
Australia's paid actors.
We're all from England, love.
We're all New Zealanders.
When we talk about the dole, that's our payment that we get.
Don't even say that, Des.
Why?
They're not in the league with us.
Oh, sorry. Oh shit! They're raiding the house now.
If you talk to someone from New Zealand, they're not Australian. They hate being
FBI,
called
open up!
Australian. They hate being called that. That's crazy. I'll
On
even
that
bring a
note-
dude on who hates it.
On that note, thanks guys for having me back on the podcast.
No, all good.
It's
Oh, good,
all
man.
good.
Yeah, I kind of asked him way before you come on.
No, that's good.
I was like, "Look, are you free, lad?" He's like, yeah."
That's alright then. I was like,
So-
hey, I'm like, you're gonna be on the potty then, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, it's actually good timing because I'm busy the next couple of weekends because
Yeah.
it's birthday season.
Yes. That it is.
I've got a surprise birthday next weekend.
Oh,
and
surprise birthday.
Surprise
Give him less
birthday.
TP.
It's not much of a surprise then, is it?
No. It's the surprise is I get an STD. No.
Imagine having a birthday party where the guests are the surprise. Like, you don't tell anyone that you've invited them. You just think, no, you come over, hang out with me. And then all the guests are like, surprise! Welcome to my birthday!
Oh god. But yeah, it's birthday time. And what was that? There's Dale. You're going to Medieval Festival this year.
Oh, when's that?
Very, very
Is that in
soon.
Melbourne?
It's July, isn't it?
No.
It's July, June, July.
June,
The Abbey Fest is the
July,
Abbey
like-
Festival?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should
Abbey
come to. When's
Medieval
that?
Festival.
When's that? I gotta say, I missed it.
It'll be yeah. I think I missed it last year because of COVID as well.
It's
It
kombucha?
is in July 3rd.
July, the Saturday and Sunday, 4th of festival. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try and do that this year. I want to take the kids. I want to take Jack and that. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely keen
Yeah,
for that. I
I'm-
gotta remember that. Take that day off and make sure I can. I'm down for that to go to that.
I wouldn't mind actually getting some medieval garbs.
There's the guards. I'm like, you getting some guards?
Garbs, as
Guard
in
my beer.
some-
I'll be back.
some medieval clothing
What to
to
wear there?
wear.
I can just get a
Yeah,
robe
yeah,
and
yeah.
like
I-
a
it-
towel and
it's-
just
Yeah, I do have my sword,
get some curtains and just put it around yourself.
so I wouldn't mind
Oh,
getting something
Christ.
to match that, some medieval garb. So yes, I might get something for the evening, for the
General
day.
general admission is $45.
Not bad.
I feel like it's gone up a little bit.
Don't forget they also
COVID.
have a medieval banquet.
Banquet. We sit at a big
Yes.
fucking massive rectangular table and stop down your fucking steins. Boom, boom, boom. Like, ooh.
So, well, actually, they're not holding it
Concession
this year,
and so far.
sadly enough. But apparently, the medieval banquet is actually pretty good. They'll have the classic food that was actually made back in the medieval days.
So
You're supposed to
massive
wear,
fucking things of chicken meat and
all that kind of quail
roasts.
and
I
whatnot.
didn't even get part of the
and, yeah.
banquet.
And you,
That's an
yeah,
extra
and
cost,
you,
isn't it?
and you're supposed to dress up in the medieval garb and have your sword and all that, and they have the.
I don't, man. That'd be sick.
So
Yeah.
you know, wear some plate mail and eat some turkey.
And you better not wear
Wow.
jeans because you have to undo that belt. You have to do the button.
Yeah,
Daz.
Some
Okay.
spotted
Make
cock
some room.
and all that kind of stuff.
Just
So,
imagine if you get your armor freshly made and you put on 10 kilos.
yeah, you're bugging.
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith. Hopefully he's available. But
Blacksmith.
yes,
My armor don't fit.
So
Well,
45. I've got to remember that. So I
you'd
can
be
save some money.
surprised on what work.
Was that
blacksmiths
$90?
used to
Unless
do back
unless
in the
it's
day.
just that unless I go, but I think it'd be good to take the family, so it'd be about $90 for entry. Be a bit of money for
Yeah.
the weekend. Oh, well, I mean it's July. If it's July, oh no, I don't think it'll be tax time.
So
before
just
then.
think, if you've like got this chiseled fucking stomach and shit, I was like, and they give you like a slim fit fucking
Because I don't think I'll do.
breastplate,
Don't think
and
I'll
then you
do
put on
tax
like
till
10,
July.
20 kilos just like that.
Well, they do have the cock guard.
Blacksmith.
Dale, there is a 2 adults, 2 children ticket, which is $65.
Wait, what?
Oof.
For
The
the
cheaper
family
to go that
fun
way.
It's the Abbey Family Fun Day. It's on the Friday,
Okay.
so it's
That's
only
way cheaper than
$65.
90.
Way cheaper than 90.
Well, do
Yeah.
you think 45 for one person for 4, 65?
If you check out the tickets,
Yeah.
I'll send you the link. It's a
It'd be
lot
stupid not to take that one.
2nd of July, Medieval Family Fun Day event, 10 to 3. Friday.
That's not bad, it's 5 hours.
2nd of July. A mini version of the Ad Festival just for families. About
Yeah, it'll just be the mini version, or you can just do the whole, the $90 one.
that's not too bad. I mean, I don't really need to pay for the children, so it's just 2 adults.
Oh, okay.
Because
it's
under
just
5
two
to
adults
3.
and-
That's still
Oh,
cheaper
really?
than like 80
That's
odd.
still cheap, yeah.
Yeah, because it's only $50 and
No, 90 could be 45.
medieval. Hey, 25 each.
Yeah, that's fucking cheap.
That's 50. Yeah.
Or you can do the $90 one, but that's for the normal one that everyone be doing on the Saturday.
Oh, they've already
and
sold
the-
out. It's like the medieval dance workshop, all ages, and the page training are both sold out.
Because people wanting to get out.
Yeah, people have already done
Yeah.
it. Like, the Abbey Festival's freaking massive. But then everyone usually
yeah.
goes on the Saturday anyway, and
never-
it's
I've
like I
never
don't
heard of
know. I'd rather just spend the
everyone
extra-
does normally go on the
I
Saturday.
just see everyone and just have a full event like on the weekend, like actually on the weekend. I know it costs more, but then like it's a bigger. I think it's a bigger day because it starts at like 8:30.
So the Abbey Medieval Festival held in Queensland.
And I'm imagining you'll
up
be
in,
going like the
Eagle
Saturday or
Orchard.
something like that yourself. So
Are you gonna get
Yeah.
singing?
Oh yeah, I'll come with my staff and my sword.
it'd be good to go. I'm keen to go. So let's see if they want to go. Otherwise, it could be
Get
just
some
me.
fucking
So.
cable, some cable go.
There we
Redneck going down, 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 down.
Yeah.
Redneck going down.
Down,
That's
down.
dodges
positive
and
down.
weaves. Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually getting some medieval garb.
I mean, I liked it last time because I went there, had a few
You
drinks. It
actually
was good.
buy them there and just take them back.
No, they actually have stores there, and you can actually
Ooh.
buy medieval clothes.
I'll send something.
So you can, and you can buy swords and knives.
Are they
and
foam?
axes. They have foam ones, but they have real ones.
That's
Give
some
me
money.
1 second. I'll show you my
Can you
sword.
ship a real sword here?
Go kid up and go
Give me
kid up in
1
my
second. I'll
lap
show you
gear.
my sword.
Find my old
I'll
lap
give
gear.
you
Go kid it
money if I get a sword.
up. Go kid up in my old.
I want garbs and a sword.
Every time we start ending the podcast, we get segued onto something else.
like this.
We'll keep going. It's alright. It's not too big a deal.
just upload it the way
That's
it
what I
is.
said. I'm just gonna upload it anyway.
Nothing was said badly.
It's just the transition.
Whoa!
Yeah. I think I remember when you got
Jesus.
that.
Headset not included.
I think I remember you showing me that before. I think I remember you.
There was,
I think
there
it was
was
that
no
one.
shing.
I think I remember you showing me when you got it.
You didn't do it fast enough. There was no. Whoosh.
He's muted.
Yeah, sorry, I was muted.
Oh, that's why I was no. Whoosh.
Yeah, there was no.
I think I remember.
So
you getting
yes,
that.
this is my broadsword.
That is crazy.
'Cause
How big
was-
is that?
It's pretty big.
It's like as big as us.
Two-handed broadsword.
That's crazy.
I mean, I do have my LARP gear still, which is in base. I can go base
What
style
can
freaking
you get?
garb.
Can you get like battle
get-
axes and
You can get bigger swords.
Do you reckon I should go
like-
dressed as a peasant?
like
You can get-
like a pagan
like
peasant?
Sephiroth big or
Oh no, not that big.
I should go dressed.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think I'll go dressed as a peasant.
as a peasant, like in like your little brown robe, like dude from Emperor's New Groove.
So yes, I
Cool
have
skull,
not taken out my
cool
sword in
skull.
some time.
Cusco,
Giggity.
Cusco.
So-
What are you doing,
How much is
Cusco?
a sword?
Depending on price and quality.
Like something
So-
like that. How much? That's fucking big.
Something like
Jeez.
this, it costs a couple hundred.
That's not fucking
Prop-
bad.
Proper sword, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if someone break in, you can just go whack, just whack him with it.
Yeah, and I've got a leather belt that comes with
Is it
as
sharp
well,
or is
so
it
I
just
can-
blunted off so you don't cut yourself? Or
Yeah, it's blunted off.
But at the same time,
It's
even then, you
not-
could still
it's-
blood
can't
him.
still hit
legally-
someone with it. You still hurt someone. Jesus.
Yeah. This is the
You're breaking the Wookiee's home. He's just like, bring it.
I mean, if you want to, it doesn't take much to sharpen it up. Honestly.
No,
Like,
no, it doesn't. But
Just
you
get
know,
one of them,
legally,
Get
just,
a sand belt thing. Just.
so- it's got all the
just sandstone, just
things, so I can actually hook it
Oh,
properly.
I've seen a leather belt that when it goes at a 3,000 RPM, you just throw it across and it sharpens like that.
Mm.
I was like, ooh.
But yeah, this is a nice sword. It's
Is it heavy? That's the question.
Yes.
ish.
Oh, so it's not heavy like they
No.
would be back in.
You're gonna be able
olden-
to. Well,
I
They're
can
made from,
swing
like,
it quite
steel,
easily.
think.
I personally can swing it quite easily. I wouldn't mind getting like a Roman sword, like a
Ooh.
short sword.
Yeah.
yeah, they actually
little
have proper
dagger,
sword
like,
events.
on like that or whatever it is.
Yeah. About so you know.
You a little sword and shield just.
Yeah, I just like it was nice to have that because it's just like a good swinging one that you can just quickly swing and just stab at.
Wouldn't mind if freaking like a bloody battle axe. You can use it
Yeah,
cut
you
wood with
can
and.
get a battle axe there as well,
Ooh.
and you can get a wood chopping axe. But they also have
Hatchet.
stores that have the full medieval garbs, so you can
So you
buy.
can put your sword on your garb and like just.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, you can have full medieval outfits, and
Ooh.
also you can
I
get
want to go
plate.
now.
You can
That's
get
so good.
armor as well. You can buy
I
armor
got
there.
the beard for medieval time.
I think the last time I went, I was when I was with my ex actually.
I'll just
Yeah,
like that and just-
yeah, I think so.
hey guys, just for that,
Yeah.
just walk around.
No, you could be a monk, medieval monk.
Oh.
Just have the brown robes and keep
So
it as
don't-
is. All you have to do is put the brown robes.
I'm trying to
on,
regularly
nothing
remember
else.
because I don't know if I was with Al
No,
at the
I
time when
swear too
when I
much,
went. I
Roman.
can't. I don't think I was with Al when I last went. I can't
Good thing
remember.
is you don't have to wear underwear.
I'm trying to
That's
vaguely remember if it was
Very
because
freeing.
that year was a
Just
crazy
like
year.
blowing the fuck-
So much happened in that year. That was like what 2015.
Yeah, it was a
So much.
while
That was
ago.
a lot happened in that year. A
I
lot
want to get a
happened.
full set of armor one day. That'd be so heavy though.
It was like that time, Dale, when you and me went to that ferry meetup.
Oh yeah.
But should we save that for another time?
Yes.
Yes, we'll explain our ferry meetup. That one's a very entertaining story.
And that was yes.
But I really need a cigarette after handling my sword.
Yeah. I want to go. I want to go have my hot chockey and come back. And we
Yeah, I
can-
want to go get a hot chocolate.
Explosive hot chockey. I got a
Explosive hot-
stream. Fuck's sake.
Huh?
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
up early to stream in the morning too.
Yeah,
you streaming,
so-
are you?
Hey,
You streaming tonight?
yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to play some Zomboid, or are you just going to play something else?
I'll do Zomboid tomorrow, I think, when I'm not going
Yeah.
to stream.
Yeah, practice.
I've got to get used to it.
I'll be on for a little bit tomorrow. I'm going for my usual Sunday drive, self-care Sunday.
Yep.
Self-care, son, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
I'm going out to
Sunday
Rick's-
care.
Well, there's a place called Rick's Garage, and it's like they have the best fix shakes on the Sunny
I have,
Coast.
yeah, I have heard of that.
It-
I have heard of that.
It is. They're absolutely fantastic. It's like they charge $8.
Rick's
which is
Diner.
like, you know,
Oh,
yeah,
bad. That's not
Rick's
good
Garage,
idea.
yeah, Rick's Diner, which is like milkshake prices, but it's one of those metal like milkshake cups, and
Old
it's
school.
not milkshake. It's all filled with ice cream, and it's all thick chocolate thick shake.
It's like a
Just
thick
they-
yeah.
with a bit of
And,
milk.
they, and they did a twirl. They do the ice cream twirl up top,
Mm.
Ooh.
and then it's all thick shake.
Like it's
It's,
proper.
and they call it milkshake. But or you can pay an extra $4, and they'll stick a donut on top, and they'll put whipped cream.
That's not exciting
it's
because we
proper.
paid extra $4 for one of those here, and I put in whiskey or something.
Oh no, I just pour that in myself.
Take a little fucking little bottle and just.
A little hip flask. I call it self-care Sunday for nothing, don't I? But yeah.
How many? I've had 10 milkshakes.
I put in Bailey's.
Yeah, but that'd be a lot of
Bailey's
ice
as well.
cream having. I've had 10 milkshakes. That's a lot of ice cream. Fuck me.
That is a lot of ice cream.
So you can say like, have
It
you been
takes you
drinking?
like,
I've had thick shakes.
yeah. How many drinks have you had? Oh, I've had milkshakes.
I've had 10 milkshakes. I've had 10 thick shakes.
Yeah.
I've had 10 thick shakes.
Well, all I can say is these thick shakes are so thick, it takes you like half an hour just to get.
Oh, so
Are
they're
they
like
9
the
Cs
donut
thick?
places. Fucking,
It is, yeah, it is.
Like
Thick.
you wait for it to melt a little bit to start drinking.
Yeah. It's brain
I
freeze.
getcha.
It's designed to be a place where you go have a drink, but you'd sit and you chat with people, and then
Yeah.
Or
It's-
just sit in
it's-
peace. Or
It
just
is
sit
like
there and
one of the
chill.
best thick shakes I've had on the coast, if not like almost.
And
anywhere.
I'm missing out so much.
It is-
yeah, you
and
need to
it's
come to the
for
mainland.
For $8.
Like, I did nothing when I was there for 2 weeks. really.
Yeah, you need to come hang out with us because we'd all catch up and go do shit.
Yeah. Come when there's something on, and then yeah.
We'll get Nathan back over here and we'll go to the fucking strip clubs.
No, we'll come up with for the medieval festival. You
We'll
can
go there
meet,
just because anyway.
Fucking last
what are
time.
you talking
fucking
about? That's a part of my self-care Sunday
Get,
ritual.
get Nathan
There's
back over
only
here
one
from
strip
Canada.
club up here, and you
Oh,
know,
so they definitely know you then.
Spend was it
Yeah.
what 5 hours? Spend 5 hours at
Regular.
the fucking strip club.
yes, stay there till closing. Go off
Oh
and have
my
breakfast with the strippers.
God, fucking. I don't want to leave. She loves me. Oh fucking hell,
So that's
Nathan.
where you are Monday morning. You're just getting back.
Yes.
Uh,
Oh god.
But anyway.
Well, yeah.
Come on, Jim.
All right, let's do the sign out.
Wrap it up,
That's
so
Jim.
we change subject again.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. We're nearly at 3.5. Come on.
Dow's gonna edit this.
Jesus. No, he's not. I don't think.
No, I'm
Well, you
just
probably
gonna-
do a
the
little
start
thing,
and the
but-
back, the start and the finish.
Yeah, that's what she said.
God dang it, Wookie. yeah, like, as you can tell, we've had Wookie back again. Like, he's gonna be a regular eventually, I guess.
He pretty much is. He's been at more times than Jody has.
Right? I mean,
He's been what 4 or 5 episodes now.
Yeah, give or take.
but yeah, as always, thank you for joining us on episode 22, which I had to look because we didn't say it at all.
Don't have
But
to.
as always, we've been Dale and Jim and Wookie. And
Mhm.
thank you for listening. We'll catch you guys next week, episode 23. Oh, I cut out.
23.
It always-
Bye.
Ah.
Dale cut out there.
Skitty bop bop do it.
Doopy-doopy-doop-dop-dop-dop-doop.
What was that? That's like you farted in it.
Mic
That
drop.
sounded like the farted
Mic
into it.
drop.